drag away the bathroom, because the bathroom was a little building behind the blue building. In my 24-hour video, you can actually watch them hook up to the big snow whatever pusher thing that they use on ski hills that they have down there. They hook up
Right.
the bathrooms and they pull it away. It goes off into the distance.
Yeah, I had maybe thought that building did, because I know some of those buildings stay year round. But okay, if that one doesn't, yeah, they take that one out every year.
My
Yeah.
guess is that, and based on talking with people, that most of the stuff that they leave there is stuff that they need for the runway when they come back, because they have a
Yeah.
bunch of barrels and stuff that they have out there, and a bunch of support stuff for the airplane. So my guess is that's what they leave there, is stuff that they'll need in, October, whenever they come back to set up the runway.
How do they land the first time? Chicken or the egg? You know? Oh, do they fly a helicopter in and get the runway set up first? I mean, they can't just land on a rough runway, right?
I don't think a helicopter would make it from Punta Arenas, but there's a few closer spots. But the runway is mostly kept clear by the wind. So the wind comes down the glaciers and then scours the ice clear of the loose ice. It looks like snow, but it's actually just little ice crystals. So call it snow, but it's really ice crystals. So that it's mostly scoured. So the first time they land, there might be a little more chunks of snow on it, but um, and I suppose they could fly over it to make sure that it looks good before they just come and land. But they don't leave the plane there. They don't turn it off. They land, they unload, they load, and then it takes off again and goes straight back, because there's no gas station.
Hey, it's kind of naive. I'm not trying to catch you, but I'm just thinking about 24-hour recordings and batteries and cameras.
Yep.
Uh,
I
did you use battery? I mean, you have generators? Like, seems
yeah,
challenging.
we had so they had big solar panels on the blue building on several sides, and you can see that in my 24-hour video. And we used I'll send you a link to the battery that I brought, but I brought 6 batteries, and Will brought 6 of the same batteries. And I have it right on my. I mean, I have 6 of these kicking around my house now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
are you,
I'm not questioning if you had. I'm just.
Yeah, I'll I'll
It's,
I'll I'll link I'll link the one that I brought here in a second.
yo, McToon, are you doing the final debate? Is it you or someone else?
It's Will. All right, so there's the Romos power bank that I brought. It's 27,000 milliamp hours, which is the largest that airplanes allow. And I had 6 of them, and they're pretty heavy, and you can't bring them you can't check them, so you have to have it in your carry-on. So I was walking around the airports with 6 of those in my backpack.
God bless you.
Yeah, and Will had the same. And yeah, and every time we go through security, they had to look at them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit that it's possible there's questionable about the final experiment and also 24 hours, so I could be there anyway. But
Well, you would agree with Lady Blunt from 125 years ago.
wait, who is she?
She was a contemporary of Rowbottom in England.
Okay.
He died, in the late 1800s, and she kind of took up the mantle. And so she wrote for 15 years, probably different things. She wrote a book. She wrote like a semi-monthly publication called The Earth. Um, So this book, I put a screenshot or a picture of the book that I have called Zetetic Astronomy that she wrote, where she says testimony has been given and it's been seen. Oh no, wait, where it is. Well, it's a big paragraph above there. It says it talks about the length, the length of the day once you go far enough south, and then of course midnight sun might be seen. So she's agreeing that there is a 24-hour sun. This is the page of the book that Eric DeBay put up in his video, saying that Lady Blunt gave a model for it. In fact, she did not give a model for it. Eric DeBay just blatantly lied about it. Put it on screen so that hopefully none of his gullible people would go bother to look up or read the words on screen that she did not provide a model for it. Insane that he actually did that.
Was she the one that was up in a airship or something like the same day as a stock market crash? I think maybe I'm in the events wrong, but I was
What?
trying to. Are you talking about proving flat Earth, or
Talking about
Lady Blunt? Yeah.
yeah, and Dubay posted this picture here that I'll put it in again. Posted the left and right page of the book that you see there, on a video saying Lady Blunt had a model, but she didn't have a model. I read the book. I have the book. She didn't have a model. It's insane that he actually claimed, showing the book, that she had a model when she didn't have a model. How, like, nobody in the comment sections of that video are like, hey, I read everything on screen, and nowhere in there does it say that there's a model. Nobody called up Dubay on it. They're just gullible sheep.
Well, you're saying that there's history of like some lady who says she basically saw a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Is what you're saying?
No, it's you can read it there. This Lady Blunt, the Eric Dubay of 1900, who wrote in this book, we agree that people have seen that there is a 24-hour sun. We don't dispute
Well,
this. And
yeah.
that's it. And we can't explain it. That's
So
the other thing. She says we can't explain it. Whether
yeah.
or not
So
we can explain it's another thing.
So we were just talking about like how they faked history, and that time period's not a good time for believing. Well, we can't really believe any history, but that is like when they basically finished off the reset. Probably sounds crazy to you, or maybe it doesn't, because maybe you know about it. But what's interesting, if we're gonna go into history and like and figure out like if there's historical like accounts of like this stuff, what's interesting, I just asked ChatGPT, do the Antikythera mechanism or Prague astronomical clock account for a 24-hour sun in the southern hemisphere? No, neither of them do. Wow, that's strange.
Yeah.
Why would you chat GPT that? Like, in what? Why would you
What
not
is it?
expect a Glover response?
The Antikythera
That's
mechanism
not a global response. What are you talking
isn't
about?
about the 24-hour sun. The Antikythera mechanism uses sorrow cycles to determine the day of the eclipse. That's it.
Like
Yeah, but
NASA.
I asked also
But
about the Prague.
NASA uses VSOP 87 and ELP 2000 to determine the eclipses.
Okay.
Yeah, the Prague astronomical clock is not about eclipses. It's just the sun's cycle.
Planets, right? Can't even
Nope.
mute right.
It models
Signs.
Antikythera mechanism models sun, moon, planets, but not in the way Prague clock date displays time, zodiac positions, local appearance, solar time.
Yeah.
So it says it's built for local European observers. That's why. 24-hour sun in the south.
Yeah, MC Toon, where were you really when you claimed to be in Antarctica? Where did you guys actually go?
We were at Union Glacier in Antarctica.
All right, how are you going to confirm you were there when you claimed to be there?
Well, have you looked at the videos on my channel? There's quite a few.
Yeah, none of them actually tell me that you were where you claimed to be at the time you claimed to be there.
Well, he was there.
So the live stream that I did while I was there. That's not good enough for you?
Hey, what do you have for
What
the?
about?
the
Hold on,
what do you
I've
have
been
for the
waiting.
plane tracking?
No,
I
Geo,
wanted to ask,
stop it.
like, remember we brought that
Geo,
up, the plane tracking?
are you
Go
really
ahead,
gonna
dude.
steamroll me right now, dude?
No, not at all. I'm just
I'm
trying to get
literally
in.
wait.
But go
I've been
ahead.
waiting.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So I'm wait. I want to know what you're using to confirm that you were there when you claimed to be there. Besides your, silly videos where you got all the things that don't make sense.
I live streamed from there. I can give
Yeah.
you.
Do you have anything like, I don't know? Where's your flight tracking data?
Well, that was published too. Here's the question: what will you
Where?
accept? You tell me what you will
Where is
accept.
it?
Tell me first what you will accept.
You just said that there's flight tracking data somewhere. Where is it?
Will you accept it? And if I give it to you, will you say yes? You
Can you
went.
please give it to me?
No, I won't. I won't be sea lioned. If you will accept it, I'll provide it. If you won't, then I won't provide it. I will only
Okay,
provide
so
things
I'm
that
asking you
you.
to provide
I will
evidence of where you were and
only.
you're refusing to give it to me.
I will only provide things that you say that you say you will accept. If you won't accept it, then you're just sea lining. So I'm not going to trouble myself.
All right, so you
Well,
have nothing then. All right, he's got nothing.
hold on, Rob. Your mic's really bad, bro. Hold on. Well, let
Holy
me just
shit.
say the reason I brought up the flight tracking is because Jesse and I were talking about it, and we were, discussing it, and I was saying that it was tracked when you guys flew there, because wasn't it like it was like the top or one of the top tracked flights at the time? Because it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like tons of people are tracking these flights. Maybe people check them out here and there, but because of that event, and it was somewhat larger with people, YouTube channels and all that. It was like on FlightAware or something. I forget the exact thing. Do you remember? It was like it was like either the top one, the one that got the most clicks, like top tracked flight or whatever. And so I was telling him about that it was tracked, and then I wanted to ask you, MC2, like, what is left of that tracking that you can offer to someone, to be like, hey, here's the data, now that it's after the fact. So that's why I wanted to know, like, what do you have for that, and then you could give it to him because then he could see it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to give anything to him until he declares that he will accept it, and that he will then say.
What if
I
I
mean,
have a reason
but
to not accept it? I haven't seen the data yet.
Can he review it before he accepts it?
No.
Well, yeah, he's
So you
refusing
have
to
to.
give it up.
Come on,
So you
man.
He
have
doesn't
to. Come
actually have
on.
the data. Now I have to presume that he doesn't have anything to present.
That's called pigeonholing, MC Tune.
You got to let him consider it, but I'm just wondering what is left of that because I brought it up to him, and because I saw it tracked when you guys were going. I looked at it. We were all watching it. Some of us, we had it. People were posting it, links, all that. So I'm just saying I saw it live, but I haven't looked into, like, hey, if I wanted to tell someone this flight was tracked at this time, you know what I mean? I just didn't have an immediate thing, and I'm sure I could have gone and looked it up. But that's why I just wondered, like,
okay.
if that's part of their documentation that they say, hey, here's the tracking data.
All right. So I just wanted it to be very clear. MC Tune is gatekeeping what would actually be providing evidence of his claim. That's stupid. What are you doing?
Dude, it's a publicly tracked thing, though, from like the
Go look it up, lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have looked it up, and I don't consider it to be flight tracking data.
Oh, then why would I ever? A good job for me not
Well,
bothering
I'll
to
tell you
provide
why.
it.
If you can
Because
provide
because
what you're
nuh-uh.
considering, hold on, dude. If you can provide what you're considering as evidence of your path from Punta Arenas to Union Glacier, then present it. And then I'll determine whether or not I should accept it as evidence of your claim.
You won't accept it. I've been doing this for 8 years.
Well,
There
whenever
you
you
go.
want to present your supposed evidence, that would be nice.
There's the time lapse of the flight.
Good.
Here's the non-time lapse landing of the flight.
I mean, Jesse, I'm just saying it is like a publicly, the whole military industrial complex,
Gio,
plane
please.
system, the whole thing.
Are you helping this guy?
It's
Hold on.
part of the commercial, airline industry thing. So, I mean, it's going to have all the tracking that they offer of any previous flight that's in their system. So it's going to have as much weight to you as whatever that system has to you that it was a real flight.
Well, footage
Hold
of
on.
of Union Glacier in a newspaper.
Yeah, I'm getting steamrolled. It's really annoying, but I'm gonna fight through it.
No, just go
So
ahead.
this video that you posted, MC Tune. So yeah, I understand that you want to make a claim that, you filmed yourself getting off of a plane somewhere, but you guys didn't have access to the internet to actually go live when you claim to have gotten off the plane.
Bet
So
you $100 they did.
this doesn't confirm that you actually got off the plane at the time that you claim to be getting off the plane. Do you understand?
All right. There's the live stream I did while we were there. Now here's
Yeah,
the
this
cool
isn't
thing.
what I asked for. I asked for GPS data. Did you forget?
Hold on here. This is, you can get $100,000 out of me. You know
Yeah,
that?
you could give me $100,000. I already debunked your model. You could do that.
All right.
But he doesn't want $100,000. All he wants is the GPS data, man. That's a lot cheaper, man.
Got it. Here you go. Here's 100,000. Or you just embarrassed the piss out
Everything
of me.
but GPS data. He's literally going
So-
all
That's
throughout his
so
stuff,
amazing.
but not sending me GPS data.
Don't accept the $100,000. Just embarrass me by taking this challenge here.
No, he
What's wrong
doesn't
with
care about the
providing the
$100,000.
Yeah, Elbow, you see what he's doing?
Yeah,
I
that's
asked a
just so.
specific question.
Okay. So now when I send you the GPS data, what are you going to do?
I'm going to look at it.
Review it. Can we not review the GPS data?
I mean, you can find if you just go look up ALE Punta Arenas to
White Knighting from
Union
Neptune?
Glacier.
I'm in the
What day
Twilight
it was?
Zone.
Hold on, bro. I'm just saying anyone can go Google and look it up. But it's is it December 15th? Punta Arenas to Union Glacier. Is it the 14th or the 15th?
14. We flew back on the 17th. So there's the flight data, the GPS data, the coordinates that he just pretended that he wanted for the flight back.
That's the flight
No,
back.
I wanted the flight there. What's wrong with you? The flight there. Are you listening?
Look up the flight
What
radar
is this
detail on
CS?
that
You
day.
give me a CSV extension file, dude. What is this?
Let me ask you one. We're on MC Tune. Are you interested that now some of the community actually agrees with you that that you guys did go and that there's a 24-hour sun there? And then another part of it, at least some still, let's say it's fake. Like, are you in any way like amused or entertained in the fact that now you have someone like me that's like, oh yeah, MC Tune won in the debate, of people saying it's fake. And then I would agree with you that it is real and all that. I guess I'm just asking, like,
oh yeah, it's funny.
Are you that now there's like, if you want to say
hilarious.
If you want to like, in the discussions we noticed that if you want to say the term flat earther for now, I'm just saying we noticed that some are obviously going to be like, no, they did go. Others are going to say they did not. And then it's like a split now where like we're debating with you guys on this now, and then anyways, it's funny.
Here's what's real telling, of course. The people that blindly just aggressively deny that it happened at all are agreeing that it 100% debunks flat Earth. That's why they're so aggressively against it.
Well, it debunked what? Because the AE map, which I was calling it Globe 2.0, the other false model of the realm.
The people that deny that it happened, they are 100% committed to agreeing that the existence of the 24-hour sun destroys flat Earth. That's why they fight it.
What? Because the sun can't make another circuit on the outside of an AE map? You're saying?
There's only one sun. They're agreeing that it destroys flat Earth, and that's why they're fighting it. That's why they claim that it's fake.
You're fighting providing the evidence. The one question I asked you, you're fighting actually presenting that evidence.
I gave you the coordinates. You wanted coordinates?
You gave me a CSV file, which is I don't even know what that is.
Are you agreeing that if he provides you evidence that it does matter?
Can everybody stop trying to white knight for McToon and just let him actually respond to this? Like, when are you going to post the GPS data? Like, where is it?
I just did. It's in the
No,
CSV
you didn't.
It's right there,
Are
bro.
you too stupid? Are you too stupid to understand a CSV file?
It looks like there's data in the chat. So just check that out. But yeah, I agree with what MC Tune is saying, because I was listening earlier. I'm not making opinions about people's I'm not trying to claim what other people's opinions are. But when QOP was really fighting it. It was telling me that yeah, there's people who have already decided that is impossible on a flat Earth. So they're instead.
No, that is the straw man, dude. I literally said before they went that I didn't care if there was one or not.
Well, no, but you did say earlier that if they claim it's a 24-hour sun, then you have to start saying that it's either a globe or a concave Earth or some other kind of magical thing. You said something along
I
those
was
lines.
saying that people that was gonna make it harder for people that were open, like kind of interested in maybe looking into flat Earth, see like a ridiculous model that they wouldn't. It's not as easy to swallow as the AE model with just one sun.
Yeah, a model that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work with the sky. I mean,
according to what they say is happening.
Well, the southern stars are already doing what they're doing, as is, and then the sun follows that same similar circuit along the latitude lines.
It's possible. I don't know. I don't think the stars are related to the sun. I think there's a different layer.
I'm
So
looking.
QOps, do you think that it? So you're saying it doesn't destroy flat Earth for you if there is a 24-hour sun there. So then that's going against what MC2 was saying, right? For you.
I think Kosha was saying that.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure that I wasn't speaking for anybody else's opinion, but that was what I was sort of surmising, is that maybe not QOP himself, but people who are sort of fighting fighting the fact that it happened, would have to sort of be accepting that it would sort of agree with a globe Earth and not with a flat Earth.
Well, I would agree with either, globe concave or a two-pole planar Earth. Like QOP, would you agree that if there is a 24-hour sun there and it's fully there, the whole thing, all of that, and the Earth is planar, do you agree that it would have to be some kind of a two-pole planar Earth? However, it's working. And I'm not saying anything about Pac-Man. It doesn't necessarily require that. I'm just saying if there is one there and the Earth is stationary and planar, do you agree it would have to be some kind of a two-pole layout if you accepted that there is a 24-hour sun there?
It's really hard to even conceptualize the sun doing that with what we think, the northern hemisphere's like. I guess yeah.
In other words, you won't
Sorry,
take a position.
So
No, it's not
I'm
my
looking.
position.
I'm looking
It's not my
for.
position that it's a fucking thing that happens. So what are you talking about,
Okay.
bro?
So I'm looking for Joe. I'm looking at this Icelander, 1088, and I can only find one flight in FlightAware, and it's only from Argentina to Punta Arenas.
Yeah, MC2, do you have like the flight number or what? I mean, how would he look that up? Like what? December 14th.
I mean, it has a call sign for it, and there's only one flight in it's in FlightAware.
Yeah, you I don't know what call sign you're looking at, but
Well, the one that it says on the CSV file, man.
Yeah. So
have you not looked at this flight? Have you not looked at this CSV?
You posted the CSV, right? MC Tune. You should know what's on it.
Let me finish. Your
right?
FlightAware. Is there a reason you can't let me talk? Your FlightAware doesn't go back 9 months. You need a different subscription.
And can you post the FlightAware, a screenshot of it?
I don't have a screenshot of the FlightAware.
Yeah, you don't have anything.
Well, I do have the flight on the 17th, starting in.
I mean, you have this
live
CSV
video.
that I could
Come on,
make
guys.
myself, dude. I don't say that I doubt that you went there, because I mean I was here with.
So I was asked for the data of the flight, and the data of the flight is provided in a CSV file or a KML file. I've posted both of them.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever tracked a flight before?
Have I tracked a flight?
Yeah.
This is what you're going to see when you upload the
Hold
KML
on.
file into Google Earth.
There
All
you
right,
go.
it's going to look just like
There
that.
you go.
That's called a flight.
Hold on, MC2, and you know what it looks like when you look at a flight being tracked, right?
Wait, Icy Spin, where did you get that data? Is that from FlightAware that you just posted?
I imported his KML file into Google Earth.
Oh, okay.
Which is
All right.
already your
Oh, well,
Google
look at
Globe.
that. Yeah,
That's
you think that's
awesome.
the direction your plane flew the whole time? You really think that's what happened, dude?
This is the data. This is the data. It's been imported into Google Earth. Take it or leave it. That's the data.
It's what you asked for.
I mean, I
Yeah,
can
you
actually
think
make
That
data
is what you
myself.
asked for. That's
representing
Give
the
hilarious.
me
path
the
of the plane? Hold
give
on.
me the flight
Now
data.
this is what
I
I waited
gave you the
for.
flight data. I don't
This is
want
what I
that
was waiting
flight
for.
data. I want different flight data.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't say I would accept this bullshit before you presented it, dude. Look at that perfectly straight line. Take a good look at that path that the plane apparently took. And I want everybody to consider that they're on a globe following a great
Goodness.
circle route, and that
He
there's
doesn't understand it.
Coriolis. And
He
shut up.
doesn't. He
And that
doesn't
there's a
understand it.
plane flying
It's
in
way
a
over his head.
straight line on a Coriolis globe. That's
He's
what the
not
flight
smart
would
enough
look
to
like
understand.
according to this
What
guy.
was I tracking when I was tracking FTE? Seriously, like what? In
Yeah, this is
your
not what
opinion,
telemetry. Okay, so I've seen actual flights get tracked. They don't look like straight lines. Like, have you guys ever actually been on a
Yeah, they
plane
do.
Dude,
and
yes,
checked
it,
the
from
They
a
it,
look
image?
that,
great
straight as
circle
fuck.
route.
All of them.
it completely depends on the perspective of the image, dude.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
yeah, you can make
No,
you can
therefore it's
you can
not
take a
showing you
path and
the
look at it
actual
in different
position.
directions, and it
It's
can
not
look.
showing you the actual position of the receiver if it's not showing you all the discrepancies. It's just a straight line. Anybody could fake this, dude. Are you
No,
serious?
it is straight in real life. I've done it myself. It's straight as fuck. All of them.
Oh
But I
wow.
mean,
Planes fly
I
in
could get a
perfectly straight
CSV.
lines while heading south while Earth
I
is
could
rotating.
I could
That's
create
a
a
joke.
CSV. I could
How
create a
many straight
CSV.
lines on a sphere,
Hello?
idiot?
There's zero
I could
straight
create
lines on a sphere on top of all that. That's right.
Just
like
chill
I
for a
could get
second.
a oh my gosh.
My bad,
Like
Elba.
I could get a piece of paper, CSV file and create this. I mean that this doesn't really this data doesn't really I mean you can make this
So,
yourself.
so you
McToon, I
ask for the
mean
data, you're
you are
given the
I'm
data,
not
and your answer
saying
is
dude
no.
McToon, I know you went there, dude. I mean well I know that at least when I spoke to Witzel when we were in here. But I mean, giving us this piece of paper, I mean, this could be created so easy. Could it not?
But Witsit couldn't see
Welcome
us
to the
from.
world.
So you're
I'm
saying
not
it's
saying
fake.
but could it not
Your
be
ev-
created, McToon?
your,
McToon, can
your
you not create
evidence
this really
your
easily?
evidence is
McToon, a question, a software engineer to another software engineer. Can you not create this data real quick?
Of course it can be created,
Thank
but you
you.
asked for it and I gave it. So
It's
it
fake as
depends
fuck,
on
dude.
it depends on your standard of evidence. If you're going to say give me the data and then you're given the data, then you say, well, the data could be faked. Then don't ask for the data, because before asking for the data, you should realize it could be
Well, I mean,
fake.
I thought
Your
you would have
standard
gave.
of evidence is
I would have
stupid.
thought you would have put some telemetry data, not just some GPS coordinates
What
with.
telemetry data?
Well, there's
Like
gotta be
real
official
telemetry,
stuff,
like
What,
right?
that actually shows you the
what
position of your
where
receiver,
would
not a
I
straight
have
line.
gotten that?
How would your
Where would I
plane
have
fly in
gotten
a
that?
straight line on a globe anyway, dude?
Where would I have gotten this telemetry data that you think exists?
You don't have it. You just failed to present it.
Where do you
Well,
think
wait.
it would have been gotten from? Where would
I don't
FlightAware?
know. Maybe you brought a GPS with you or something, but you didn't, I guess.
Yes, they did. They plotted. You know that little thing that they did where they all wore a GPS and you could watch it on the Final Experiment website. Not so. Yeah, they did. They were wearing GPSs and it was like
those
tagging them.
Geo for the things that we brought with us were active while we were on the ground in Punta Arenas and while we were on the ground in Antarctica. But while we're on the flights, it just takes the flights.
So yeah, but isn't there like I hear you on that? Isn't there like official foot? I hear you. So they would have just jumped. I remember we tracked it though when it was going. Somebody was posting the links and we were all looking at it. So
Yeah,
it was tracked on like FlightAware. But isn't there like official data from the system, as it were, that is just accessible, or do they not save that? Like just the fact that you guys went on December 14th, do they not save it?
So Monkey Cat Pat posted pictures that were taken with the GPS units. And so all of those ones, like where you see North America, South America, those are just the flights. So they programmed in to their system the flights that we were all taking, because we all sent them to Will ahead of time. Like he asked me for mine, but he had most of the rest of them already. So he's like, well, what, tell me the flights that you're taking so that I can add it to the system. So I didn't get my GPS unit until I was in Punta Arenas, but you can see there the flights moving around. That's just the flights. That's just saying, oh, well, he's on flight whatever from Miami to Santiago, and here's where it is in real time.
Yeah.
And so you can see
I
that
got you.
the first one, there's me, and then I think underneath my bubble is Will's bubble because we were both in the air at the same time.
Well, people want to know the Punta. I mean, these guys are kind of more asking for the Punta Arenas to Union Glacier because anyone who's trying to be skeptical that you guys didn't go, that's the one they want to see. And all I'm saying is like, is there official searchable? I remember it was tracked live when you guys went. We were posting the link to it. I realize it's just as far as a website is claiming it.
Yeah. So when you go to FlightAware and you say, give me the raw data, the tracking data from the flight from FlightAware, it'll give you a KML file. I posted the KML file.
Gotcha. All right. So that is from FlightAware.
That's all you get is a KML file, which has data in it, which if you want to, it's just text. So that's a JSON file.
And that's what they give you. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's all you get. I mean, so what would one person expect? Give me the data. This is the freaking data. That's all you get.
Well, okay, but I figure even in like the whole military industrial, airline industry, I would think maybe there would be some additional thing that they could say, hey, this flight happened. But if they don't offer that, unless there's some other source, like you could get something from ALE or something. But
hey, Toon.
I wanted to ask, hold on, let me ask real quick. In terms of people's, like, what is your read on, it's a question I had from before, like, how many, in the community in general, what percentage do you think are on the side that is fake and what are on the side that it's real? And then what are on the fence maybe? Like from what you're picking, it's like 20% think it's fake, 30, 50, like what are you seeing?
I don't know. I think like Dubé says fake. Dearth says we went, but the sun was a laser pointer. What an idiot.
They faked the sun there. Yeah.
For 125 years. I don't know where the lasers were when Lady Blunt was reading all her stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's 50-50. I have no idea.
Is it even as high as 50 though? I would think more like 20 to 30 at most. 20. No, even less. In here it's like 2%. In here it's like less than 3. Whatever.
TikTok says it's fake.
Oh really? They're like the younger.
The Facebook crew, they're just ignorant. They're so ignorant. They don't know that it even happened. Some of them.
Maybe Grok figure it out.
Yeah, that Eddie Banjo guy. Yeah,
Banjo says it was. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think he's literally he's mentally handicapped for real. Like seriously. Like that's why I don't do much on him because I think he's seriously not right in the head.
Yeah, surprising Dubé. Yeah, that was surprising. He didn't get the read right on. That's kind of a bit of a letdown.
The other thing about the other thing about the coordinates is it just takes snapshots. It's not every single second of the flight. So, and then what it does is it just draws straight lines between those individual points. And so, yes, whether or not the plane was flying in a straight line between them or not, don't know. All we know is the exact point that it was recorded.
But they are definitely interested on saving the most amount of gas as possible. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and the closest point between two spots on a globe is going to be a great circle route, which is a straight line when you're looking at it head on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your predicted route. The plane doesn't fly in a perfectly straight line from one point to another. That's impossible if Earth is rotating and there's crosswind. That's
So
why
crosswind
typically
is
flight data reflects all of the different directions that the plane flies in. It's never a
Yeah.
perfectly straight line. So
And
what
that's
you're
what
calling
seeing there.
GPS data is truly not. It's
But
just
see,
some
you're
weird
adding a
flight
qualifier.
tracker.
You're saying a perfectly
Yeah,
straight
it's
line.
not real
They try to
telemetry data.
maintain. They try to
Can you stop
maintain a
over
perfectly
talking? I've
straight
waited for
line.
everybody to stop talking.
Yeah,
Shut up.
he's committed
So
to
this is not
this.
real
This
telemetry
debunks
data.
flat Earth. That's why he's fighting it so hard.
There's no question.
Ideally, it's a perfectly straight line. That's what they would like it to be, but there are deviations due to whatever causes deviations.
Coriolis crosswinds.
Yeah, we can move on from this. There's no, I mean, that's what FlightAware gives, and unless
Why,
anyone knows
Gio?
of it,
Why are you doing this to my argument, Gio? Every time I bring this up, you steamroll my argument. Every time.
What's your argument?
Maybe you'd know it if you didn't try to
What is it?
steamroll it every time I brought it up.
I haven't steamrolled anything. I was just saying that that's what FlightAware gives, and unless there's a further source, that's what they give.
And your mic is, I don't know what your mic is doing.
That's me. I mean, that KMZ shows what happened, but with the Coriolis effect, what does that line turn into? I'm with you,
So
Electric.
here's how navigation works. They set a course. They take the Great Circle, and then along the Great Circle they get the waypoints, and there's waypoints all over the surface of the Earth. And they then line up the waypoints in short segments. So they go to a waypoint, and then at that waypoint they check their location, their direction, and then they adjust their heading to the next waypoint. And so wind could skew them, Coriolis could skew them, any number of things could skew them a little bit.
Yeah, apparently nothing
their
skewed them.
track.
Absolutely
And
no
then,
crosswinds. Look at that.
No, you have no clue what that data is showing. Anyway, so they get to the waypoint, and then they typically they'll do whatever.
It's showing a straight line, MC Tune.
Yeah, because there isn't data every single second. Are you not aware of this?
So therefore, it's not really telemetry data. So shut up.
It really is telemetry data. You
need
just
to get better data. This doesn't reflect the path that you're.
You have a grossly misunderstood version of what telemetry data is. You don't have a damn clue.
Yeah, I know for a fact it's not a straight line. I know that.
You don't know what telemetry data is. This is just taking
It's
the
not this.
telemetry
This is
data
not telemetry data
that
it's
exists.
Just not.
This is taking the telemetry data, which is just a series of points.
Does everybody remember Labette Model Builder? Remember him? Remember his job was to track flight paths. When he was presenting his data, it's the squiggliest, most inconsistent path when you're actually tracking a flight. So these straight lines is not representing telemetry data. It's just not.
I'm still waiting for you guys to explain Critical Think's flight that he took. You guys won't.
Oh my God. You are so far behind.
All right, let's maybe move on. He gave the flighting tracking data that FlightAware gives.
There you go.
Hey, you don't like this, Gio?
There's some non-straight flight path there.
It was just plotted on KMZ. That's why it's straightened out.
That is not non-straight, dude. It's straight. You know what straight is?
Oh wow! Are you looking at the golf club that Toon just posted, or are you looking at a different image?
Because I don't think he.
There's a better version.
I'm not interested in auto.
I don't think he understands. This is a lost cause.
No, he's not smart enough.
He's just going to deny everything.
I got a whole bunch of arguments for you, but since you're not addressing this properly and you're lying and deflecting, we could definitely talk about something else if you're interested.
There's some more non-straight. Oh, but you'll say that's straight because your eyes are screwy.
Ooh.
No, I know what real telemetry data looks like, and it doesn't look like that.
You have no damn clue.
I highly fucking doubt that.
You have no clue.
Yeah, let's ask the globe kid, the little globe boy over there, what he thinks of it. No one cares what you say.
So what exactly is your argument, Electric? Is your argument that this is not from their airplane?
It is not reflecting the actual GPS receiver, the telemetry data. It is just a straight line. The path of the plane cannot be a perfectly straight line if you're
But
on a
it's not a
globe.
straight line. But it's not a
Simple
straight
stuff. It's not a
It
straight line.
absolutely can.
That's not a straight line, according to wow, dude. Like we would even be interested in what you think a straight line is. You think straight is bending. Look at that, a straight line, and you say it's bending. Look at that.
I said it's not a straight line, and I posted a photo where it's not a straight line. There you go. Icy Spin
Yeah,
just
that is a
posted another
straight
one.
line, McToon.
Not a
It is.
straight line. Are you blind?
You
Are
guys,
you actually
can we
looking
move
at
on
the
to
chat?
something
What the
better?
hell is wrong with you?
We
This
already
is
went
so
through
dumb.
this. It's multiple points plotted that are straight lines in between the points, and they all deviate a little bit. He already posted the image of it. We got to move on to something more interesting.
Straight lines are not though. One real quick point though. Avionics adjust in real time. The second the plane starts to skew off in any direction, it corrects. I mean, what do you expect to see? Zigzags back and forth?
He doesn't know.
Yes. That is in fact what telemetry data typically reflects when you're trying to get
At
that
the
accurate
small
position.
scale, but if you zoom out to the planet size, you're not gonna see that. You're gonna see straight fucking lines, dude. Get over it.
There are straight lines in
All
those
right, so
pictures
everybody's
too.
pretending that's what it should look. It should just look like a straight line on a globe. That is so dumb. Anyway, so the other argument is that there was no significant changes to the color of the sky as the sun is changing elevation angles for 25 hours. The sky remained the same pitch of blue for 25 hours straight.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
What's your
You just keep
evidence?
saying things aren't true. That's all
So
you got.
so
It's just
here
denial.
so you're looking at the auto exposure Insta360 that auto adjusts exposure every second.
No, I'm
Right?
looking at all your footages.
Well,
All of them reflect the same color sky.
which ones specifically?
All of them.
Be specific.
That is very specific. Every single shot from the TFE experiment, they all reflect the same color sky, no matter
Yeah,
what
very.
elevation angle the sun is. Have you thought about that?
Why don't you go grab
Have you
some
thought about
screenshots?
Yeah, I'm not asking the auto globers about
have
this.
you
I'm asking
thought
MC2,
about
so please
how
refrain.
auto exposure cameras work? Do you know how they work?
Oh, so you don't think the sky would change colors when the sun gets closer to the horizon? You don't think so?
I'm asking if you know how these cameras work, and you clearly don't.
I'm asking you
It's
a
over your
question.
head. It's
Are you
over your
listening?
head.
I asked you
Over your
something.
head.
Try to answer this
You're
time,
not
McToon.
you're not smart enough to understand this.
You're answering my question with a question, but I still want to know the answer to my question. Do you think that the elevation angle to the sun, the closer it gets to the horizon, that the sky would change colors? Do you agree?
The sky did change colors.
No, it did not. Oh, so you're just willing to lie. Okay, you're weird. Throughout the entire 25-hour sun footage, the sky does not change colors at all.
Okay, so what? It's fake. You're back to it being fake.
Yeah, so they're all fake.
Yeah.
TFE was all fake, right?
If that's all you got, if you can't address what I'm saying and you want to jump to other conclusions, that just proves you don't know how to engage with what
Well,
I'm
you're
saying.
not providing evidence. You're just making a blanket statement.
You've made an assertion. I don't need to do anything to refute your baseless assertion.
You don't need to do anything.
No.
That's funny.
That which is asserted without evidence is dismissed without evidence.
Oh no, I actually
You got
watched
no evidence.
your stupid fake footage. I watched it.
Let me just get in.
The
Just hold
sun
on.
does
Electric.
not
Hold on, bro.
Provide the evidence.
Yeah, dude, I'm getting
All right,
interrupted again.
Yeah, you are. Just hold on for a second, dude. You're kind of steamrolling the whole room at this point. You said your point. You said that the sky didn't change colors. If you have a couple examples, you can show them. I have the one from the skydiving company, the 24-hour sun, and it does show
wrong footage.
Some change in the
TFE.
sky when the sun goes in the southern region. If you want to pull up theirs, but it does seem like the air is very dry, that the sky may stay more consistent. But you'd have to like show some examples, or we can move forward. I mean, there's not very many people that deny that they went. It's like you and QOP and like a few others. So I don't know do we really want to just do this the whole time? It's not really like all of us at all that think this. You're kind of always flipping side stuff. So I don't know. Is this really? We want to just keep rampaging through this while you're telling them it's fake.
It's not recording. Preview is compressed.
All right. Getting some
I don't know, Gio, you're literally roboting. Like, I don't know what the fuck you just said, dude.
All right, sorry. I was roboting that whole time.
No
Well,
roboting.
I was just saying, if you want
the
to,
point that I'm making is
if you want
that,
to
you
look
know,
at some
as the sun
footages,
changes elevation angle in the sky, as it approaches the horizon, you know, over 25 hours, it's changing its apparent elevation angle. Typically, the sky changes colors. It doesn't happen at all in your footage.
Where's your typical evidence? Because you're bringing just assertion that you can't back up.
Oh yeah, so you don't watch sunsets, so you don't know what
Listen,
sunsets.
I do watch sunsets, but bring something to the table with the elevation angle that they're showing, and showing your video
Dude,
changes
they brought it to
dramatically.
the table. Okay, so you guys didn't watch the actual footage.
I watched it all, bro.
I watched it all live.
All right, then you
You've
should
provided
all right,
nothing
then you
though,
should
except
know that the sky doesn't change color throughout the 25-hour sun footage.
What I
You should
watched.
know that.
would it?
What I watched was perfectly legitimate and looked perfectly logical to me. There was nothing about it that looked fake.
Wow, a glober that thinks that the globe is logical. How interesting.
Let me ask you this: if it was faked, are you asserting that it was done in a studio? What's your assertion?
I'm asserting that that's not what would happen if it really was the sun setting.
Okay, and that's based on what video evidence that you're going to provide and show us?
Literally every other fucking sunset that ever happened.
Show us a 24-hour sun in Antarctic where that looks
Why are
dramatically
you
different than
pretending
that.
the sky doesn't change color as the sun changes?
Because you're not
you
saying the
hear
sky
what he
doesn't
just said?
change
He just
color.
said to show you another 24-hour sun in the south.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy what these people are saying.
Bro, Globers are so
It's
funny.
crazier
Dude.
hearing Geo fucking defend this garbage.
Well, why don't you look at
Globers
the
are funny,
images
dude.
that Snooze posted? The second one is a good one. Are you saying that there should be something other than the obvious gradient that there is in the sky?
Yeah, that
on
never happened. That literally never happened during the
Prove
TFE
it.
footage.
Prove it.
Except for this is from their footage.
Yes.
Wow, looks like
You're talking about the photo that Rince just posted?
Where's the footage from the flat earthers that went to Antarctic that contradict the other footage? Where's any
They
experiment
didn't take
that
any
was?
footage.
When was
Look,
Ed? Where's
the
that?
globers are scurrying. Look at them all get frantic. Look at it.
Hear
running away.
1 second. Electric, respond to the one that Snooze. If you look at both of them, I mean, they're both great photos, but they're both from TFE's footage. The second one, you can see the sun, and you can see the gradient of the deep blue in like the top right corner, and it kind of goes to the bottom left of the photograph to where it's almost white in the background. What do you have to say about that?
That is such an insignificant change. What you should see as the sun is actually in the marine layer. Like the atmosphere causes the sunlight to scatter. You're supposed to see reds, yellows. It's just blue the whole time. You pretend like you've never seen a sunset before.
It wasn't that low. The lowest it got was 13 degrees.
Yeah, you should have seen some significant change. There's barely any in the footage.
Again, where is
News
your
is
video
posting.
evidence to show what they should have seen?
Yeah, I know you don't know what sunsets look like. I know, dude. You don't go outside. That's fine.
It's not a sunset. That's not what you're looking at.
It didn't set. So we don't need to compare it to a sunset.
It's
We
at
need to
13
compare it to a
degrees.
sun
That's the
not
marine
setting.
layer. All right, so the light should be scattering more and more the lower it gets.
Okay, and then how does an auto exposure camera deal with that?
So I guess you just don't care to actually take pictures of the sun. You just don't even know what you're doing.
Well, we got multiple 360 camera views of the sun, and you got
you
nothing.
guys totally messed that shit up.
Welcome to Globe Earth, bud.
Dude, you've brought nothing but
leave it to
assertions.
MC Toon to not actually do an experiment. I mean, that's
You know
what
what?
that is.
Snooze posted photos showing that they're different, and you're saying they need to be some quantity different, but you can't provide any backing for that. Awesome.
Yeah.
If you say
20 degrees above the horizon, there should be significant scattering. You should be seeing reds and yellows.
And how do you know that? Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
No, because that's what
all you
happens
got.
every single time there's a sunset, except for when you were in Antarctica.
But it wasn't. It didn't set. It wasn't close to the horizon. It never got.
Wow,
close
it
to
is literally right there next to the horizon. Look at that.
Gosh.
So when you say specifically you really messed that shit up, quote unquote, what are you implying?
You could have had cameras on the cameras. I might have just.
Are you implying that
deal.
he took photos of the sun and they were just bad photos, so he messed it up?
All right,
Or are
so
you
am
saying that he
I?
faked it?
Are you guys letting MC Toon run away now? So you want me to address Glowtart now?
No, I think we got to shift it up a little. You have had the mic time for quite a bit. Maybe other people want to get in.
I got a really good one though.
Go ahead.
I got a really good one. He's gonna love this. So,
Yeah, you already struck out. You're literally 2 for 2 struck out right now.
What were his strikeouts? Because as far as I can tell, you guys are the ones been striking out.
Nice, Globy.
Those guys. Yeah, I mean, I've been involved again.
Yeah,
All
this is the thing. It's like not everybody that has a planar stationary, perspective thinks that this was a faked event. And in fact, it seems like in here there's like very few people. That's why I was asking MC Toon, like out in the world, out there, what he's seeing in terms of what percentage.
All right,
elsewhere.
so there is so on Will Duffy's channel, The Final Experiment, there's a 3 videos that are more than 24 hours. YouTube only allows you to post a 12-hour video, so it had to be split into 3. And there is the sun there just above the blue shed, and on the right side, and on the left side is when the sun was in the other direction. And look at that, it's a different color. So I completely destroyed your assertion.
But it's not yellow.
Not yellow.
Is this the same camera?
It has to be yellow or red.
Same
Yeah, Tim, I know you
Why?
don't get it.
Why?
Because
I have another one. I got back to my computer. I mean, on this point, if we're still actually doing this, but just on this point, this one here also shows this is the one 24-hour sun footage from Union Glacier that existed, as far as I know, the only one before they took the trip, the only actual 24-hour one that I actually found on the skydiving channel that has like very few views. But anyways, I timestamped it, so if you click on it there, I just posted it. Jesse, if you want to watch that one, it shows the sky changing colors as well as it does its whole circuit.
Yeah, Robbie experiment, Gio.
What about the 24 moon in Antarctica during the winter time?
That wasn't
what about
taken.
that?
That wasn't taken.
So
I have a
guys,
better
I'd like
argument.
to hear what you're asserting, though. Are you asserting that it was faked?
Yes,
I'd like to know what it is you're asserting.
Okay, well let's be clear. Hold on, let's be clear. There are only 2 people so far in this room that are asserting it's fake. So you'd have to ask one of those 2. It's not everybody. There's not like a huge people saying it's fake.
Yeah, there is. There's tons of people that think it's fake. You're lying.
I'm talking about
If
in
you
here.
believe the Earth is flat, it has to be fake.
Hold on, I'm talking about in this room right now, Jesse. I'm just saying, there's only 2 people. So when he says you guys, you can't expect like people to.
No,
And
the
only
truth
one
is
of them
there's
is a
people
real
that
flat earther,
agree.
and I
They're just
can't
not
even
willing
get
to
in to
speak up
make an
because they see
argument.
how you treat people that disagree with you. They see the cult mentality and the dogpiling and the useless bullshit. But I don't give a fuck. So either way, this is not from the same camera. All right, I don't know how much the camera is allowing light exposure. So are you saying this is the same camera in this 2 shots, McDude?
I'll send you the links to the videos and you can double check it yourself.
Is it the same camera?
It is the same. It's the same video from the same camera.
Can I?
And you said you looked at all the footage. And
Okay, so
all of the
then
footage was your assertion. Obviously, you didn't look at this footage.
What is the span of time between the 2 shots?
12 hours.
Yeah, exactly 12 hours apart.
All right,
All right,
Q-Op's
tap me
trying to
in.
get
I want next.
Yeah, go ahead, please. But I was gonna shift it a little bit but unless we'll keep going. Go
There
ahead,
you go.
Q.
There's
Yo,
the 2 videos.
McToon, the Union Glacier, how far from the South Pole is Union Glacier?
We're just north of 80 degrees south latitude, so it's about 700 miles.
How many
It's like
degrees?
10 degrees, 69 miles per degree. So call it
So
700.
okay, so that would mean that south. So this 24-hour shot we got, right? that would mean that to the south, when the sun is to the south, that's when it should look like the sun is the farthest from the Union Glacier area. Do you have any videos of the sun looking like it's farther when it's in the south? Because
What do you
Just
mean?
pretty
posted
much,
the footage.
pretty
Looking
much
like
it all
it's
looks like,
farther.
yeah, pretty much
How
it
would
just
you
looks like the sun is the same distance the whole time.
how would you quantify looking
Oh, great.
farther?
Oh my god.
Parallax, eyes.
They don't really
This
claim
is
that it is on the globe,
oh
though.
my
It's not really
goodness.
far. It's
Okay.
not really farther. It
So
maybe is by like a
I'll
tiny bit, but it's the angle.
I'll go over this. Okay. The sun is 150 million kilometers away.
Ay.
And
We gotta grant you that.
And from since we're at 10 degrees north of the South Pole, that's 70 or 700 miles. It's about 1,100 kilometers. So that's the total distance. It adds about 2,200 kilometers. So 150 million kilometers plus 22,000 kilometers doesn't make a significant difference in angular size when you apply the angular size formula. So we would not expect a variation that we could measure with an instrument that's not precise. So it should not look farther away.
Well, the angular size doesn't matter as much as like the route basically the I don't know how to word this. The route it's taking in the sky is going to be asymmetrical because when it's in the south, it's farther away, and that would be a
farther
drastic
away.
change because of perspective and the area where you see it.
Man.
Holy crap! It's farther away by a minuscule amount. It's
Yeah. The sun's
But
going the wrong direction
holy
for the
bro, we
Gleason
got
map.
globers, concavers. Like, come on.
We need to find that solution.
All right, thank you, concaver.
These little minute differences in pixel quality on the Glober model is not the issue. The sun's going the wrong direction for the Gleason
What are you
map.
talking about, dude? It's literally such a fucking red herring, dude.
I don't think he's understanding when you say minuscule amount. It's quantifiably like it's 0.00 something angular size change, right, McToon?
yeah.
I'm not talking about
I
the
mean,
angular
It's
size.
going to
I'm
be
talking about how it the
he was
direction.
talking about the size of the sun, the apparent size that it would appear.
Yeah, and I was asking how you expected to quantify the difference in how far away it was, but you didn't have a real answer.
Yeah, the path that the sun is taking above you is going to look differently when it's in the south. It's not going to be symmetrical.
It was not symmetrical. Yeah,
prove it.
It was 13 degrees in elevation at local solar midnight and 34 degrees in elevation at local solar noon. So
yeah, it was bobbing up and
non-symmetrical.
down at the same distance the whole time.
How did you determine the distance?
My eyes.
Your eyes are not a distant measuring device.
Yeah, eyes can judge parallax. That's how we see depth.
Yeah, but you didn't have your eyeballs there, and your eyeballs are no good at
No,
measuring the
we're
distance
looking at
of
the
things
video.
that are far away. Yeah, on a video you don't have parallax because you only have one camera. Do you not know this? In order for you to use parallax to use your eyeballs, you need to actually have your eyeballs present at the location, and they're only good up to a certain distance away. The sun's way too far away.
One
The
eye
flat
does
earthers,
work.
the flat earthers know that there was a camera taking constant photos of the sun with a sun filter. Like, forget
Yeah,
seeing the
but
sun without a filter. There was a filter applied and photos taken the entire 24 hours. And you can look at that entire, I think it's 1400-ish frames, and you will not detect any angular size change.
sure, but you could just
I took sunspot
camera,
photos too.
have a camera on the camera, and it's over. Just like
There's
with SpaceX landing
There is a
boosters on
camera on the camera, absolutely.
There was a camera on the camera. Yep.
for
And I
24 hours, though.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
being
linked.
ridiculous.
Yes, for 24 hours.
Yeah, I
Was,
linked
okay.
prior.
Yeah.
The world's first 9 time-lapse video of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica has a 24-hour view of the camera that took the photos that I just posted. So we're covered.
Let me guess. You want a camera that's filming the camera. Is that right?
We got that too.
Ooh,
We got some
that
questions.
existed as well.
Yeah. No, we have all of that. Don't sit here and move the goalposts. We're done. You just keep saying nonsense.
Yeah, these
Like,
globies are mad.
Yeah, the thing is
yeah.
that if you're like kind of like want this to be something that the 24-hour sun somehow makes the flat Earth just poof and go away, it's just never going to. Like a planar stationary Earth has been like a foundational cosmology since the dawn of time, and now with everything that's occurring, so it just like your tone there made it sound like you're like as if somebody needs to accept this just so that having a stationary planar Earth model, somehow just vanishes and goes away, but it's not going to happen because
So
this
that's a
doesn't
straw man.
actually validate what the surface is. It only
You know
validates what
that's
the
a
sky
straw
does
man.
in that region.
You're saying,
Yeah, Gio.
what am I saying?
You know that is a
I'm not.
straw man, Gio.
Thanks, Gio. That was on point.
Electric,
Yeah,
elaborate.
Jesse
I'm
was
with Electric
interrupting all
too.
the way through me.
Yeah,
Yes.
elaborate, Electric.
Well, I
Say
didn't
it.
even get to
Come
finish
on.
what I was saying. What I'm saying is that this does not validate a globe Earth. It does match with what a globe Earth model
Why?
does give, but it doesn't actually mean the Earth is a globe. That's the
Why?
issue. So even if
Why?
these guys who
Tell me
even
why.
if even if the few guys who think it's fake, even if they were to somehow accept it as real, depending on what their discernments are, that's not going to. That's why it hasn't changed things overall. There may be like 2% of people that have maybe kind of changed their view, but it's like the
Is this
majority.
another? Is this another? We
Let me
don't know what
respond
shape
to
it
the
is. We
straw
just
man.
know it's not globe.
I'm responding to the straw man. You misrepresent my position.
I'm not
This
even
does
talking
not.
to you, so there's nothing about you, or anything involved with you. It's not a straw man if no one's involved.
You literally just
I
got
made a
done saying
statement.
people want to believe it's fake because they want to believe the A.E. Gleason's map is real. I think this is fake because this doesn't look real at all. It has nothing to do with me wanting A.E. Gleason's to be real.
Yeah, it's a cult. It's a straight up cult.
That's the only reason why it would be fake. Every other model of reality doesn't have a problem with what was observed. Every other model of reality. There's another flat Earth model that doesn't claim this thing is fake. There's other
Show me that
models.
model.
It's
Show
just
me
the
that
I don't know what
model
you're
Gleason.
now.
talking about.
It's
I
the
do not know what you're
difficulty
trying to
of the
say.
Gleason model to explain. That's it.
Well, I just want
Concave
to
Keeper just
remind.
wants us picking a different model, dude. Come on, you guys. Everyone pick a different model for the
I
concave.
just want to remind everyone that neither Electric nor QOP have provided any evidence to back their position.
True that. I gotta go to sleep. You're right. Thank you, Icy Spin. I
You're welcome.
forfeit.
Well, yeah. Well, if you had your blinders on since TFE happened, then maybe
Well, I
you
can
would be of that
summarize.
ignorant fucking opinion. Yeah.
I can
Maybe you have no
summarize. You
idea why people
said
think it's
the
fake.
sky doesn't
Hold on, I'm
change
answering your
color.
stupid bullshit,
He
dude. Can you
showed
stop trying to talk
multiple
over people?
photos of different colors. You said nuh-uh. What was the other thing you showed?
Listen
He wanted
close. Auto
the
Glober.
flight data
I
with
know for a fact
Oh
that you
yeah.
weren't paying
GPS
attention
coordinates.
to any of the information coming out against TFE being real. You probably weren't paying attention. So you have blinders on.
Remind me what
Hey,
evidence you
MC
brought.
Tune. Well,
What
we
makes
already
it
went
be
through it.
fake?
We went through those points. I want to ask MC Tune, like, so I know it's kind of a hypothetical, but it kind of opens the question because we're talking about these different, like, yes, like the 24-hour sun does not match with the A.E. Gleason's map. It does generally with the globe. It does generally, if you want to say concave as well, similar, and it does on a two-pole planar. So what I wanted to ask you, MC Tune, like, if the Earth is indeed planar and stationary, and the sky still does what it does, with what you already know about this realm, having gone to the Antarctica, but also obviously having lived in the north where you can see the north as well. My question to you is, do you think that if it is indeed planar and stationary and the sky still does this and it isn't a globe, in your mind, would it have to be a two-pole planar layout?
None of it makes sense because the surface distances still have to make sense, and they don't. And your planar two-pole one that you put up, Hawaii is north of Alaska.
Would you agree at least Antarctica is way better represented? And just the whole southern hemisphere in general?
The southern hemisphere is a mess on that bipolar one. The 2 points that have the least distortion are actually the North Pole and South Pole in that particular map. So Antarctica doesn't get much distortion, but everything else does.
Okay, so you're saying other things. I mean, Hawaii is not necessarily north of Alaska. Everything would still be south out from the North Pole Center. But then you would just have another. It's like instead of one AE map, you have two, which is like the two hemispheres of what they make the globe. So you have that, like what they claim the globe is the top hemisphere. That's what we call the northern. And then the bottom part of the globe, they claim the southern. But instead of it being two sides of a globe or two hemispheres of a globe, it could be like two AE maps essentially laid in a planar fashion. That general type layout where you have the northern and then the southern, and then at the equator it's straight. It's the only thing that matches with the sky with a planar foundation. That's the
That
thing.
might
So
be.
that's why I'm asking, like, if you knew for sure it was planar, like you did, additional tests, or it was like for sure known, and the sky still does what it does, in your mind, would you be like, okay, then it is some type of a two-pole planar Earth? That's my question.
Has to be doing
As a
something.
as a hypothetical, I suppose. Just asking you, is that what it would end up having to be?
I don't see where you're going with that. Here.
Yeah.
So
let's say you had $100 million, got a whole team together. We did a bunch of tests and validating there is no curvature. So, and it is at rest, let's say, and, after spending $100 million. So, for at this point that it is. Then when the sky still does what it does, would it by default be a two-pole planar ground to match the two-pole planar sky?
Well, here you go. You got Jamie Rowe's dual Earth model. Just posted that for you.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Trying to figure out what's going on there. Stars above and below.
The sun
There's
is in the middle. The sun is in the middle, and then magic causes you to see the sun. In the sky.
Magic.
Yeah, he doesn't provide an explanation for it.
Or light, but magnetism.
Magnetism.
Real quick
magnetism
on
doesn't
Alaska.
light.
So don't they land in Alaska on emergencies from Hawaii to LA? And they're pretty much equidistant.
No, not at all. Oh my goodness. Holy cow.
No.
How wrong you're not even getting the flat earth argument even close to right. Oh my goodness.
Well, no, I just stated that they land in Alaska on their way from Hawaii to LA.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't go anywhere near Alaska, bro. I've been on that flight 3 times.
It's never happened once.
Yo, I have a question for the concaver.
You're getting Banjo's argument wrong. You don't even know
Look, I've heard nothing new. I'm just saying I've heard, I'm not born yesterday, so the nah and the duh is not working, but
kind of sounded like it.
Yeah, well, usually, if you've been somewhere and you can be cocky, so I understand that, but like making fun of people was not a good look from science.
Yo, I have a question for the concaver. To the concaver. You want us to pick like between concave and like the two-pole flat Earth model you got, right, or something like that?
Well, he just knows the AE map doesn't work. So I mean, I'm not trying to speak for him, but he's aware of that. So that's really all that's left. It's two-pole planar Earth or globe or concave, I guess. Even though there's
yeah, that's what I'm asking. If that's what he wants, right? Because he always yells at me about. Yeah, he always yells at me about like we need to pick one of those. I'm just curious if like once we pick one of those, will he then stop like because then he won't have to complain about we need a model because then we pick the right model that works like as far as like what they say
Don't you
is
feel?
seen. I'm almost done. Now I gotta find out where it was. So it's basically I'm trying to say like his problem is like where we don't have like a model that works, but once we pick one of his like models like concave or dual pole flat Earth, is he gonna start like is then he gonna change what he complains about to be like, oh, how are we gonna fucking deal with Pac-Manning or the fact that gravity doesn't work on concave and we've never proven any kind of model for how gravity could work on concave? Are you gonna do that?
You realize the model's not the problem. You guys can't explain
That
the
was for
altitude of
concaver.
your sun. You can't
That
explain
wasn't
the
for
size
Globey.
of your sun. You can't explain how your sun and moon orbit.
Those
You
are
can't
different problems
explain
for
the
what you
lack of
think.
a sunset. It's not about the
You're just
shape of the Earth. It's about
Yeah, we
none of
know
your
you lack
mechanics work.
comprehension of anything besides balls in your face. We know, dude.
The description
Yeah,
is
you
not
guys can't even
accurate.
explain a freaking sunset.
All right, hold on. This is getting kind of
Oh my
scattered.
god,
There's
like the
a lot of
lowest,
different topics.
lowest
So
level
just
Digital
hold,
auto
gold.
globe.
just hold
You're
on for a
describing
second.
it.
Everyone stop, please, for a second. Close your mics. Okay, Gatebreaker, did you want to respond to Kios's point?
Nope.
What was the actual question? That if everybody went to two pole, or I don't think there's ever going to be a rush to any concave, but
Two
it's
pole is
just
more
about getting to the
problematic than
truth.
AE Gleason's.
It's just about getting to what the truth is. In general, like the Earth being a globe is what we're told, our history from any time we were born. We know that the ancients had a planar stationary Earth. The AE model was kind of given. I know I ran into it back in like 2004, the AE map. I mean, that's kind of in the literature and in all of that. So there's always been the question of if that layout is true or not. So if it's not, it just means that there's more to discover to figure out what the realm is. If people really
Assuming you
think it's a
discount
globe,
all
if people really think
pictures
it's a globe, they could move
and
on with their
video
life and
and
think it's a
film
globe.
from
But if they
space.
want to, hold on, you're interrupting me. My last part was just if people want to think it's a globe and believe that, it's fine. They can do that. But obviously, if they're in these combos and wanting to continue to ask questions and look, then they're on the path to getting to what the actual truth is. So that will be
You understand, dude?
What is
People
the
don't.
actual truth, dude?
Well,
Like, if
hold on a
you're
second.
really sitting
People,
here saying,
Yeah,
when
we're
you say
uncovering it.
people want to believe it's a globe, it's everybody knows it's a globe, not believes it's a globe. You guys discount.
That's false. Shut
Oh,
up,
no,
dude.
no, let me finish.
Stop with
You
the
guys
rhetoric.
no,
discount. Hold on, let me finish. You discount pilots. You discount astronauts. You
That's more
discount
lies.
engineers. You
More lies.
discount. Listen, you discount every photo, video, and film images from space. You discount satellites. You discount. I mean, literally, the world is. You live in a world of globe Earth.
None of those things
It's all
require a
around
globe.
you.
Looking
None of
at all
those.
that, dude. We see it. It's not good.
Yeah, none of those things are
I,
globe
I love
evidence.
that statement. Also, none of those things require a
Wait,
round
but
Earth. How
you
can you
realize on
say
a
that?
flat Earth there could be pilots that believe the Earth's a globe, right?
you
Yeah, there's
know,
people that
all
say it
those
looks
pilots
flat.
are
Big
just
deal.
lying and
Well, he's
joking.
just very narrow-minded. He's not going to be able to think
No, go back to
properly.
that. You made a statement there. Back it up? So why do you think that? Why do you think that these things that we say kind of show that the Earth is round could be flat, like a satellite? How can a satellite go around in circles?
How?
Because they could
Wow,
go
you're
around in
really having
circles.
trouble picturing that?
How
That's
does an
insane.
equatorial
Yeah,
mount
yeah. Tell
work
me
on a
how.
flat Earth?
See how another commonality. I ask you a question, and then you got to repeat it, and then try to make fun. Just answer the question. You don't have to
All you got to
decipher it.
do is stop imagining balls in your head for 1 second in your life,
No, how
and
does
then
an
you
How
can.
does
orbit
your
take
All right,
place on a
you
sun?
flat
How
Earth?
sound
Hold
like
does
a
your
on.
Enoch, dude.
Answer his
how does your
question
sun
One more
look
directly,
at
time.
the
Third
Elijah.
time.
underside of clouds?
Third time.
Hold on. Let Zanuck repeat it.
One thing like a satellite, which does require the Earth being round and going around it. How does it
That's
happen on a
false.
flat Earth? How does a satellite go around the Earth? What's your theory?
Satellite does not require the Earth to be round, dude. You can make an orbital path above a planar surface. It's not hard.
Okay, last time. Here,
Oh,
you just said it again. This fourth time now. This is getting kind of tiring. How is it possible?
Can I
Describe
answer?
the mechanics of it.
I'll answer.
How can something
I'll
go around
answer.
in
Been
circles
answered.
above your head?
I'll answer.
Just
All right.
fucking
So
answer,
Asked
on
and
globe,
dude.
answered, bro.
on globe Earth, it's falling around a ball, and you guys have a vacuum and some type of like orbit like mechanics where like it's a perfect distance so that it never gets too close or far, blah blah blah. And then you guys claim
Doesn't.
Coriolis is caused by Earth spin, which is what we see with the storms and the weather patterns. But on a flat Earth, all those things, that vortexual motion that you guys claim is Coriolis from Earth spin, is we believe it's being caused by an actual force, like a real force, not a pseudo force,
Then
like
how's an
magnetism.
equatorial mount work on
what
a
is
flat
That's
that
Earth?
why
force?
in the
You
middle of
guys, let's
every
not
You
get
reset
magnetic
scattered.
field,
though. We
there's a
talked about that
vortex, and
yesterday,
I'll
dude.
just keep talking. I'll try
Yeah,
to
we need
keep
to
my
keep a
concentration while
cohesive
you guys interrupt.
conversation. Let's not get scattergun everywhere and let him finish first. Go ahead, Q.
I was so
Finish. You got.
close. Every time I'm always so close, dude, in this interruption start.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the globe is
It's
allowed to
it's
just
a
So
scattergun
no.
and just
Hold
the
on,
say
hold on.
anything.
It's an honest to God's question that I asked
everyone's
because you
had it
said
again.
that everything could work on a
Wait,
flat
I just
Earth,
fucking
but
hey,
an
Bennett,
Cole,
equatorial
I
mount
told you
cannot
hey,
work
buddy,
on a
yesterday.
Bennett.
flat Earth.
That's a lie. I told you
Yeah.
yesterday, dude. Did you go like? Did you fall asleep and reset, dude? I told you the whole
Oh, they
fucking
always
reason
do.
how, dude.
Yes, and none of it made sense what you said.
It's not my fault that you're too stupid to understand what I said, dude. But that was the answer. I
Yeah,
told you how it worked.
right. I
I
got
told
you.
you
How
I told you why it worked and how it worked, and you just like reset, bro. Whatever, dude.
No,
how
you
how are
made
the
up a
how
bunch
are
of
the
nonsense that made no sense.
How are the
You could.
clouds lit
It did
up in
make
the
sense to
morning and
you. All
evening
right.
on a flat Earth, guys?
Another
How are the
scattergun.
clouds
Let's
lit up from the
go.
underside on a flat Earth? Please
Oh my
explain.
God, dude, are you new to this fucking argument? That's been
How are the
debunked a long
clouds
time
lit
ago,
up from
bro.
the underside on a flat Earth?
You're
we got.
retarded,
They don't
bro.
realize that they're just saying random stupid things.
Just
Yeah, you
answer the
guys. Stop
question,
for a second.
please.
You sound like you came from TikTok or something.
So are you saying you can't answer the question?
We just need to stop. Hold on.
That's
I
the way
don't
it
want to
works,
mute.
bro.
I
I
think
don't want to mute
everybody's
anyone.
answered your
Please just stop
questions.
for a
MC,
second. Hold on. I'm just gonna do temporary mute, Jack. Just hold on for a second, dude. Let's try to get back to something. You're shooting out things. Multiple people are jumping in. Let's try. If you want to go on one topic, we can do that. We were talking about like the map layout though, like the dual pole, the AE, the globe concave, those kind of four basically. So we were sort of talking about that. Now we've kind of jumped and lily pad, scattergunned off to a bunch of other things. So did we complete that convo on the polls thing or anything further of the layout? And then if we're done with that, we should shift to one thing and have one person go at a time so we can actually keep it cohesive.
I didn't even finish answering Xanix's question. Like he still doesn't know
finish
how.
your thing then. All right, if
what
you're
I
gonna
was.
go off on that, just finish your thing then. At least just one at a time. And finish your whole point.
Yeah, I didn't think I got it answered either. I mean, you said it's a bunch of things, terms like vortexual, and it works just the same. But how does it work? I mean, I can explain it how it works on a round Earth. I'm sure you should be able to, explain
He
it how
was
it
about
happens
to
on a flat
finish,
Earth.
but they didn't let him finish.
But he just kind of dismissed it. I'm just curious what your theory
No, he didn't
is.
dismiss. He was actually answering
One
your
answer would
question.
be one answer I've heard. For example, I've heard it. There's a dome, and all these little lights are on the
I
dome.
guess he wants to
And
answer
Oh
for
my
you,
god.
Q.
Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I was
All
gonna
right. Well,
say
I just
little
because I'm
lights on
not
a
giving
dome. You're
answers
right.
sixth
Thank
time
you.
now. Go ahead.
Q-Op, just
Trying to
make
help
your
you
full
out.
point. Go ahead.
He said little lights on a dome.
I was trying to help you out just by giving you an example how I would answer it if I was a flat earther and I was going to give an answer like a
Oh
steel
my
man.
god,
Bro, you guys are fucking hilarious.
Now you're laughing. It's just making it silly. Come on. So
guys,
again,
answer or don't answer.
how do these lights in the sky? How do they? We say it requires a round Earth. You're saying it can work on a flat Earth. How? How does that work?
So we can demonstrate magnetic locking, like it's a thing. You guys
Oh my
can't
god.
demonstrate like with
What
anything
the
with
hell
even.
is
Oh my
magnetic
god.
Isn't it
lock?
funny how
My
you
god.
just
I'm
can't
just
answer
gonna
the
do
question?
temporary mutes.
Like,
I'm just gonna do temporary mutes. Please don't interrupt at all. Please don't open your mic when someone's speaking. If you want to go next, you can go next. We gotta go one at a time. Q-Op, finish your point. Go ahead.
Bro, I can't. I give up.
Yeah, I know. You guys, please don't interrupt for real.
I only care to talk to McToon about this. Like all the Glovers chiming in, like I don't
Hold
care.
on, dude. Q-Op, please go. I'm sitting here with whacking them
I
all
don't even
muted
know.
just to
I
let you
don't know.
go. Just go.
Just let Jesse go.
No, I just temporarily muted him so you could say your points. Come on, dude. We're losing it, guys. Come on.
Bro,
One at a time.
I
Go.
can't stay concentrated.
Well, Gio, you know how I move, bro. Sorry.
you have triggers Glovers just as much as he triggers religious people.
I want to just point out that when we try to focus on one thing, Glovers just want to immediately just ADD into some completely irrelevant topic. Like, what about sunsets? What about the shadow of the moon and blah blah blah? Things that aren't relevant. Like you guys can't
You
focus.
know, that was my point. So let me speak to that. You guys are looking for the shape of your Earth. We are literally in 2025. So we ask you specific mechanical questions about your model. Forget the model or not. You should be able to answer every question. You guys have let me finish. You guys have sat here tonight and asked MC Toon questions about the video footage from Antarctica, like it's the Zapruder film. He has gone into detail. He has provided evidence. Your answer is nuh-uh. But when we ask a simple question, what shape is your Earth? You don't know. And then your argument is like, well, if we could pick a shape, would that mean you're going to stop asking questions? It's absurd, the difference between your evidence and what we provide. And any globe earther could say the same things I'm saying, not just MC Toon.
So then why
Wait,
are
so
you here? You're
you
still
provided a
convinced
shape?
Earth is a
Hold
globe.
on,
You
you
just
provided
added
evidence
into
for the shape of the Earth, bro?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
like I don't know
fucking
what you plan on actually
You
contributing
guys
to
don't
this
accept any
conversation to make
evidence
it
as shape of the
fruitful.
globe.
What
camera
evidence
on the
have you
moon, bro.
provided?
What evidence can
Any
I
any
provide?
new any new
No, what have you
perspectives,
provided,
Jack?
or
I
there's
don't need
something
to
that you
provide
could actually
evidence
show us?
because you
Oh,
guys
so
haven't
you
asked me for
don't
any
need to
evidence.
provide any evidence.
No. I said you haven't asked me for any evidence. I would first
Well, I
first
mean,
submit.
Well,
you're
we already
making a
know that you don't
claim.
have any, dude.
I would first submit as evidence the first film ever shot that shows curvature of the Earth. It's
Oh my
not
God.
video.
Oh
It's not a
God.
Can
picture.
you provide this?
And yes, it's from
It's not-
1948. It's the U.S. Army. It's a V2 rocket with a 35 millimeter film camera attached to it. Shows
Okay, how
clear
high did that go?
curvature. You can look it up anywhere
How
you
high did
want
it go?
Do that This guy again. doesn't know the
I
difference.
How high did it
think
go?
it went to 58 miles or 48 miles.
Wow. So
Well, don't say wow. It shows the curvature of the Earth clear as day.
I
No,
mean,
it
that, how
doesn't.
much of the Earth does it that at 58 miles can you see? What
It
percentage?
shows curvature is what I said it shows.
What percentage of the Earth? Well, I guess it's a really, really
So now
tiny
you're
Earth.
not accepting curvature. Now you want a percentage.
Well, I mean, the math doesn't even align because at 255 miles, where the ISS is supposed to
Why don't
be.
you go look at it first?
Listen
before you
up,
say
I
what
haven't
it is?
finished. When I haven't finished, at 255 miles, you'll only be able to see 3% of the Earth. You won't even be able to see curvature from the Earth at
Dude, if you were
250 some
255 miles
I'm
from
not
the
done,
Earth,
dude.
your eyes
I'm
would
not
see the
done. You are
full
you are you
Earth.
still going? Are you still going? You'll
I
see
don't
a
know what
full
you're
Earth.
even saying,
Wow.
dude. It's crazy.
Well, let him finish. You just
Paul
you guys-
Larson, a planetarian director that was chosen by NASA to be one of the first to go to Mars, mathematician he said that it's not even possible from the ISS to see the curvature of the Earth because you'll only see a flat horizon because you only see 3% of it.
Glovers hate that.
Can I pose a
So
question?
my answer to that would be, since that was addressed to me, you can go see live streaming footage of the ISS right this very minute.
God, he doesn't
Yeah,
care.
he
And hold
addresses
on,
that.
let me
He
finish.
addresses that. He
Let me
addresses that,
finish.
and okay.
If you deny you're seeing curvature, then you're lying to everyone here.
Well, he addresses that. He says that use a wide angle lens camera, which automatically warps the horizon. So, what's your point?
Yeah, they're using GoPros on their spacewalk,
This guy
so
believes.
that's going to
This
cause
guy
a bit of
believes
God's
in
sakes,
distortion
nothing.
because
guys.
you're supposed to
So
straight line.
it only warps the Earth and not everything else in frame.
Oh my
Oh, it
God,
does
dude.
that too.
Yeah,
I don't know
within the
if you, I
frame,
guess you haven't seen
You
that.
can
ISS
see
is
the
curving
bending
too.
of the
You
solar
guys are
panels,
desperately
bro.
looking for anything. It's very sad.
You're desperately trying to make your globe come
Very.
alive, bro. It's been debunked a long time ago. What you
So,
guys
Dude, you have
always
a
do,
tiny Earth.
everything you got, every time, dude, all you guys do is you bring up math because it's a mathematical construct, so it makes sense. But everything you have is debunked, has been debunked. It's dead.
so
But you
if the
guys,
And
Earth
all you
also
guys
the
have is your math.
if the
Right.
Earth is
That's
flat
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
why
exactly, dude.
that's
how
why
do
an
you
equatorial mount will only work on a globe, right?
Once
how do you
again, dude, you're on reset, bro. Just go somewhere, man. Kick rocks.
okay? How do you
It's
Yeah.
You're mad
explain?
unbelievable.
because you know you don't have an answer for that,
I
and it
already gave you the
kills
answer
you.
Equatorial mount
yesterday.
No, you
I
didn't. You
gave
said
you
a bunch of
yesterday.
stupid
Crack.
shit that made no
Okay,
sense.
okay. Let's let everybody else hear real quick. Let's see if it's stupid shit. Okay, guys. What I told him was that the reason why or how it works, same way that they want to make it think it works on the globe, is because it's a by both concepts. You're just pointing it at an apparent star rotation, and you're tracking it with a single axis. That's it. You're just
No,
tracking
a
it. Is
single axis of
listen,
rotation will not track something moving
li-
in a circular
this is
pattern
where you're
like we
wrong.
see the
This is
stars
where you're wrong.
moving.
This is
No,
where
I'm
you're
not
wrong.
wrong.
Yes,
It
because
requires the rotation
bullshit.
of the
That's a
Earth
lie.
to add
That's a
the
lie.
second axis
That's
of
a lie.
rotation to
This is
make
what
it
you're not getting,
track.
Cole.
You go
Cole,
out, you
stop,
try it.
Cole.
Just
Cole,
try it
Cole,
with
Cole. Cole,
experiment.
Cole, stop. Check it out, bro.
Jeez, how are you
Cole,
that
stop.
stupid?
Hey, Cole, stop. I know in your world it can't work because it has to be a globe. But here's the reality. All right. All you're doing is tracing something going around. Now, whether that's the globe spinning or the sky spinning, it's still essentially the same thing. That's why when you're saying, well, it has to be a globe, that's just a lie. It's a flat out lie. Because what you're doing by the fundamentals of it, you're just tracking something going around. Now, let's say
With a
we put
single
like a
axis of
now
rotation.
let's say listen carefully, okay? Let's say we put an airplane on a string for you and it's going to go above your head around and around and around. And then you created a mount to follow that path, right? But then you then tilt that plane sideways to where it's going now downwards and then up and over your head and then downwards and then up and over your head. But guess what? All you have to do is take that same fucking mount that was going, above you around and around and tilt it. and it's going to do the
Okay, I
same
want to
exact
respond
thing.
to this when
Yeah,
Widget Junior
dude,
gets done here.
you have
Okay,
nothing to respond
now
to, bro.
here's
Honestly.
why this all breaks down for you
I'm
when you
sorry.
say tilt it on its side and follow a plane going around and around.
Oh,
If it's
unbelievable.
setting on the ground without the ground moving, you can do that. But that's not what we see in the sky. We see a large arc in the sky that if you try to put something with a single axis of rotation on a non-moving flat plane pointing up at the sky, you cannot make it follow something moving in a
Still don't get it.
circle.
Still don't get it. And you're not going to, by the way. You can't grasp it because you're blocked. You got your globe
No,
blocked.
it's because it's simple
Nah, dude,
geometry, bud.
I already told you it's very simple.
I know why you don't get it. The same reason you didn't get the idea of why you thought your skateboard going behind the cinder block with the camera below the cinder block, you
It's an
thought showed the
apparent rotation
curvature of the earth or
that is being
showed
tracked.
blocking of the horizon. You do these things because you don't get reality.
Dude, it works on
You have no
the problem with
3D spatial
listen,
awareness.
this actually will help my argument, by the way. The reason why the problem that you have is that it works on both models, quote unquote. But remember, models are just this mathematical construct that we can take with numbers, plot datums, and matter of fact, there's more than a flat Earth or a globe Earth. There are other models that have been constructed and that work. Now, Globers threw them under the bus. I don't care. Of course, they have to, because when it comes to math, you guys reign supreme. That's your fucking god right there. You
We
have to
had
use
somebody
math.
model this out and show why it won't work on a flat Earth. We
So,
did
OG,
we
real
did model
quick.
this out.
Well,
OG,
Cole, there's
there's
no
a
issue with an equatorial mount over a
OG,
planar
there's a
surface.
video
You're
posted
An
just
by
taking
equatorial
Zach.
mount won't work
It
on a
doesn't
flat
work.
Earth. It has to have
It
a
doesn't.
globe
That's
Earth that
false.
rotates.
No, that's
No,
false.
absolutely
That's
not.
No
thousand
flat
You're
earthers
percent.
ever
just
shown it.
tracking
Yes, it
that.
Shown it.
does. Absolutely,
You
it
just say
does.
it. You just say it, but nobody's ever provided it.
Well, you're
It's
tracking
just
the
like
axis
it's a
of
blind
rotation of.
it's a blind faith belief that it exists, but there's no flat earther that's ever produced a mechanism showing how it works.
For an
You,
equatorial mount?
you don't have to show how it
Yeah.
It works. It's going around and around and around. It's clocking in rotation. What do you have wrong with that? What's wrong?
It's
An equatorial mount on a flat surface doesn't work. It's geometrically impossible.
That
Nobody's ever
that's
shown it.
cap.
You've just said it. And
That's
every
cap.
one of you
You
are
just
just
said
saying
it.
it
No,
too.
you just said it. Then that's cap. That's totally wrong. All
Well,
it's
it's just
doing is
tracking
just
the
getting an
axis of.
apparent star rotation. That's it. And you put it to the center of it and it tracks it. That's it. That's all it's doing. You
It's
guys make
tracking the
it to where it
axis.
has to
Oh
be
my
that.
gosh.
Go ahead,
Just
Gio.
trying to
Sorry.
get in. No, that's all right. I was just trying to say it's tracking the axis of rotation of the sky. That's it. And so it's just tracking the actual
Exactly.
rotation of the sky axis, the way that the sky actually moves over the planar surface. Kind of like in a planetarium, when you have a hemisphere dome of stars, as it were, around you, and you can put an equatorial mount on the flat floor of the planetarium.
And it'll track them.
Yeah, so you're just tracking the axis of the sky rotation.
Tracks it on one axis. And you could do that on a flat Earth with a moving dome, but it would only be on one location where it would work, and it would only be one angle that would match whatever the angle of the dome over the flat Earth is, right? Except what we have is a different angle for every latitude, and it still works on one axis of tracking. There's no way to simulate that with a flat Earth and a dome.
No, you just change its angle, dude. What are you talking about, bro? Are you kidding? What do you think that you think these things are just like set in one position? Like, it's just locked in. I can't move it, but good thing we're on a globe because they'll pick it up. Dude, what's wrong with you, man? You can adjust those things to the angle. Matter of fact, depending on where you're standing on the planet Earth, you do have to adjust them because you're technically trying to point it towards the north of what we call Polaris, bro. That's how you're able to keep it on track. Dude, you guys are so full of it, dude. Just
Well, the sky
unbelievable, bro.
rotates. It sort of looks like the one I just posted. It looks like that. I'm not saying that you're only in a hemisphere. Like, obviously, you don't live in a Truman Show, tiny thing, but that just shows like your
Yeah,
range
Gio,
of vision.
that's first law
So
of Flerf there, Gio.
that's just the way that the stars and the axis of rotation over a planar surface. You're going to have the rising and setting. So you're just tracking that arc.
You guys have said multiple times tonight, if you don't mind me saying, you've mocked math and claimed that all you have is math. Don't you think math is a good thing to have to support your model? Or
No.
hold on, let me finish, please.
I'm
To
asking you.
support your model or mechanics. And the reason I ask that question is in 223 BC, long before this crap, Somebody worked out the circumference of the Earth based
Oh
on
my
math.
god! Here we go.
No. Shut up for a second. Let me finish.
Just
And
retarded.
I would ask you this: you guys don't know the shape of your Earth today. Your flat Earth. This guy did it 2,000 years ago using math. So when you mock math, you're really mocking the fact that you guys have nothing to offer.
No, I'll tell you what. So if you believe that fake story, but here's the point: if you believe that, right, then well, welcome to the birth of your fake like mathematical construct.
It's not a
Congratulations.
fake story. In
You ha-
fact, you
no,
can do that experiment yourself
Oh,
if you
okay,
think
yeah,
it's
sticks
fake.
and shadows. Yeah, remember what Neil said?
If
Oh,
you
that's
think
right. You
it's
guys will like
fake,
it. He
you
threw him under
can
the
prove
bus.
it to yourself, and you'll know
Remember he said
100%.
it. Remember,
Yeah, do it.
he
Do it
said that.
yourself.
You don't remember that it's on a planer as well. You can put that on a table and still do the same thing, right?
With
A local
only
light,
one measurement. Only one measurement works.
only one measurement. Yeah. Again,
just
So
math.
what
Again,
then
math.
do
is
it
Back
the
to
with
math.
two.
measurement of your flat Earth? What is
So
the
back to
circumference
math.
of your flat Earth?
So back to math, right?
No.
It's always
You
back to
said we
math.
can do it. So what is the circumference of your flat Earth? Please
No,
enlighten us.
think about how stupid that sounds.
Enlighten us. You said you
Think
can do
about how
it.
stupid that sounds.
It
How
sounds
about that?
exactly what somebody would need to know if they circumnavigated the planet,
Yeah.
or if they
So
needed to go from A
you're
to
calling it a
B.
planet. Dude, you're all over the place, bro. You have like
Yes,
paradigms
because
all
it
mixed
is a
and jumbled,
planet.
bro.
It's hard for me to call it a pizza. So, what is the
Who
circumference of
says
your
it's a pizza?
pizza?
Whoever calls it a pizza is a
I
fucking
love
idiot.
it. You
So what
guys,
do you
you
say
guys
that it
won't be nailed
is?
down. You
They
guys
know what
won't
they
be
are. Know what
nailed
they're doing. Know
down.
what they're doing. Know what
I
they're
don't know
doing.
what rule of Flerf
They're
that is, but
spreading
we
out
won't be nailed
disinformation.
down.
No, what
This
they're
is
doing
what
is
they
spreading
do.
out
That
disinformation,
Third
dude.
law.
they they
Yeah.
they won't
First
take a
law, third
position,
law,
but
second
they'll
law.
deny
Fuck
every
all your fake
position.
laws, bro. The real law is that you guys are fucking just spewing lies, bro, with a mathematical construct. Like you're backing it up with math,
You
which
can
actually doesn't
prove
fucking
this
add up, dude.
Hey, kick
yourself.
rocks,
Your
brother.
math debunks your own
I
math.
think you just lost the debate, bro.
Hey,
All right,
isn't that
let's
funny?
just you guys. Let's
Hey,
just chill and get back to the point. What is the How are you?
Hey,
What method to drive the circumference? Just give
I,
your actual point.
I do have something to say about the
No, let him
equatorial though.
actually. What is the one
All
that's
right.
you're claiming deriving the circumference? Let's just complete that. Was that you, Jack?
Yeah, that was
yeah.
me. So basically, in
An observation
223,
of the sky.
it was the observation of the sky, but also it was using shadows, of course, at solar noon on the vernal or autumnal equinox. And basically, by using the math, calculate the angles. Again, I hate to say that bad word, math, but the
God.
circumference of the Earth was calculated at a surprisingly accurate number for 2,000 years ago. Now, when you guys discount math and say, well, we can do it too, my question
Oh
to
well.
you was, then fine. What's the circumference of the pizza? And then you freaked
No,
out.
no,
Well, because no
it's
one
actually
called it a
it's
pizza.
actually
That's why
it's
nobody
actually the
nobody claimed
math.
that.
It's actually the
I
math
called it a
that
globe and got insulted for that.
it
What did I
actually
call it?
it's actually the math that debunks your own fucking paradigm, which is ironic. It's the math
So
of
Provide
your
the
show me the
math.
globe.
math.
It's
Let's
your
see the
Please
math.
illustrate.
It's your math of the globe
Please
that debunks
illustrate
the
the
globe.
math that
So the
debunks my.
observations. So how far should you see on your globe
I'm
before
not.
it cuts
No.
off?
No.
Before it
You
cuts off.
said the
Hold
math
on. Listen. Hey,
debunks it,
listen carefully. Listen carefully. Okay.
and there
Listen
you
carefully.
go. Deny,
Listen
deny.
carefully.
Ask
Listen
questions.
carefully. Why are you such a fucking asshole? Just listen carefully. Okay.
He gets the
What
math
is the
wrong.
I didn't
math?
call you. I
What
didn't
is the?
call you any
Yeah, you
names.
still
Not
can't
even
just
one
shut up,
time I
can you?
didn't.
You still
All
can't
right, let's
listen.
just stop. Yeah, you're taunting him though, so not just and you're interrupting him. So at least just let him speak.
So
But
what
it's
is
not
the?
clear.
So what is the math that a distance away from you to where things start to disappear behind that curve? What's that math? What's the formula you use?
I thought you were going to answer his question.
Yeah, I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm here to ask you the
We
no, no,
don't
no,
want to
no,
answer
no. Wait, wait,
questions
wait. You
now.
asked me a question. Let me answer. We
Okay.
were talking about one thing, and you've diverted. You said the math is BS. By the way, I never insulted you, not even once. I've listened to everything you said. So you said not only is the math BS, but I can debunk it, and we can also tell what do I call it? Flat Earth circumference is. I've challenged you to do both those things, and you then went to another question. What
Yeah.
is the
So
circumference
okay.
of the
So that
flat
is the
Earth?
answer, though. So what I'm
There is
doing.
no answer. You're not giving any answer.
Listen carefully, okay? What I'm doing is I'm asking you the question so I can walk you through it so you can see how it debunks itself. But I want you to come to that conclusion because I know the conclusion. I already know it. But you're the one that's still convinced in the lie. So you need to see the conclusion so that way you can see for yourself. Because if I tell you, that's not going to help because it's like telling a child that Santa Claus is fake, but he saw the cookies are
Bro, he's
eaten
just
and the milk
asking
is
for
drank.
measurements.
So
Sorry,
let me get
Jack.
this
Can
straight.
I respond to your
Let me
point,
get this
Jack?
straight.
Jack,
He
I'll
asked me
respond to
direct.
your
I'll be
point.
quick. I'll be quick. He wants me to allow a flat earther to explain to me why I'm wrong.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're talking about shadows of the sun when it's at the equator on the equinox. That's what you're going off of to get the circumference value based on the shadows.
No, not just that. Of course not.
Well, that's what you mentioned. So I mean, with that method, what I would say is that you're using that to then apply it to an assumption that it's actually the surface of a sphere, because to pull that from the actual shadows means it has something to do with the relationship of the sun and the ground. But it requires certain assumptions, such as that the sun is very far away, the light rays are coming parallel, to make the globe assumption. So I would say the issue with
It
that is,
doesn't rely on the
let me
distance of
hold
the
on,
sun at
let me
all.
just finish. Let me finish, and then you can respond. What I'm saying is that the math is not the problem. The observation is not the problem. It's the application of that information into a biased and assumptive model, where then there could be a misapplication of it rather than the math itself being wrong.
So what shape is the
So
Earth?
that's addressing it directly. So it's not that the math and observation are incorrect, from my perspective. It's the application of it.
Translation.
Yeah. I tried to wrap up quickly. You're not going to go? All right. Well, I guess.
No, I don't understand what you can look up Eratosthenes. You can look up the experiment. You can see exactly what was done, and you could do it yourself. Not something a flat earther ever wants to hear, because
Dude, how do
you've
you
looked at.
think that
Let
we
me
don't
finish.
know
I
that?
didn't interrupt you. You guys looked at all the evidence from the final experiment, and you say, "Nuh-uh." Not one thing from your side has been presented. Not one video. Not one measurement.
All
Not
right,
one
brother.
prediction at all. So you guys
Not
really
well.
are on
Now
this
you're
high
not
horse.
responding to
Let me
me. So
finish.
I
You're on a high
responded in
horse that you cannot
specificity.
defend.
Well,
Yeah.
I responded in specificity to your claim about the shadows and the angles and the deriving the circumference. So, do you have any actual response to that? Because what I'm saying is that it's using that observation to then apply to a certain assumptive model. You didn't really respond to
Assumptions,
that
and it's not a
directly.
single observation.
For example, it assumes the sun is 93 million miles away or far enough away that the light rays come in parallel.
Doesn't
So,
assume
do
distance
you
to the
realize
sun
that?
at all.
Yes, it does. It assumes the sun is essentially infinitely far away so that the quote unquote light rays hit the assumed globe at a curved rate.
He doesn't even know his own paradigm, bro. Hey,
Nate.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Gio, but just real quick, let me ask him something. How do you think, like, like, what makes you think, should I say, that we don't know that fucking story, like how he did it, what happened? Like, are you new to this fucking game, dude? Like, this is years we've been talking about. You're not the first fucking
APOC.
person we talked
Oh,
about it.
APOC, bro. But I
Admit
responded to
APOC.
it like this is the first time I've heard it. I mean, I had to, fresh out of the
Admit it.
elevator.
You've never heard the name Aristophanes before in your life, dude. Come on.
All right,
You
all
do
right, all right.
understand, though,
All
that this
right, all
wasn't
right,
a.
all right.
Listen,
You got
Six,
me.
you
You got me.
shadows.
understand?
I was
You do
lying. You're
understand.
right. I've never heard of it. My
We've
bad.
never heard of
Hold on,
sticks and
hold on.
shadows,
Let's
dude. It's
let's
our
just
first
stop
day.
insulting people and just. You understand that it wasn't a single observation at a single spot. It required multiple observations. So when you say it was assumed that that would be assuming if there was a single shadow that was measured. That's not what the experiment is. And you can go look it up anytime you want to.
Does it assume that the sun is so far away that the light rays come and hit the Earth parallel?
It looks at how two different shadows, different distances from a known distance apart, at the same time of day, and it measures that and uses that to calculate. It doesn't assume anything. That's the
Cool.
thing
So
you
you're
don't
not
seem to
measuring Earth too.
understand.
Okay, well, what is the distance of the sun? It's obviously not 2 inches from those shadows. It's not 10 feet. It's not 100 feet.
Listen,
So how far is
again,
the
that's
sun?
not what it was designed to measure, the distance of the sun. It's irrelevant.
But it only derives a curved surface
Are
if
you
you assume
familiar
the
with the
sun.
test?
You're
Tell me what the
interrupting me
test is
now.
then.
Please stop interrupting me.
Tell me what he did. Walk
You
me
need
through
to
it.
stop interrupting. Dude, you're chronically interrupting. You got to chill. The only way you can derive a curved surface is if you assume the sun is 93 million or very far away. It doesn't have to be 93 so that the light rays hit parallel. So yeah, in terms of those shadows, So do you agree that it assumes that in order for the Earth to be curved, the parallel light? That's at the crux of the whole thing. You have to say yes.
So you can draw a couple hypotheses to start, and then use the same data.
Sure,
Right, but if we both took shadows in two cities far enough away, and we were going to derive some kind of Earth shape from it, we would have to claim something about how far the sun is away. Because if the sun was 6 inches away versus 60 feet or 6 miles, that's going to change. The
Yeah,
angle.
so that would be
Simon
reflective
Manson
in your
did something like that.
yeah. That would be reflective in your hypothesis. So hypothesis would be, one of them would be the sun is far away, the Earth is a globe. Let's use these angles to the sun to determine the radius of the globe. That's one hypothesis. The other hypothesis is Earth is flat and sun is local, and let's use it to determine the elevation of the sun above flat Earth.
You
So
can do that if you
use
want to
this-
calculate it.
Yeah, you can use the same data then, same measurements. It's just an angle is all it is. And you don't need to use a stick. You can use a theodolite. You can use any number of ways to measure that angle. And when you hypothesize flat Earth with local sun, you get drastically different elevations of the sun. We went over this last week with Kasra, and solve those triangles, and we got varying elevations. This was for Polaris, but you get the same thing when you do the sun. And then if you hypothesize the Earth as a globe and the sun is far away, and then you use that to determine the radius of the Earth, you get the same radius of the Earth for every measurement. That confirms your hypothesis. Your flat Earth hypothesis is falsified, and your globe hypothesis is confirmed.
You'd actually get a different radius depending where you are on the globe. It's going to change with your latitude. And I could easily measure the circumference of a flat surface.
I did it
just
myself.
considering that the angles and the distance to the light source, that this is going to affect the length of the shadows.
Send the math.
So
I did it. You did
it's
not.
basically just a bunch of nonsense. Why don't you actually
Let's
measure
just start
Earth?
with the assumption the Earth is a globe.
Here you go.
Yeah, exactly. First, you have to think Earth is a globe.
So you hypothesize. This is how you do science. You make a hypothesis. Right? Step one, you make a hypothesis. It's got to be up there at the beginning part of your experiment. So the hypothesis.
Now, first you make an observation.
Earth is flat is one of the hypotheses, and with the sun local. So there I linked to you the spreadsheet that myself and two other people did on the 2019 December solstice. And we got an elevation of the sun of 3,000 kilometers, 3,100 kilometers, and 4,468 kilometers. Didn't match. We got a radius of the Earth, hypothesizing globe, 6,437, 6,471, 6,498, within a small margin there. So that confirms the globe hypothesis and falsifies the flat Earth hypothesis. Now, you said you could do it on a flat surface, but I did it right there. I hypothesized a flat surface and it didn't work. So I'd love to see you actually do it, take some measurements, put a light bulb above a flat surface with some sticks, measure the shadows, show me how it works. I know what the result will be.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's good. So you could measure the circumference of any stupid fucking flat surface. And that isn't even the point. You guys are constantly bringing up things that aren't actually physical measurements of the surface of Earth curving. When are you going to provide evidence of Earth curving? That's the question.
That's what I just gave you. So
No,
then you said
you gave us the
then you
length of
said
shadows.
that
You
no, I
pretended
didn't
you
give you
knew
the
the
length of
distance of the
shadows.
sun. You pretended the Earth was a ball, and then you measured the length of shadows. That's not Earth curve, dude. Do you know the
So
difference?
I hypothesized. This is the way I did science. Is what I did here, and you're rejecting science because you don't like it. I got it. The hypothesis is that the sun
He
is
made a
far away.
calculation. That's not science.
Hell?
That you don't get a whole lot of science if you don't do some calculations.
Yeah, but rejection
Really?
is part of science.
You don't get a whole lot of science. So can you find me the calculations for germ theory? What formula do you use? If you need calculations to get science.
Sweet deflection. So
no, because you say you need calculations. I was just trying to address that point that you're saying.
yeah.
You need calculations to get science, but can you give me the formula, all the calculations that they did for germ theory?
Yeah, sweet deflection.
None, right?
So,
None, right? There's zero, and yet that's a scientific
Hey, why don't you
theory.
stay on topic?
Correct?
Stay on topic.
All right. No, I just wanted to make sure because he just said some ironic thing that it's not. You have no idea what science is, McToon. You have no idea what science is. If you think calculation between two distances is science, then you have no business talking about science.
Yeah, that's true. That's not science.
All right, so MC Tune, to respond to your point with it, why did you change it to trying to find the height of the sun, like an assumed sun over? So if you have a planar surface and you have a sun object that we observe, and we don't know what, we can't like tangibly touch it, like what it exactly is. We have just observed this, circle of light and everything, and then you're taking angles. If you're trying to derive like this shape of the surface, why did you shift it with the planar that you have a problem knowing an altitude of the sun? Rather than something that would actually be driving the surface shape.
Yeah, easy because we have one particular measurement that we're doing, and so the question then is what kinds of hypotheses can we make from this data that we're going to do? And so one hypothesis is the globe hypothesis, where the sun is far away, and we can use it then to determine the radius of the Earth. And if the measurements don't agree, then that would falsify the hypothesis.
None of your measurement agrees with the radius of the Earth either. They're all different sizes.
6,437 kilometers, 6,471 kilometers, 6,498 kilometers. That's very close.
Oh, is it exactly the same? No, right?
The hypotheses were equally off.
Are you? Oh, no, not at all. So the percentage
to accuracy fallacy.
So the percentage off for the globe is 0.4, and the percentage off for flat Earth is that's hard to read.
Well, that's
close to 50%.
That's the precision, not the accuracy.
29% error. So the globe error was very close, and the flat Earth error was significantly off. So
what, to the actual sun or to the apparent sun?
This, of course, the apparent sun. Everything is.
Oh, so you're not the actual sun then. So how are you going to give?
Are you unaware that when you look at things, you can only get the apparent of that thing?
Right. So again, so you're trying to calculate something to something that you're not actually seeing. You're seeing something that's not really there.
Yeah, and of course we can if we want, we can incorporate adjustments for refraction if we want. It's not going to help you, but we can. It won't.
Yeah, but what Joe said was actually, why are you switching from the Earth radius to a sun elevation? Doesn't make any sense.
Because based on those measurements, those are the things that we can do. Those other measurements.
Did you not hear him explain why there's a 4% accuracy with the globe model measuring these things in the sky versus the flat Earth model is off? I said, I blurted out 50%. He calculated real quickly 35, 40% off. That's a huge difference. You're off by a factor of
off.
More than 10.
It was 0.4, not 4%.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 0.4%. Yeah. Versus 30 or 40%. I mean, we're talking about orders of magnitude off. Why would you go with the measurements that are so far off versus ones that are very, very close?
Yeah, but both of those conclusions.
Fallacy, the accuracy fallacy. Oh, because it's not perfect, then it's got to be wrong. That's what you said, Paco.
Both of these things, both of these like dichotomies are being laid out. Both of them are using assumptions of the sun. One of them is claiming the sun is very, very, very far away and hitting a curved surface. The other one that MC2 was saying is that the sun is like a ball above a planar Earth, I guess, which I don't know if anyone's claiming that it is. So I'm saying both of those like conclusions require two different
years
assumptions.
Of documentation from flat earthers saying that.
I don't really care what other people said, but what, saying that the sun is a ball above a plane? I don't think everybody thinks
How
that.
many times have flat earthers said that the Earth is flat and the sun is above it?
I don't know. I don't speak for anyone else. So
thousands, millions of times. Probably not millions.
When you
There's
use
not
three
millions.
sticks in that experiment with shadows and sticks, if you use three sticks, it completely throws out the idea that it would be a local sun.
Yep.
When you guys pretend you don't know what people are saying, it's so disingenuous.
It really is.
Man, just a
Nobody's
camera
ever,
on the
nobody's ever
moon,
said that the sun is above flat Earth.
2045.
Yes, they've said that.
The only logical answer to these questions are things like Witsit comes up with, and it's more fantastical. Like you have your own personal sun, or it's reflective in some type this dome that has this spectral,
Yeah, real shit.
divergence, whatever. I mean, then it
That's
makes
the answer
sense.
for the
I
globe
mean,
as well. What are
really.
you talking
When
about?
you
You do
don't
have
have
an
all these
apparent
crazy
sign.
things, it doesn't make
You
much
do
sense.
have an apparent sun wherever you're
That can
at.
be, that can be
It doesn't
explained,
answer the science
I
for the
mean, there's
question.
hypotheses
Yeah.
on that.
The apparent sun is off by like half a degree at the most, and for flat Earth, the apparent sun has to be off by 180 degrees. So
That's
Right, but then they're both
difference.
in the sky at the same time. Full moon in the sun,
Yeah, no
pretty
problem
much.
with that at all. No problem.
Same.
All
'Cause
of a sudden, those error rates don't mean anything.
right, but you went back to 49. I don't know who I'm talking to, but we went back to 49 for curvature pictures, and it's 25. So that's I mean the math, we can get into it, but questioning it because there's not the easy evidence.
You guys keep insulting math in every way, shape, or form, and then you all of a
Oh,
sudden say we can get back to math.
it's a language.
I will
It's a
challenge. Let
language.
me finish, please. I
Did
didn't
math
interrupt you.
get it?
I
You
will
don't think it
challenge
makes
you to what
sense?
I challenged you 10 minutes ago. You
Because I
said
heard that's what I'm responding
you
to.
said we can measure our flat Earth. What is the circumference of your flat Earth, please?
Thanks. Yeah, unnecessary. I'm not talking about challenging math as a tool or a toy, even. Like, we're saying the math within the math. So
your answer is you don't have any math. That's your answer, Jack.
Well, we gave math for the circumference of the globe Earth, and so I'm asking you, do you say we can do the math too? What
it all
is the
works out.
circumference of the flat Earth? It's the simplest question you could even have.
Dude, what the
It is.
fuck? That is the dumbest thing I've heard so far.
Yeah,
It is.
a planar surface wouldn't necessarily have one, but it would have a distance at the equator. If that's what you're talking about.
So are you saying there's no wait, are you now claiming you don't know the shape of the Earth?
I didn't say that. I said over a
Okay, so,
plane.
okay, no, wait. So what is the shape of the Earth then? Let's just go point by point. What is the shape of the flat Earth?
It's Earth shape.
It's bumpy with level water.
He's
So
asking
flat.
about. He's talking about the perimeter. Don't be obtuse. You understand the
The
question.
whole
Answer.
purpose of questioning the shape of the Earth is the idea that they didn't actually tell you the correct arrangement of land masses and the distances between these coordinates. So for you to ask something as ignorant as
I
what is the
ate
shape
your
of
map
the
for
flat
dinner
Earth,
tonight.
it's all hinged on the idea that you got to re-explore the land to get a proper map of the flat Earth.
Yeah, well, don't put words in my mouth. The reason I asked is because explicitly he said we can tell you the circumference too. We can do the math too. Now, I asked for the math or what is the circumference of the pizza or flat Earth, and then you say, well, it's a planar. Okay, planar what? That's a square, a rectangle, whatever it
All right,
is.
so
It
you're just
has a
not
shape.
understanding what's being said to you. That's
No, you're
not
Do the math.
deflecting to the
for
point
your own.
of embarrassment.
Run through
Yeah,
the
okay.
math on the
You don't
circumference.
understand anything. That's what I'm getting from this.
Clearly,
No, I mean do the math on the circumference real quick. I've seen it, but you want me to do circumference? We're not asserting again. We're telling you it isn't adding up. Just from my opinion.
I'm just
So
asking what the circumference of the flat Earth is.
That is so silly.
there you go,
Dude,
dude.
do you know
Says
what a
says the
circumference
person
is?
that
Do
can't
you know what
get
a
says the
circumference is?
person that can't add 4 and 4. You can't
That
math
one.
your way out of a paper bag, so of course it's silly.
Well, what
So
is
now
an
you're asking
example?
what 4 plus
What,
4 is?
what what is an example to you of what a circumference would be like? So if you have a planar foundational geometry, meaning water's level, of course you have the tides, and then you have elevation changes of the land coming up out of
Oh
that
my
water,
god, this is
and you have a
Picazoid on
and you have a
steroids.
and you have a massive extended plane. So if you have a massive extended plain with level water and the land coming up out of that, what are you asking for? What would a circumference be on a massive
I
level
am
plain?
not asking a difficult question. A third grader can tell you what is the shape of your flat Earth. Once you tell me the shape, what is the circumference? And it really doesn't matter if it's a circle, square, rectangular object. It doesn't matter. The circumference is the circumference. So answer the shape if you'd like to. If not, what's the circumference?
In third grade math?
I'll accept
Well,
any
yeah, but
math that you'll commit to.
yeah, so a circumference has to do with the distance around a circle. So the globe obviously claims that theirs is the circle of the equator. When you're asking, who are you asking in particular, and what are you asking for them to decipher? What type of circumference? Because on a flat surface, what circumference are you asking? What
Well,
exists?
I thought we were in agreement at least that the Earth was a flat circle. If now that's going to be questioned, then tell me the shape so I can ask you the next question.
It's
God.
infinitely
That's law.
expanding like the universe.
Plane of inertia.
Nope, nobody knows the shape, dude, or the depths or the heights.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Jack, can you tell me the shape of the universe? What is
No,
outside of space?
no, but we can tell you the
I
shape of the
understand, dude.
Earth.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
but I
don't
would
know the
say,
shape of the
Jack,
universe.
the
That's
thing
not what
is,
we're
Jack,
discussing, Electric. Stay on topic.
there doesn't appear to be one circle. There's two. That's the thing. There's the northern rotation. So if you're taking the circumference from the North Pole out, you can do that. Or you could take a circumference from the South Pole out, and then they're going to meet at the equator.
So
There's two
it's
circles.
not a okay. So what model is that? So I can look that up. And I want to at least picture that in my brain because when you say two circles, is it two circles that overlap, or is it two circles that are touching on the perimeter, or what?
Well, you would have like an AE map that comes out from the north and an AE map that comes out from Antarctica.
Well, the AE map is a circle. It's a pizza. It's a flat circle. What I mean, but we can't assume that because now you guys are moving the goalpost. You don't like the word
Gio, have you?
circumference. So what's the
Gio, have
perimeter?
you?
Let's just change the
Gio,
word
have you showed
perimeter.
him? Yeah, Gio, have you showed him the two-pole Flerfs model? I don't think that he's familiar with that one. So basically, what
You guys
Gio's
have a plumber working in his basement with Tupperware and mirrors that you claimed that was all great until he abandoned that and disappeared. You guys literally will listen to a plumber in his basement who
no,
films it from the
basically,
outside
it's
with
not a
a.
perfect.
If he could film it from the inside, he would have filmed it from the inside. And you guys
So,
just you know that as well as we do.
yeah, we would
All
film
right,
the
you're making,
moon.
hold on a second. You're making a lot of hasty generalization fallacies as if everyone in here agrees with whatever like reference you just gave. But let's let Kazra speak for a moment. Go ahead, Kazra.
Yeah, okay, so basically, it's not a perfect circle. The words that Gio's telling you, like it's not a, it's basically two circles, and these circles are not perfect. It's not. In the new model, sun does not go in a circular motion. It's not a perfect circle, basically. So you cannot ask for an exact number, basically. But we can
I'm
help
not
you with
asking
very
for
simple.
exact. I'm not asking for exact. In fact, we'll drop the circumference. What's the perimeter of your flat Earth?
It's close to the globe. It's not like way off like the globe model, numbers. It's not very different. It
I
has
love
to
it.
be
You
the
guys just
same.
go right back to known numbers because you can't
Because,
have any.
I can give you a better explanation. We know the speed of the sun in the sky. It's close to the speed of sound. This is for sure. This is something that we can measure and we can know it. So when we know that the speed of the sun, and when we know that it takes 24 hours to go from 12 noon to 12 noon, so it's very easy by knowing that the time and the speed. All you have to do, you have to multiply them, and you got to get your circumference. But here's the point: that would be one of the circumference or one of the perimeters.
There is only one
We're
circumference
basically
around the perimeter. Call it perimeter from now on,
yeah.
since you guys
This is
won't.
gonna be the
You don't like
perimeter. This is gonna be
circumference.
the Yeah, this is going to be the perimeter in which sun will sweep around the earth. We're not giving you the exact size of the physical round. We're telling you that how much distance sun would have sweep within the course of a year.
I'm not
So,
asking your
or in
orbit. I'm not asking the orbit path. Say that you can do the math on the flat Earth. That was a statement. I simply said, then tell me what the circumference is. Now you said circumference is only for a circle. So I changed the word to perimeter. What is the perimeter
yeah,
of the flat Earth?
yeah. So you want the bound. You want to know exactly where the
I didn't say
boundaries and you.
exactly. Give me within 1,000 kilometers.
using lasers.
You
I
can do
mean,
that. It's not a very hard thing. Like it's not like very different than your globe
Great,
model.
it's
But
easy to do. So let's do it. What is the perimeter in kilometers, give or take 1,000, of the flat Earth?
gotta sail it.
okay, hold on. I'm gonna give you a very rough number. It's not gonna be exact, but it's gonna be very rough. Okay. I don't have it.
Where the magnetics run out, the turns up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a very rough number. Okay, it's gonna be 20,000 kilometers times 2 pi. So it's gonna be
That's pretty big.
125,000 kilometers.
That sounds good.
And where did you get the
Yeah,
20 kilometers to start? Where did you get the 20 kilometers to start from?
I start with 10,000 kilometers from this is from the equator to North Pole. Then I just multiply that to two to find the diameter. Then I multiply to 2 pi. And as I said, it's not a perfect circle, but as I said, if you use this method, right, you're gonna get this number about 100,000 kilometers as a circumference. So all I did is I'm gonna explain to you that this
Yeah,
is
but
from Polaris
Catra,
equator.
you should
Yeah.
already know that doesn't work because if you're using 10,000 kilometers as the distance from the North Pole to the equator, then the circumference of the equator on the flat Earth is way too big. And then it doesn't
Yeah.
match the speed of the subsolar point,
No,
which
so
is
you
something that
because you
can be
think
easily
that
measured.
yeah, you don't understand that when we're talking about the circumference, we're talking about this boundary of the flat Earth. We're not talking about the trajectory of the sun over there. You know what I'm trying to say? So this is kind of a in the globe model and the AE model. This is the same thing. This is that the sun goes around the both model will tell you the circumference of the whole plane or the whole model. But what we're talking here right now is that we're saying these are two different things. One is the size of the whole flat platter, the whole flat surface, right? That's one thing. And the other thing that we're talking here using the sun is the trajectory of the sun over this over this area. Now you're saying that you cannot use the motion of the sun to find that this is the diameter or the full size of your flat plane, and you're right about it. We cannot use that, and I'm telling you.
I
But
didn't say that. If you assume that the sun orbits exactly over the edge or the perimeter of your flat Earth, then you could use it.
Mhm.
But no one's asserting that. But if you'd like to also take a shot at the orbit of your sun, can you give the circumference of the orbit, or if it's not a circle, the shape and the perimeter?
Yes, it's not a perfect circle like like the ones that we have in orbital mechanics, like elliptics or circles. It's more like a have you ever seen a bean, a green bean? If you look at the edge of a green bean or in an apple, these are not exact. They don't possess a exact circle, edges. It's like it's curvy, but it's not a perfect circle. So the trajectory that the sun takes along the flat surface, it's not a perfect circle. It's not.
And what
Except for the
So
force and
strange
what
fact, though,
and
except there's a strange.
what force guides that path? What causes it to not be a perfect circle?
the same reason that if you look at like some of the apples, they're not a perfect circle. And here's the thing,
An
you
apple's
cannot
not orbiting.
find.
An apple's a shape. I'm asking you how your sun orbits in a non-circular. What force makes it orbit in a, if you're going to not call it an oval, whatever shape it is, it's not a circle.
It's not exactly. It's not a circle. Yeah,
So what
it's not.
force causes it to orbit in an oblong circular
Okay,
path?
so what force is causing these objects to move up there? That's a very good question. If you look at the motion of all the celestial bodies, all of them, no matter which one, moon, sun, doesn't matter. If you take a good look at them, and if you draw their trajectory, you will see that they're exactly perpendicular to the magnetic field. So basically, the force that is moving all these let's say these luminuses that we see up there, that force, it is perpendicular to the electromagnetic field. It
Except
is
here's the
because
problem, Castro. Here's the problem
Yes.
why that doesn't work. On the
Before you
flat
ask
Earth,
that
the sun
question,
is
can I
the
just
flat Earth.
before you ask
Hold on a
that,
second.
just before you ask,
The
just one
flat.
quick thing. Do all the flat earthers agree with what he gave as the mechanics of the flat earth?
No, there's no flat earthers that ever agree on anything about anything in together with one another.
Sorry to interrupt you.
But here's the thing that Castro is missing here. On any flat Earth conception, the sun is always turning, right? So he can't explain why for during the equinox, for all observers on the equator, the sun rises due east, goes straight up in a straight line to their zenith, and then sets in a straight line due west. It never
There's no
turns
straight line.
anywhere over the course of the day. But there's no
What
flat Earth
is a
conception that
straight line?
explains the sun that does that.
Okay, what is a straight line? Look, nobody has ever claimed any straight line. What do you mean by straight line? Sun does
You
not
understand
possess a
that
straight
for like an
line.
observer in Quito, Ecuador, on the equinox, the sun
Right.
rises due east and it goes up straight up to to your zenith. You know what a zenith is, right?
Yeah.
The highest point
Yeah.
possible in the sky,
Yeah.
and then it goes in
Yeah.
a straight line due west.
It's
And
not
if you
straight.
were,
I'm
and if
sorry.
you did a time lapse, that would be a straight line from the
I'm
horizon to
sorry.
horizon. It
It's
would
not
be a straight
straight.
line.
It,
The sun would never turn. It would never arc across the sky. It's a straight line.
so this is your claim, but as far like I've been working this for 10 years. I've looked at the sun by myself with solar filter. Also, I'm pretty good at the Stellarium software. So I want you to repeat your experiment. Go do that again and make sure that the sun will go on a straight line because it does not go on a straight line.
What experiment are you
Hold on, hold
talking
on,
about?
hold
This
on.
is for all on the equator. That includes two continents and
Exactly.
Indonesia.
Exactly.
Millions of
24th
people.
September. Yeah, 21st of March or 24th of September. These are our crucial days. Two crucial days. I want you to just repeat your experiment on these days and
What
make sure.
experiment?
So I'm telling
This
you,
is just an
it's not a
observation
straight.
that humans, the millions of humans that live around the equator, have observed twice a year for forever.
Let me help you
Wait,
this way.
Kazra, I
I
thought that
think
you would say
Cosmo-
that the sun does go straight at the equator
It's just a
with the
fact.
with the
It's not up for debate. There's no
well.
question. There's no
No, it's
experiment
not.
needed.
It's
This
not.
is a
Look, Gio,
fact.
we never spoke about this. Like the sun goes in a straight line. Sun never goes in a straight. Look, let me tell you this: the bottom line, the equator does not exist in the nature. I'm going to repeat that for all of you. Equator is a man-made thing that humans have made in order to make things simpler and easier for themselves. It's a part of their coordinate system. It is something that we have made it for ourselves. Nature does not possess any straight line, or sun does not go in a straight equator
We
line.
understand that it's not a physical
That's
line
a
on
good
the
point.
earth,
That's a
guys.
very important point I want you to understand. And the second thing, as in the second proof, I can tell you, if you look at the star trails, if you look at the star tracks, the ones that on the equator, like what you see that on the equator, if you look at the stars or the sun, it goes straight to the west. Now, I want you to look at the star trails as well in this experiment. You cannot find a single star trail that goes in a straight line. Not a
That's just another
single
lie.
star.
All right, Jake.
That's just
Let me
it's,
try to
well,
clarify.
that's just lie. That's not true.
Well, let me try to clarify
Okay,
what I think you might be saying, and then you guys can respond. I think what he's referring to is that even on a globe, like you have like the sun would be, let's say, a tiny bit above the equator, 0.01 degrees, and then it would get to 0 degrees, and then go to go to south 0.1, and that it's technically transitioning from the northern to the southern, and therefore, like, is that what you're talking about, Kazra? Like down to a very
exactly, Gio. Exactly. I'm talking about those crucial days. Exactly. You're touching that crucial day. Exactly. It doesn't go straight. Eventually, it will deflect to the south. And this is the point I'm trying to tell these dudes.
Yeah, he's saying like
No.
But it
on a
doesn't.
globe, it would be
It
going
doesn't.
over the equator. Technically, it would never go straight. It would always be slightly
Exactly.
it would either be in the
Exactly.
northern or the southern hemisphere. And on that equinox day, it would be transitioning over the equator, technically never actually going straight. But for all intents and purposes, it's pretty darn, straight in terms of rising east and setting west. And I think Kazra would agree, right? That it's
Exactly, Gio. And the problem is that the AE model kind of a mess up with a lot of flat earthers' mind. AE modelers would have still, like, this is the problem that I'm recently facing with a lot of flat earthers. When we talk about new stuff, they are trying to bring exactly everything from the AE model to this new model and trying to fit it. Exactly, they're doing the same problem, same mistake that the Globers always do. You guys know that when we talk with the Globers, when we're trying to prove something on a flat Earth, we always experience that they still have their presumptions. They still are trying to understand the things on the flat earth using the globe presumptions. But now I'm seeing the same exact thing. The equator is a straight line on the AE map. That's cool. But you need to understand that that was just something as a coordinate system to make us to do a lot of things, for example, circumnavigation, do a lot of things with it, mapping system. That will help us. But you need to understand that what we're talking about, when we're saying that equator does not literally exist in the nature, we all we're trying
You
to say is
realize you
that
don't need to say
yeah, but
this. We don't
yeah.
think there's latitude and longitude lines on the planet. And A. And B, what you said is absolutely wrong. Globe Earthers don't use Globe Earth to try and explain the flat model. You, as flat Earthers, will not in any way, shape, or form commit to anything about your model size, shape, distance of the sun, size of the sun. And because of that, we just try and show mechanically how it's not possible. So before you ascribe us some kind of ulterior motive, understand it's because your side will not make any claims or write anything down.
And still, like the equator, does it really matter? I mean, the man-made equator, because there is a position on Earth where the sun will rise directly in the east and set directly in the west.
Yeah, but it's a little bit off. As Geo told you that it's going to be like about very small amount of degree. It's not going to be exactly on the equator.
That,
It
that's
will be a little
only
bit off.
because that's only because the equinox is an instantaneous moment in time, and so
Exactly.
there's going to be a
So
very, very slight deviation. But we're talking about a fraction of a degree here. The sun is still going to rise due east within a fraction of a degree. It's going to go up in a straight line up to your zenith, and it's going to set due west within a fraction of a degree on the equinox.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
think
no flat Earth explanation for that because on every flat Earth map, the sun is always turning over the course of the day. You can't explain how it travels in a straight line.
that's not true. Cosra can with the two pole.
No, yeah, but that's only for one position. If you observe the sun from several positions and at the equator at the same time, he cannot explain it.
That's for all positions on the equator, on the equinox. The sun will, for people that can see the sun is doing the same thing. And then he said that there's no path of stars that are straight. And I just posted a star trail from the equator, and you can see that the stars that are rising due east do the same thing the sun does on the equinox.
did you know that
They make
even
a
in your
they
model,
make a straight line
the
arc
problem?
across the sky to your
Yeah,
zenith.
I understand. So you need to understand, even in your model, you cannot get a straight line because of the Earth precision.
He's
Like even
showing
what
a
you're.
picture of a straight line.
Because of
So
what? I'm
before
sorry.
you
What did you
argue
say?
that, look at the
It's
picture.
not a straight line. I'm sorry. It cannot be even a straight line in your model. This is
Of
because you
course,
don't
it's a
know your
straight
model
line.
very well.
What do you mean?
Your model has a tilt axis. That tilt axis would not allow you to have a straight line. Can you understand the simple fact?
That's just idiotic. What are you talking about?
Okay.
What does the
That
tilt
tilt
axis have anything
axis,
to do with anything?
that tilt axis is why you only have equinox twice a year.
I
That's in
understand that, but
comparison to the that's guys. That's we're not.
in
Yeah,
relation
well,
to the
he's not talking
stars,
about
it's
relation to the
irrelevant.
sun. He's saying
Yeah,
in
in
relation to
relation to
the
the stars,
stars.
it's irrelevant what the tilt of the Earth is.
Exactly.
You cannot show me a single sun that goes exactly over your equator. You cannot do
Guys,
that.
stop
You just
saying
understand.
sun. Stop saying sun. His
Okay, sorry,
argument has
stars.
nothing to do with sun.
I'm sorry. You cannot show me a single. You're right. It's not about sun. There's
Look
no
at the
star that you
picture.
can.
He pasted a picture. He posted a picture. Look at the
It's
star
not a
trails
complete
and tell
picture.
me
If you
they are
okay,
not
here's the
exactly
thing.
straight.
It cannot be straight line. It cannot.
You're looking at a picture and they're
Yeah, of
straight in the
course it is.
middle.
Why would it not be straight? What are you
Well,
talking about? It sounds like you don't even understand. It sounds like you think that the Earth is precessing throughout the year. It's not. The precession of the Earth takes tens of thousands of years to happen.
Here we go with the
It's a
bullshit.
very, very,
dude.
very tiny amount for any
Yeah,
given
they were
year.
there. You recorded it, right? You saw it, right? Yeah. Good fucking idiots, dude.
Yeah, astronomers record it every year because they have precise
Right,
Just
right.
go
ways to
For
back to
measure
the
10,000
it.
just go
years.
back to
Yeah,
the
I know.
photo that
For
that
10,000
was
years.
pasted of the star trails. You guys look
Morons.
at that photo and tell me there's no straight in the middle, please. Because if you are, then
Unbelievable.
you're just denying what everybody can see with their own eyes. Look at the picture, please, and just tell me where the no straight part is, or
Yeah, I think
deny that the
actually
middle is straight.
Geo posted a good diagram too of the exact same phenomenon and agreed for all intents and purposes that it's a straight line. So you guys must be arguing against each other, it sounds like.
It was strange for it's very strange to me, some of the things that Kessera says. A guy that claims to have a master's degree in aeronautical engineering, he seems like he doesn't even understand the tilt of the Earth and the fact that it's always tilted towards in three-dimensional space. It's always tilted in the same direction throughout the year.
Well, that's why you
Minus
only have
the very short precession of the precession amount, which, like Kosho said, it's like 1 degree per 72 years. It's a very slow change over time.
Well, that's why you only have 2 equinoxes a year, because of the tilted axis. If the axis was straight to our orbit around the sun, you would have basically an equinox every day on the equator. The sun would rise and sit directly across the sky every
That's
day.
correct.
But it's
Yeah, that's
because
correct.
of the tilted axis of the Earth that we only have 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices.
Exactly. That's why it doesn't give you a straight
Yes, but hold
line.
on. That is only relevant in relation to the Earth and the sun. As soon as you start talking about stars, the Earth, the way it rotates, there can be a star exactly over the equator that will draw a straight line every day when the Earth rotates, period. Year round, in and out, a straight line. It's not about sun and Earth mechanics we're talking. We're talking about we're talking about Earth rather, and star mechanics.
Is the sun sort of circling parallel to this flat Earth, or is it change
Okay, let
elevation
me
during
ask
the
you this.
day?
Okay, let me just ask you this quick. This might gonna help you. Do you guys agree that every single star in the sky would eventually go around North Pole or South Pole on your globe model? Answer this question.
No.
This will help you.
No. What are
Not
you
at all.
talking
Oh, really?
about?
Okay.
No, what
Okay.
are you talking
Cool.
about?
So you're saying that you guys have some stars in the sky that when you track them in the 24 hours, they would not go neither around North Pole or South Pole. They go all the way exactly over the equator. Not a single degree. Not a single degree off
Right.
of the
Yeah,
You mean
you have
Absolutely,
around?
yes.
You mean
you have
around the North Pole?
you have circumpolar stars that draw a little circle. Like if you
No,
do
no,
a
no.
time
Leave the
lapse,
pole. No, no, leave the pole.
they'll draw
No.
over the course of the night. They'll draw a semicircle around
Yeah,
around the
but what the
pole.
question he asked is yes, there are stars in the universe that are lined up. Whether you can see them with the eye or not, you need a telescope. You can absolutely have a star that is perpendicular to the poles of the Earth. And that would always be aligned over the
That wasn't the
equator.
question. That wasn't the question.
That's what you asked.
No,
Ask you guys. No, no. Here's the
he
question.
said, are there any stars that won't make a circle around one of the poles or something like that? I think
And,
was his question.
That's what
and
he's answering.
in order for that to
No. Does
happen,
any star does
you're
can you
talking.
find me a single star in the sky that doesn't go around north or south?
Yeah,
Do you
That's
guys
what
agree?
all the
Hold on.
equatorial
Do you
stars.
guys agree that we have northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere in your cell in your coordinate system, like in your globe model? We do have them, right? We have the north sky and south sky, right? Do you guys agree with that?
They all make circles.
But that's what he was saying just a minute ago. There are some stars that are lined up
Exactly.
with the equator. There are some stars that are lined up with the equator that will just
No, no, we don't
go
have stars
straight
lined up with
overhead
Peter.
constantly and not make a circle in the sky.
The
That's what he was
I'm
trying to
sorry.
phenomenon
say.
the
Astronomy?
phenomenon of
No,
the
no, no, no,
star
no.
trails
Yeah,
is due simply to the rotation of the Earth. It has nothing to do with the stars orbiting Earth. I don't know if that's what you're asking.
And there's a star that's part of Orion. It's called Mintaka. It's directly over the equator. And that
yeah.
star,
So
and that
yeah,
star,
exactly.
for observers on the equator, that star never creates a circle on any time lapse. It only creates a straight line that rises on your horizon due east. It rises to your zenith, and it sets due west on uh, and it doesn't
So
do
it
anything
means
other than
that if
that. It
you look at the
only does.
coordinate
It
system,
only ever does a straight line
yeah,
across
yeah,
your time lapse.
yeah. Yeah. So are you familiar with coordinate systems? Right. So basically what you're saying is that you're saying that if I track the star, that star, and if I look at the angles, the right ascension and the declination, you're basically saying that one of them wouldn't change, one of them always stays zero. It's not possible.
No, we're
That's
talking
how
about.
declination
No,
works.
it's not,
Why isn't that
bro.
possible?
Listen,
You
Yeah, that's
show
how
it to us. Show us a
declination.
star.
That's how declination
Oh my
works.
god.
the stars
Okay,
do.
show us a star that. Hold on. Show us a star that its declination doesn't change.
I can show
Sorry, it's
you
right
72
ascension.
stars. No, it's the
Okay, so
declination. We're talking about the declination now.
no, because he's saying that it all straight exactly. It's straight above the equator. So
So
if
are you
we
gonna
Yeah,
write?
use
then
Are you
the
gonna
its
write down the
declination
answer
would
he
be
gives you?
zero.
He's gonna give you star names. Are you gonna write them down and look it
yeah,
up? Because
just
here's
give me
the
the star. And I'm just
Yeah,
because it's a lot
here's the
of
question.
you know,
look at Mintaka. It's almost directly over the celestial equator. Obviously, it's not exactly zero
almost.
over.
Well,
Yeah, yes,
I know it's almost. We were
because
talking
it's
about.
first of all first of all we're limited by what we would consider naked eye stars, and so we're
Oh my
looking at
god.
brighter stars. What are the odds that you're going to have one that's within 0 arc seconds over your equator, right? The odds of that are very very low, right? So we have one that's in Orion's belt. It's called Mintaka, and it's within it's within 20 arc seconds of the equator.
Is that not accurate enough, flat earthers?
No, it's not. Even that Mintaka would have changed its position in the
20
course of a
arc
10-year.
seconds is now too far out of your specific exactness. Flat Earth. Who doesn't know the
Exactly.
circumference, perimeter, or size of your sun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mintaka's
So in the
Mintaka's
first place,
17. Its declination is 17 degrees. Or I'm sorry,
yeah, that's
17
only for
arc
now.
minutes.
But
Sorry, 17 arc minutes, which is about
yeah,
a quarter of a degree.
yeah, but that's for now. If you just let time pass on, right, and if you just
What's your
check that
point?
again,
We
you're gonna see
understand how these things
numbers.
work. What's your
Yes,
point?
yes, because there's precession of the equinoxes. It takes like
That's
20,000
it,
years.
bro. That's it. So as I'm saying, you cannot find a single star that always go on the equator.
What is
But
your
no, we're
point?
talking about over the course of one day, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about
No,
on the flat Earth model. On the flat Earth model, the stars are projected in circles over a flat Earth. There's no time.
no, cycle of the stars is
There should
twenty-five
never
thousand
be
years.
on the flat Earth.
No,
There is no reason why there should be stars traveling in a straight line.
there's no straight line. I mean, you're not getting my point. We don't have a
Very close
straight
to
star
straight.
trail.
But
Bro,
hang
look at the
on.
Star Trek. I have thousand. Hold on. I have thousand images from Star Trek. You can look at it by yourself right now. There's not a single star trail that goes exactly perfectly straight line. Stop it, bro.
I just
It's not.
posted one.
Star Trails in high
No,
school
even if
photography
it
class.
appears to be.
So
It's easy.
It appears to be very straight. But if you look at the end of those star trails, you're gonna see that either is gonna go to the right or left because
No, they
eventually it
went
has to
in a
go right.
circle.
Oh my god.
so
No,
Unless
it's
you're
Kazra,
on the equator.
Okay, so do
Kazra,
you have
quick
on the
question for
equator.
you.
you have an explanation for the 17 arc minute star? Explain. Why does it do that?
So it's 7 arc minutes off the equator.
I mean, arc
There's a
seconds.
lot of them
Excuse
that
me.
is off.
Why? Why?
Why? Because it cannot be in the. There's no middle. Everything is either the right side or the left side of the middle.
Explain the
What are you talking
So
motion.
about? I
they're
don't
just
understand what you want.
Explain the motion.
Have you
How
ever
does it
read
come up
a
from
basic
one
photography
position and
book?
go behind you and go underneath you?
yeah. Why does
That
it do that? That's a good
that's
question.
what we see in reality.
It
Another
go. It
question
comes from.
I would like to ask when he was talking about the
Ex-
sun
well, I'd
going
like
in a
to hear.
straight line during the day. Hang on, during the day.
No, excuse me. Hold on
If
one second. I'd
this,
like to hear Kaza's answer to my question. Why does it come up at 17 arc seconds and then suddenly set at negative 17 arc seconds behind you? Why does that happen?
You're talking about that star? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the same
You,
one.
you,
No, that's the right one. Yeah.
no, answer the question, dude.
so you're saying that it's rises from the east positive 70 arc second, and it goes to the west. It just sets with minus. Is that what you're saying right now?
Presumably,
In the same
it's
day.
going to set.
In the same day. In the
Correct.
same
Correct.
day. In the
For the
same
sake
day.
of argument, yes.
So which day? That the equinox?
Sunday.
No,
No.
equinox doesn't apply to stars, dude. The equinox doesn't apply to
No.
stars.
It has to be in that day. What do you? I don't understand. So you're saying that basically it moves from the north sky to the south sky? Is that what you're claiming right now,
You
or
can
not?
pick a
Or
day,
no?
and I'll call it Sunday. Why does it come up 17 arc seconds at the equator and set at the other equator? Where does it go? What's the path? Why does it go underneath the Earth?
Exactly. So you're just seeing half of the equator. You're just seeing the half of the trajectory of that star, not the whole of the whole. But if you track the whole star, the whole track, if you just look at the whole track, you're gonna see it's not a straight line. You're gonna see eventually at the west coast of the United States, or even more west, that star will eventually
No,
would either go around north or south
no. If you have
with a
observers
very
all
small,
along the
with a
equator, if you have
very,
observers,
very,
So
very,
what you're
very small
telling me,
angle. Um,
you're telling me that it changes entire direction when it's coming up at 17 arc seconds. It's not going to set at 17 arc seconds in the west, is what you're saying. You're saying that it's going to do a loop to loop and stay in the sky somehow, and we just can't see it.
Yeah, it just goes. It just starts getting away from you, from the observer, and it goes around the
Weird.
north.
but
Oh,
you
Yeah,
really? It
it
understand
just
just
that for
always.
people all along its path, right? People that are in South America, people that are in Africa, people that are in Indonesia, all the people that are underneath it, directly underneath it, that live on the equator. They could they could take turns tracking the star so that it never ever escapes view through the night, right? Where it's always nighttime.
Yeah, exactly.
The
So
star never makes any turns. It's just moving in a straight line.
No, no,
so
no,
it's
no.
always
According to
nighttime.
you, it has to.
What do you mean it has to?
Yeah,
No,
I'm telling you, the globe
he's
model needs exactly. The globe model, it doesn't go in a straight line. Eventually, it would go under the equator or above the equator the day after.
okay. And what do
No,
you mean when you say under the equator? Are you saying that it goes under the flat Earth?
No. When you look at your celestial equator, your left, like when you're looking to west, your left is going to be south. Your right is going to be north. Right.
So where does it where
So
does it
if the
where does
stars
it
move,
go? When it goes under the horizon, as it does, where does it go?
it goes around the north or south pole. It depends on which star you're
But it's
looking at.
never. But from every observer,
no,
whether they're in Africa or South America or in Indonesia,
Hmm.
they never see the
Hmm.
star turning ever. It's always It's always traveling in a straight line, meaning it's never diverting to the north or to the south, right?
Which
Other
stars?
than the
Which
very
stars you're
tiny
talking
amount,
about?
because it's not other than the tiny few a few arc minutes, because it's not directly over the equator, because it's
Exactly.
off the equator about a quarter of a degree. They never actually see it turn right or turn left. On a flat Earth, it makes no sense how, for an observer, where it's suddenly setting for
No,
someone
he's a
in
flat Earth.
Africa,
Just stick with the reality.
someone in Quito, Ecuador, sees it rising to the east, and it's always, you could call that person on the phone. They see it setting from their perspective, and the person in Quito, Ecuador, is like, I see it rising in my east, and it's only in a straight line the whole time. And then they could talk to someone in Indonesia, and they'll be like, okay, I see it rising in my east. Well, and then the person in Ecuador is saying, I see it setting in my west, and it's only in a straight line the whole time. They're supposed to be living on a flat Earth, but this star, it seems to be just traveling in a straight line over their sky.
He seems to think
Okay,
that
that's a good point. So you're saying that
we
okay,
just
if
guess
you're
that the
saying in
Earth is round.
Indonesia, yeah. So if you're saying Indonesia, you just said a good point. If you look at the star trails, you're gonna see that like most of the stars are going around the north. If you look at the north sky from the Indonesia, or from even if you would be above the equator, like you look, let's say you're in the United States above the equator. If you look at the north sky, you can see by yourself that almost every single star that you see in the sky, except the southern sky, it's going around the North Pole, and this is pretty famous. You probably have seen the star trails around the Polaris. So when you can already see that most of the stars in your view are going around Polaris, you need to understand that
What are you
the
talking
ones that it
about?
doesn't.
You don't
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
anything about
Jake was
astronomy,
talking
do
about
you?
at the equator. Hey, look, Jake was talking about at the equator, and I'm in North America,
Okay,
and Jake is as well. We're going to look at a star that, well, in fact, we'll look at the Big Zip Dipper, for example, and the backpack part of
so
the pan is pointing toward the North Star. That whole entire Big Dipper is going to rotate. All seven of those stars are going to be rotating around the North Star, whereas at the equator they're not doing that.
Right, because those are
No. Okay.
circumpolar stars.
How do you know that they're not doing that? How do you know that they're not doing that? Either you're
Talk
looking
to
at them,
someone.
is if you look at
Talk to someone in
listen,
Ecuador.
if you
Yeah,
you're not
just look at
okay, if you're
Orion's
looking at
belt.
hold on,
Look at Orion's belt.
hold on.
Look at the
Well,
constellation of
listen, let me
Orion. It doesn't go around the
I'll tell
North
you.
Pole.
It does. Half of its stars go around the North Pole. The other half of you need to understand that those zodiac signs aren't exactly on the celestial equator. It means that they're exactly above the equator, almost above the equator. It means that like half of their stars, half of the like for example Aquarius. Aquarius is made up of 12 stars, right? Now if you look at the Aquarius constellations, a lot of these stars belong to the north, a lot of these stars belong to the south. So what happened is that when this constellation hits your view from east, and when it goes to west, as it goes to west, right? Let's say you're standing on the equator and you look at the constellation Orion. What you're gonna see, okay, it's above you. But as it moves to the west, it starts to disappear. You're not be able to see it anymore. But this is what I'm telling you. Eventually, those stars have to decide whether to go around north or south, and that will depends on where they are at. If they're above the equator, they will choose the north. If they're below the equator, they will choose south. And you need
Like
to
we said
understand,
before,
even in your globe model, it looks like that. It
if you take a
exactly looks like that.
if you take a star like Mintaka, and for all observers that are live along the equator, the star is just going to rise due east, go up to their zenith, and set due west, and it only will travel in a straight line across their sky. It will never veer to the north or veer to the south, and it will do that. And you could track it nonstop over 24 hours over the phone with three observers, one in South America, one in Africa, and one in Indonesia. They can track it over the course of 24 hours, where it'll be nighttime at one of those locations at all times, and they will tell you that they never see that star travel north or south. How does that work on a flat Earth?
Okay, did you know that what is a declination angle in astronomy?
What
Tazra,
angle?
Tazra, hold on one second.
Yeah.
He's asking you a very specific question. You come out in the morning and you look to one side and you see a star. It goes straight up, straight over your head, and straight down the other side. Now, assuming that that is can be observed, which it can, assuming somebody could film it for you, if you would have to see it, they could. How do you explain the mechanics of that movement on the flat Earth
Yeah,
without
if
changing
you
to
would have
another
looked at
subject?
I'm not saying to. I'm just saying that you cannot look at with your simple eye. Like with his pure eye, you cannot find those very tiny little deflections that these stars have in the equator. Yeah, they might get to be very apparent when you look at the stars on the poles, right? You can see that how they perfectly go around the poles. But as you move toward the equator, you're gonna see the star trail trying to be more like straight line. Right, and I do understand that some of you guys would have think that the ones that are exactly on the equator that appears to be very straight, they do not go around any of these two poles. But you're wrong.
Tazra, hold on,
Even
hold
they
on,
are.
hold on, hold on. You're confused by one thing. We're not saying it's a straight line going around the pole. We're saying it's a
You guys
straight
said that. Come
line.
on. Oh, you
We're
guys
saying
are
it's a
wasting my
straight
air.
line. Hold on, let me finish. We're saying it's a straight line from one side, straight up over your head, straight down. We're not saying that when we look horizontally, we
It's
see it
not. Okay,
at
I'll
a
tell you.
certain
Let me just answer.
elevation.
Let me give you this answer. Okay, you're saying that it's straight up, straight down. It's not. If you use theodolites, if you use sensitive
Chat. Pitch
instruments,
pictures
you're
in the
gonna see
chat.
that if you would have hold on. You're gonna see. First of all, let me give you 2 points. First of all, you're not able to track that star 24 hours. You can only see like 12
We're not
hours in a
talking
night.
24
You're
12
not
hours.
hours.
able,
We're talking the picture that's posted.
even if
A picture is posted. It shows
okay,
a straight line. If you're
Yeah,
standing on
Kash,
the
look
earth,
yeah.
at the
So
look at the quote. Look at the picture in the
please
chat.
look at the picture.
Because
Yeah,
if
but
you continue
Kaza,
the
are you
time lapse, this is
basing?
what you see. Anywhere on the equator, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, Kaza, are
the
you saying
Pacific
the sky
Ocean.
splits? Are you saying the sky splits
Sorry.
at some point?
Yeah. The sky,
He's
it's not like
he's
physically split. It's not
he's
physically
explaining a horizontal tracking of a star, and we're not talking about that. It's not horizontal. This goes straight up over your head, straight down the other way.
And you can track it over 24 hours with three observers at three different locations where it's nighttime. Where you could where it's going to be setting in the west for one observer and it'll be rising in the east for the other. If you had an
Exactly.
observer in South America, North America, or sorry, South America, Africa, and Indonesia, you could track it over a 24-hour period where that star will never disappear from view from one of the observers. and they will all report the same thing. The star rose due east, it rose to their zenith, and set due west. There's no explanation on a flat Earth how that would work.
No, I don't know why you're bringing the flat Earth up, but your claim that there's a single star that its declination is zero. And when I'm talking about declination and right ascension, in astronomy we got coordinate system, we got two angles that it can give us the GP, right? Uh, like the latitude and latitude that we have on the ground. So
Did
basically,
you
what you're
honestly
saying.
say you don't know why we're bringing up the flat Earth? Did you
No, 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 no.
honestly
You
bring
listen,
that
listen.
up?
Let me just rephrase what is your claim. You guys are claiming basically that, for example, if we would have a ground track of these stars like this Mintaka, like the star that you mentioned, if you would have its ground track on the ground track would have always stays exactly on the equator without being off, a little bit off.
It's gonna be within like because we know it's
Oh
about
my god!
because we know it's a quarter degree off. It's gonna be like within 20 miles of the equator at all times.
Exactly.
If we tracked
Okay.
it, it's
Yes.
I guess would be called the substellar point, which is the arc that it
Yeah.
carves over its path over the globe. It's going to be
Ezra,
within 20
Agree.
miles of
Come
the
on.
equator.
what motion are we
Or no.
claiming that it would have? You keep saying equator, and I keep thinking you're picturing a horizontal straight line. What when we say if you walked out at midnight and you watch this star or you track the star or did star trails or whatever, what motion are we saying happens? We're not saying that when you look horizontally you see it at the same elevation. We're saying that it moves from one side straight up over your head and straight down the other side. There's not a star in your model that does that on a flat Earth.
Its elevation goes from 90 to 0 back to 90.
Correct.
So I just checked Montaka right now. Even Montaka, as you mentioned, it kind of it's right ascension. It kind of varies within a day. Very small, very small. It's not about this star. There are a couple of stars that I found right now. They're pretty close to the equator. That their variation is very very small.
You know what?
Yeah,
We'll give you we'll give you
So,
10 degrees off.
so take a look
Name
at the.
anything on your flat Earth where it behaves that way. One
there's,
side straight up
there's no
overhead, down
zero.
the other.
You understand? We don't have any zero in nature.
I'm
Stop
sharing my screen of
it.
stellarium that's showing this phenomenon happening. All right, just for your
Okay, let me just open my solarium as
convenience.
well. It's taking the time.
Well, I've got it going right now, and Minnetonka or whatever it's
But I'm
called.
gonna check. I'm gonna check it again. But so you're saying that basically one of the angles would not change. So you're claiming that when we track this star in the sky, only one
Kazra, go
angle
to
would.
IC Spins live. Just
Oh my
click
god!
on his name and go to his live real quick, and just we want to make sure you're understanding what we're saying.
Yeah, just look
Okay.
in the chat. He's live right now. It shows a real nice picture of what he's talking about. What we're talking about.
And so this is what happens on the equator. Stars rotate like that's the star right there that just went around. It's Mentaka, and it's shown right here. It's giving you all the coordinates as we track it daily. You're talking about the celestial north and south poles, which are shown. Obviously, this is an azimuthal mount.
Yeah, azimuthal coordinate system. Yeah. So read the
Yeah.
angles for us and tell us that how does it change? Thank you.
Well, it's doing what it does in reality, right? So we can track it. This is on
Oh my god,
Quito.
this is
This is at
crazy.
Quito. This
No,
is
no,
at
read.
Quito,
No, no.
Ecuador.
You claim that it's not okay. I want for everyone to read the angles how they change. That will help you a lot.
Well,
Go
what
on.
Okay,
angle? Which angle are you referring to? What angle are you referring to about how it changes?
There are two coordinate system. You can use the right ascension and the declination,
The
which is
right
based on the
ascension is
equator.
the right ascension. The right ascension is essentially the longitude would be on the surface of the Earth.
Kazra, you are muddying the waters. Right now, we're
And
asking you to look at the star with your eyes, look at what it
No, no,
does, and
it's not
explain
about
on a
looking
flat.
at
No,
it.
no,
I
no.
need
Let me finish,
numbers.
and tell us
I
on a
need
flat
numbers.
Earth how it would behave the same
and and
way.
and the declination is like your latitude, and that number
It
The
looks like
only
it's
reason why that
here.
number ever changes over time is simply due to the Earth's precession, which is very slow,
Oh
and the
my
proper motion
God.
of the
We
star,
went
which
back
is very,
to
very
1 hour.
slow.
I told you 1 hour before the first I started this conversation. I told you it's because of the tilt axis. Now you went to the software and now you're reading the exact value because you guys were saying that just look at it, just look at it with your simple eyes. I told you, you need
Tilt
to look at the
axis changes
numbers.
by 1 degree in like
Extra.
70
It
years. What are
doesn't
you
matter
talking
what the
about?
numbers are. Pretend you're a caveman. You're looking
It's
up.
not a zero. It's changing from zero.
It
It's
doesn't
Yeah,
changing
matter.
Jack,
I
from
you
said
zero
we'll
know
to
you
give
don't
you
one.
gotta
ten.
pretend.
We'll give you
You
We're
can
talking
just
about over one
25%.
night. One night. That's all we're talking about. Not 70 years, not the precessionist thing. It doesn't be perfectly accurate. We're saying, even if it's 5 or 10 degrees, he's saying off. Tell us how that works on a flat Earth.
And by the
Yes.
way,
Okay, good.
the data shows that it changes in 10 years by only 0.007 degrees. So it's extremely it's not changing at all
Is
over the
that
course of the
exact
night.
enough for you, flat earthers? 0.007.
Oh, it's not perfect though. Not absolute. So you're wrong. I mean, come on.
So
Yep.
so we'll spot
Crazy
you,
logic.
Kazra. We'll spot you 10 degrees. Explain how even a 10-degree straight line deviating 10 degrees works on a flat
Look,
Earth.
we get it. You're an auto glober. You think you're on a ball, but you don't
No, no,
really
no,
have
no, no,
evidence of it.
guys.
We
If you're
get it,
gonna have
dude.
an argument
No, no,
and
no, no,
say
no. You've been saying all this silly globe. Now you
we're
need to stop
simply
just
asking for
globing
a
like a
defense of it,
moron.
and you
You're
cannot.
globing it up like a
And as
moron.
usual,
Think for a
and
second.
you chip in as
Think
usual
for a
with
second.
some
Hold on,
derp,
stop.
derp, derp, derp.
Yep,
You
yep.
have
You've been
nothing to
talking a lot
offer.
of,
You've
yes,
been
you're
quiet the
asserting a
whole
lot of globe
time.
stuff. We
Kazra
know.
is answering questions, and we like the
Calm
fact that
down,
he
Jack.
will
I'm
answer
trying to say
questions.
something to you. Stop
I'm
talking.
perfectly calm, dude. You are crazy.
Okay,
Kazra
stop
is answering
talking. We heard
questions.
your stupid
He
globe
had the
assertions. Now
stage.
listen.
We're happy with Kazra. Kazra, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, Jack, stop talking. Thanks a lot. So, you guys can't reference Earth curves. Every single time you think you're
Can we
making an
mute this
argument
guy?
for a
Kazra
globe,
was actually
yeah,
answering
Jack.
questions. Electric offers nothing.
Okay, good guys, but Catherine.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so basically the declination, as you guys seen, is going to change a little bit. But here's the point. If you let time pass on pretty much like enough, you're going to see that you're going to see more variation. So all I'm trying to say is that, as I said, like if you track any single star, like this very strict, perfect line that we have on the globe model, it's not very, very accurate on the reality, or it's not visible. But go on, you can ask any other questions if you want.
Well, we're
Because
not
we're
going to
talking
mute
about
you
over the
guys.
Agree with
course of
us
one
that
We'll
day.
give you
would
10
you agree that
degrees.
everyone around the world on the equator would see this star at sometime in the evening between 11 and 2 in the morning at a 90, it's directly above 90 degree above your head, straight up ahead,
How
like
do you know
GP
90 degrees?
of
How do you
90.
know 90 degrees? When you use 90 degrees, this is a very vague statement. You don't know it's 90 degrees. It appears to be 90 degrees, and I do understand that. But you need to understand when you do your job exactly with a perfect precision, you're going to see that it's not a very perfect thing or a perfect line or a perfect equator. As I said,
You're not
equator
answering the
is a
question. You're
man-made
talking so
tool.
fast. You're not answering the question. If would you agree that everyone along the equator will see this particular star at a 90 degree GP?
No, not 9.00000. It might be 89.80 or 90.2.
Okay, would everyone
And
see
if
it
it's
at 89 point?
90.2,
Would everyone see
there's
it at
no
89.2?
exactly. Yeah,
Hold on, we're getting
90.2
somewhere.
will
You're
eventually 90.2 will eventually lead the star to go around south, and 80.92, which is on the other side of the equator, would eventually lead the star to go around north. So any star, it doesn't matter. And that line that it will separate these two
north.
phenomena, it's a very, 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 very narrow line. And
You got to
all the
slow down.
stars.
We're getting somewhere. We're finally speaking the same language. Now, how much more north will it go anywhere on the Earth equator? If we have 20 people around the Earth, everyone on the same on the equator at different longitudes, how far
Mhm.
will it deviate north or south?
On a different longitudes. So I
Yes.
I think you have to.
How much
I
will it
understand
deviate?
what you're
It's a simple question. I'm saying that let's say I'm saying it's perfectly above everyone's head along the equator, and you're gonna say, no, you're wrong, Zanuck. It's not perfect. It's a little bit shifted north or south, whatever. I think you said north
saying.
for
Yeah,
everybody by a
yeah.
point 0.8 degrees or something. Fine.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That this particular star will have a variation of a fraction of a degree all the way around the equator, but
Yeah,
that star
even
will
our
always be
exactly.
roughly 90 degrees GP.
Not roughly, yeah, roughly it appears to be like that.
Yeah, plus or minus some percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but the
now
point
we
is
made
that
progress.
it's not
Now,
about
how does that work on
okay.
a flat plane?
What's wrong with it? I don't understand what is wrong with the flat plane right now. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand
Because it would
your question. Like,
basically be like would be like saying that this plane is that this plane that's flying around is always in a turn, but for everyone that sees the plane, it always seems to be flying in a straight line.
Correct.
Yeah, and if at that point, if that straight line is being claimed to still be on the flat plane, but because it's not perfectly straight, it's slightly curved, then you're now describing like an extremely large uh disc. If it's gonna appear to be that straight over the entire sky, right?
yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's wrong. The thing is that like when Globers ask these questions, it's very hard to answer them because first of all, we're not an AE flat earther. Like, I'm not an AE flat earther. I know a lot of people here. We have moved on from that model to the two pole, and I think that you guys need to just take a look at the new flat Earth model, and then you can ask questions
There is no
because
model though. The two pole doesn't work because you can't make it work for all observers across the whole Earth, right? Anytime you invoke the fact that the surface is flat, and you can arrange the continents and the locations however you want. You can never make the observations match.
yeah, probably am I gonna have the problem on that part, but the two pole, it's not very concerned about the physical plane. It's more about the sky and the cell shells and basically the movement of the stars and stars. So basically, all I'm trying to say is that, like, as I said, like, what force is moving these cell shells above the ground or above the flat Earth? As I said, it would be the force that is related to the electromagnetism. Why I'm saying that is because if you look at the track of any single celestial body, I don't know, sun, moon, stars, planets, doesn't matter. What you're going to notice is that you're going to see that it is exactly perpendicular to the Earth's magnetic field. And this is exactly,
But
yeah. So this is,
here's what you're missing, Castro. If we now move the observer to like Barrow, Alaska, right, which is the northernmost city in the United States or town, and they're tracking Mintaka, Mintaka is going to be on their horizon, and it's going to be making a circle around them on their horizon. It's going to
there you
be
go.
right over the
There you
horizon, like
go.
an airplane in the distant horizon, and it's going to be
Yeah.
making a circle around them, which gives the illusion that this star is making a circle. But yet, for the people on the equator, we know that it's not making a circle because it's traveling in a straight line. And how
No,
do you
it's not.
reconcile those two observations on with those people
Okay, good.
all separated across from one another on a flat Earth, regardless of what the position of the continents and cities are?
If you look at a circle from side, you can see its circleness. But if you just look at it vertically, if you just bring that circle, imagine like a ring. If you bring it exactly, if you look at it horizontally in front of your in front of your eyes, you cannot see. You're gonna see like a straight line. You won't be able. It's a circle. It's all
So Kazra,
perspective.
real quick,
Did you get the
like
point?
we're
Did you get
talking
the point?
around
Yeah.
the question. We're talking around the question. Look, you're answering questions. I think that's already awesome. So please, I'm not insulting you, and I don't want to insult you. But the question of can you explain a complete left to right or right to left straight overhead movement on any flat, forget flat Earth, two poles, or saying the mechanics of anything you're saying that's not a globe don't work. And you can go out and do this for yourself. So we're not trying to nail you down or nitpick. We're simply saying if you can't explain the mechanics, why are you still so dismissive of what can explain the mechanics?
Yeah. So I don't have much time. I'm going to talk about a couple of minutes, and then I have to leave. Probably one day I will come here, and we're going to talk more about this. But the thing about the directions that you asked me, like in the new model that we worked on, we have such a thing called westward movement. It means that like things are moving from east to west, and that is under your globe model. That is because of the Earth is spinning. In this model, we're saying that the cosmic water is moving from east to west. This is the bias of the cosmic water above us, and that is something that's observable because we can see that things rise from the east and goes to west. Now, so we have an east and west basically in this model, which is pretty specified because we can see their direction. And perpendicular to this direction, you're gonna have north and south, right? It doesn't matter which one is north or south. What it matters is exactly perpendicular to this westward motion, and that would be the north and south, and that would be your magnetic field. So the magnetic field is going to be perpendicular to the ocean field or to the ocean flow above us. So that's why I told you this
Kazra, yes or
telescope.
no? Can you explain the movement I asked you about? I love the fact that you're showing this map. Can you explain on any model you want that's not a globe how a star would go left straight over your head, right, or right straight over your head, left? Either way, can you explain it? If the answer is no, you
You
can say no. A lot of globers will say
No,
I can't
what
explain that.
you want to know that what is the mechanism that is moving the star? Like, what is
Can you
your question
explain
exactly?
how it could work on a flat Earth? Would you see the same
So on a
thing?
flat Earth, we have two celestial vortexes. We
Would you
believe that
see
the
the same thing? Just answer the question. Can you see a star move from one side, straight over your head, straight down? No circle, no, it's not horizontally like an elevation that stays the same. It's over your head, straight line. Can you observe that?
Oh my god. Dude, you've been
yes, you
talking
can
about
observe that.
straight line, straight line, straight line. It's not a
This
straight
is for
line.
Yeah,
Kazra,
yeah. Just
not
let him
you, because
respond.
he's answering questions.
All right. Well, let him
But
respond.
I answered this question, I told you for that. Yeah, it would appear to be a straight line, but you cannot cover a lot of sky, and a lot of space in the sky. Like you have a very
So
small
you're not
amount
going to
of
admit you're
vision.
not going to admit no, you can't. You're going to go back to this straight line, not exact. We've given you 10 degrees off. We'll give you a whole 10 degrees, 20 degrees. Can you explain that
Right.
movement?
Okay, if it's 20
Yes or
degrees
no?
off of the equator. No, it's not a straight line. It's not a straight line.
Okay, well, it's not straight. It deviates by 5 or 10%. Fine. Can you explain straight over your head, one side to the other, straight over your head, one side of the earth to
Well,
the other?
I don't see anything that goes straight from one side to the other side. You probably
Again,
if
I
you see
didn't
it,
ask if you can see it. I asked if you can explain it.
no, we don't have it. We don't have a
Okay,
straightness
so no, it doesn't work on your model then, is the answer.
because we don't have it. I told you there's no star that goes in this perfect straight line. I don't know why we're going back again.
Yeah. Well,
Because you
if
never
it was
said yes or no.
deviating,
Now you've said
yeah.
no. Thank you.
I mean, if it was deviating a tiny bit,
Well,
how big would that circle be on a flat
Are we
Earth,
done being
for the
stuck
star
on
to move
stupid
around?
with Jack? Like, is the dumb stuck argument over finally?
if a star rises 1 degree below east and it sets 1 degree above west, that's a straight line.
No, even in the
If you
globe model, it
and
wouldn't
if
be a
you follow
perfectly
that
it wouldn't be a
GP,
perfectly
that
straight line.
yeah, and if you follow the GP of a star like that on a flat Earth, that circle must be gigantic.
I
It's not a
appreciate you
perfect
answering
circle on the flat
questions,
Earth.
Kazra, but you've basically said no. Just go with no. I would respect you far more if you said I can't explain it, because you can't. You keep going back to this weird circular water
No, it's not
movements
about I
and
cannot explain. It's
magnetics.
I don't believe any single star that goes straight from east to west. That's why I cannot explain it. Yeah,
There's a
you're right. You might
picture,
be right
right?
about
There's
it.
a picture posted multiple times
I
in
don't work
this
with pictures.
thread.
I work with numbers. So you're okay. Your friend
Well,
brought
so
up
wait,
this.
now you want math, not pictures. First you said
Course,
math
now on
was.
numbers. I told you the declination angle. You're claiming the
Oh,
declination angle doesn't change in the
If
course
the
of the
guy
day.
showed you in Stellarium for an observer in
On the
Kilo,
stellarium, he
Ecuador,
showed us
the
the
star is going
declination would have
straight up in
changed.
the sky.
In the stellarium, he showed us the declination angle would have changed in the course of a day. And here's the point. Here's the point. The
No, the
cycle of
declination
stars is
angle
gonna.
changes over. The declination of a star changes over huge periods of time due to things like proper motion of the star and the precession of the
No, it
Earth.
wasn't. Have you watched the live video right now that your friend shared with us?
If you look right here,
What
though,
do you
this
mean?
is
Yeah,
the
that's true.
declination.
In the
This is
course
the
of a day, in the
declination.
course of a year, it would have changed. Hold on. It would have changed because we have this great year. It takes 25,000 years. We know about it. We know that they will change eventually. But even in small time, in a small amount of time, like in 1 day or 2 days, if you look at that declination, it's fluctuating. It is fluctuating. Polaris is
So,
moving.
so
Even
are you
Polaris is moving.
agreeing, Kazra? Are you agreeing that it looks to be going straight overhead, and now
Of
your
course,
argument
it
is
looks
the
to be. It
math?
looks, of course, it looks to be straight, but it's not exact straight. That was my whole point. So when I'm saying that there's no equator, the terminology equator is a man-made thing, and that made a lot of problems to flat Earth mind, not only
You don't have
Globers,
to
even
keep
flat Earth
explaining it's
mind.
not a real line. Now, where on your flat Earth would you see this picture that he's showing right now with stellarium? Where would you
Do we
stand on
have
your
to be
flat Earth
stuck with
model
Jack
and
repeating
see
himself?
this?
How many times are you gonna ask the same question, man?
Kazra, where would you stand on your flat Earth and see this, even if it's deviating a little bit, where would you see this straight line behavior straight overhead? Just tell us where you would
It
stand
would
on
be,
the flat
it
Earth.
would be on the equator. Exactly. If you start moving, it's going to be 0 degree latitude, zero. Same.
And your
Doesn't matter.
equator is a ring around the circumference,
No, it's
yes?
not a ring around that eight. Okay, this is the problem that this is very hard for me. When you think that like the eight in the AE or in the glow, you have the ring. We don't have a
Look at Hulu.
ring. You cannot show me hold on. You cannot show me a ring in the sky. I told you there's no ring.
Again,
There's no
we're
straight.
talking where you stand on your flat Earth to see this behavior. That's all the question is.
Okay, I'll
I'm
tell
not
you. It
asking
would
for
be.
math. I'm not
I'll
asking for
tell
an
you.
explanation.
I'll tell you. It would be in the middle of Africa.
Middle of South America as well, or
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
North
yeah.
America.
Anywhere in the equator, you can see the same thing. But if you go exactly like this position that I told you, whereas like if you
Wait, is
connect
your
the North
equator
Pole,
now the middle of South Africa?
no. If you connect the North Pole to South Pole, you agree that you can do that. You can just draw a line from north to south,
Yeah, there's lines
right?
that exist
So
all over the globe Earth that we call
no, I'm
longitude
just
lines.
talking
So
about a
yes.
very specific line that comes from north to the south. And now I want you to look at where that line intersects the equator. That is your
Uh,
midpoint.
yeah,
That
I'm
is
not
your
sure
midpoint.
what map you're using, but
Uh,
that doesn't
It's
exist
the
on
same
your
map.
map.
there's some big
Equator.
problems with that, which is if we look at the
Mhm.
speed of Mintaka, how fast, like for example, Mintaka moves over the GP, or the sun during the equinox moves over the GP. Um, we can calculate that speed with two observers with a known distance apart from one another, how long it takes to go from one zenith to the other zenith. That would give us the distance, and we can divide that by the time, and we get roughly the speed that star or the sun is moving. The subsolar or substellar point is moving across the surface of the Earth, and then we know that it comes back around a day later, and so then we can calculate the circumference of that distance.
Yes, you can do that.
And the
I did
problem,
all.
and the problem when we do that though, is that then gives us the radius of that circle, and that radius is way too small compared to the known radius of the globe.
It's okay. Good question. You're getting closer to the reality. Okay, so if you do
And
this method,
by the way, you were talking about the variation of declination of Mintaka in 1991. It was 17. Its declination was 17 minutes 56.74 seconds, and by 2000, the year 2000, it was 17 minutes 57 seconds. So it only changed over a decade by a fraction of an arc second.
okay, 17. Why it's not zero?
Because this is just a star that happens to be bright and part of a
You know
known
what,
Yeah,
Kazra?
because
constellation.
If you want us to find, hold on,
That's
Kazra,
almost
Kazra,
directly over the celestial. That's almost
Kazra. If
directly in
you
the
want us to
celestial.
find a star through a telescope that's exactly zero, we can. So you make the choice
yeah,
here with your
exactly.
argument. If you're saying
Yeah,
it's either
so
true or
that's
not,
one point. There's 2 point. Good point. So there's a 1 point that you guys cannot find me a single star that exactly is in a 0 0 coordinate, and also you cannot find the same star
I just said we
that
could. I just said we could.
0 0. You got all zeros for okay.
If you will
Yes,
listen to what
all
I'm
zeros.
saying,
You can find one star up there. You'll
yes,
find it. Even looking at deep space, you'll find it's exactly zero.
absolutely.
Okay, 0 0. Now here's a second point. Now that star, in the course of a year, you're gonna see it will start to change.
No, why not over a day? Who cares about the course of a year? Why you're conflicting and conflating and just trying to like gish gallop around the whole situation here. We don't care about what happens over a year about this how our Earth spins.
So you need to
We're saying that
understand,
if
even
the
in
Earth
your
is round,
okay.
this or this
Okay.
star will be at 0, 0 for everybody on the equator. Do you not agree?
So you're saying that in one day will be enough to study the stars. Do you agree that even in your super cosmology, you guys stay millions of years to study what's happening up there? You're not giving me one day or 1 month to study the motion of a
We'll give
star.
you a
And
month.
it's in
We'll give you a month. Kazra,
oh,
we'll give you a month. We'll give you a month. Exactly
you can
0,
get
0. We'll give you a
you
month.
need to give me years, okay? And that is not the point.
Now
The
you want
point is
7
that
years?
eventually
Which is it? What do you want? A day, a month, or 7 years?
He
I
wants
need
it
that
to
like
work.
it depends on the cycle. The cycle is 25,000 years, right? This is the cycle of it. Like the sun cycle is 365 days. So you can study the sun within 1 year. That would be good. For a moon, it would be a 1 day. For stars, you would need much more time to study them. You cannot this is very naive if you would have tried to study the stars' motion within a couple of days. It's not right. Even a couple of decades.
So now
This
your
is something that
problem
you guys
isn't your problem isn't the math and it's not the mechanics or what we see. It's that you're not given enough time to get an observation.
you
You
don't have
can't walk
enough
out. No,
time to
well, let me finish.
understand
Let
what
me
I'm
finish.
trying to say
You
here.
can't walk out in the morning or at night and see something happen and admit a straight line. You can't admit that. You're now going to say, well, it's a straight line for night 1, but maybe night 2,522, it's slightly arced. I mean, is that where you're
Yeah.
going with this argument?
Exactly. Even exactly. It would have started to
I
transfer
thought you were
from
actually
north
going to be
sky.
too embarrassed to say exactly, but okay.
Yeah, so yeah. So from north sky to south, some of the stars would have shifted from north to south in the course of a year. For example, I told you Aquarius Alpha, right? It's made
You
of a 12
realize
star.
nobody here is arguing against the motion in the universe, right? You know, none of us here believe that the universe is stationary. Well,
We don't have
no
motions of the
globe
universe
or.
in the flat earth. Okay, so you're bringing your okay, here's the problem. Again, you're bringing
I'll
that
also,
cosmology of
Kazra, I'll also bet we can find a star at 0, 0 that will stay 0, 0 for well over a year. That's a billion light years away. I guarantee we can. So if you want to put a challenge on that, let's right now write down the criteria for what the challenge is, and it will stay at 0, 0 for a full year. I guarantee it because it's so far
And there
away.
would, yeah, and as it processes a bit, there would
There's
always be a
three
star.
stars in the
But,
Gaia three
yeah.
in the Gaia DR3 catalog that are exactly 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 in their declination.
Yeah, and if
They're
Metoba moves
faint.
away, another star will move in and do the exact same thing. It doesn't matter.
So now
Their
what, Kazra? We've
magnitude,
given you the star.
their magnitude 10 stars, so you need a telescope to see them, but they're exactly 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, so if you look at the like around the IC spin right now, this what do you call this video chat out right now? Where you're looking at it. I want you to pay attention. This is a very good thing that he's just showing you to us. If you look at these stars right now, just rotate the sky for us, you're gonna see that all the stars you can see that they're either going north or south, and probably you guys are saying that the middle ones are just not doing that. Now I want you to just focus on the middle stars, the middles in the middle, and then and trying to track those stars within this stellarium. You don't need to go out there. You just use stellarium, and even the stars that you mentioned right now, these couple stars. If you just let these stars to go around, if you look at them very carefully, you're gonna see that like eventually it's going around one of these two poles. This is like you can check out for every single star in that stellarium. You're gonna see that even the ones in the middle would eventually they will choose side. Now it appears some of them to be very straight, but in the course of a couple of years, not only they change, but it's the point is that they will always go around either these two poles. This
Kazra,
is
you're
a
really
fact.
grasping now, my friend. We're
I
all
know
Yes.
this
listening
is
to
a
you,
fact.
and you're just totally grasping. You cannot even admit. Look, just say I don't know. We would have so much more respect. You can't. I mean, you can't explain the motion. So now you're going over a year. It might change, and it won't be exactly 0, 0. I mean, are you listening to yourself?
Yeah, of course, because I'm looking at things in a wider timeline, in a very
Tesla, you,
short
under,
timeline.
you understand the problem of a star that you could track over a 24-hour period with 3 observers on the Earth, on the flat Earth. and they all see the star that appears to be traveling in a straight line across their sky. In terms of it's not diverting north or south by any amount that they can see visibly with their naked eye. Over the course, over three observers over the course of 24 hours, that doesn't make much sense on a flat Earth, right? Because on a flat Earth, the stars would have to be changing direction, would they not?
What's your problem with the flat Earth? But right now, this software that you're working right now, you can change your position and you can choose for example, one star. And by changing your location, you can see that always that star would have possessed in such a way that is either going around north or south.
Kazra,
I look.
where do you stand on the flat globe where you'll see the behavior that's showing in that video? Just tell us where,
That
and
would
we'll
be
go and
equator. At the equator, you can see that the distance to the north and south is the same right now in this picture. I know.
none of your stars show movement from one side straight overhead to the other. They all show elevation, circling at a
Exactly. I'm
specific
telling you, there's no straight.
elevation.
I'm telling you, there's no straight. I'm telling you, there's no straightness. That was my whole point
Dude,
within the
you're
last
missing.
year.
I think you're either denying what we're saying or you're just not. You
What?
just don't want to admit. This isn't an
Okay.
elevation and then it circles around the globe. Like it's not, or the flat Earth. It's not like you can just look at 10 degrees and turn around in a circle and watch it not move. It's a straight line. We're saying from one side directly straight overhead down to the other side. There's not a single place on your flat Earth where you can get that behavior.
Especially for three different observers on the flat Earth.
Okay. So first of all, the three different observers, we cannot have people on the Pacific Ocean. That's the main problem,
It doesn't
right? We don't
matter.
know.
We're talking about
Okay.
observers
So don't
where the
say.
star will
So
always
don't
be in
say. Okay.
sight.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, but so don't say that you can have three people all around the Earth and they can track the star.
Why
So
can't they be in the
Theoretically, we can
Pacific
put an
Ocean
armada
on a
of boats
boat?
on the equator,
bro,
and we
Why
can
can't
have
yeah? Why
them
can't they be
positioned a
on a
mile
boat
apart
with
all the way around the Earth.
with GPS lock? Why can't they just be on a boat?
oh my
No, you
god.
can. So
Oh,
why
no,
can't we do
don't
the
go,
boat?
don't go that direction. That we can have boats, we have GPS. Come on,
Well,
Get
I
we're
mean,
GPS.
talking
You can.
about.
how is it not good enough?
You said we
How
can't have a person in the Pacific Ocean. That's clearly not true. You could be on a boat. So given that argument, we've now debunked you can't be
That
in
is
the
a
ocean.
strong that argument. Yeah, that was a strong argument. But you guys don't know there's no way we can go Pacific Ocean. We can track these stars. But you guys are assuming that there
Why?
would
Why
be.
not?
Yeah.
Why can't you track the stars from a boat on the ocean? I mean, you're basically talking about
You can do that basically, but I
celestial
don't. But I'm here
navigation that
for.
boats use all the time.
Yes, of course. Because if you look at the polarity of the flat Earth, you're going to see that you can do the same circumnavigation, and the stars would
Polarity?
always go. Yeah. So basically,
Astro,
what you're asking me, huh?
does it
So
not
you're
bother
asking
you
that,
that on top of this observation, if we measure the speed at which the GP of those, whether it's the sun or those stars, is moving across
Mhm,
the flat Earth, that
mhm.
that that it creates a circumference that doesn't match the known distance to the GP of Polaris. There's a huge mismatch there, especially with the fact that the speed of the subsolar point or of the GP of the star across the surface, uh, it doesn't match a flat Earth.
Yeah. So you would have still think that flat Earth was like an AE map. It's a
It
pizza.
doesn't matter any map. It's just any flat conception where there's a center point, right, which would be where the North Pole is, and
No,
the sun on the flat.
no,
So
no.
you're saying that we live on a flat Earth, and there's no point on the flat Earth where you can be at the center of the shape that's described by the sun.
If you're looking for center, I can give you a line of center, a center line, and that would be equator. Yeah, yeah, that would be equator is the center line. And forget about Polaris being center. That was an old-fashioned flat Earth model. Yeah, yeah, it has its
But
own problem.
Polaris is a real fixed point, right? There is a GP
No,
of
I don't
Polaris.
have any beef with Polaris. Polaris exists, but it's not the center of this flat Earth cosmology. So because and this is the reason that why you're asking for that exact circumference of the equator, that it doesn't match with the distance to our Polaris. And I do understand that. Like if the distance of Polaris is 10,000 kilometers, if you just multiply 2 pi, you get about 60,000 kilometers as a circumference for the flat Earth, which
Well,
doesn't make sense. Yeah,
well,
I
you
do
know what
understand that.
doesn't make sense? Why is it that when we look at the speed of the subsolar point of the sun
Okay,
during
you said you get into
during the solstice, where it's directly over the Tropic of Cancer,
Mhm.
is the
Yeah,
same speed at when it's the solstice in the
yeah,
southern hemisphere, when
yeah,
it's
same speed.
directly over the Tropic of Capricorn, those
Yeah.
two speeds are the same. But on a flat Earth,
Yes,
that
of
doesn't make
course.
any sense. How could they be
No,
the
of
same on a
course.
flat Earth?
No, that is the old flat Earth that you're referring to, and I'm telling you, just throw it in the garbage. That AE model. Yes, I know you're saying that the Tropic of Capricorn has to move faster than the Tropic of Cancer. I do understand. Those are crazy explanations some of the flat Earth are giving
But
that
that has to be
sun.
the case on a flat Earth,
No,
right?
the
Because
sun
the
speed does
GP,
not change.
because
The
the
sun
GP
speed
of
does
the
not
sun
change.
is carving out the GP of the sun is carving out a path over the flat Earth, is it not?
Where's your flat Earth? Where
It's
is it?
just a
Show it to
flat
us.
conception. It doesn't matter where the continents are, the cities are. It's just the
Okay.
only thing that we say is that it's a flat topography, right?
Okay, good
There's
point. Right.
mountains
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
valleys, and there's mountains and valleys, but there's no curvature.
Right. So
And
what's
we
your
have
yeah?
and we have
Exactly.
a GP, right? Just take
Yeah.
a sheet of poster paper and lay it on the floor, and we have a GP that's carving out a path over the flat Earth, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm
Now
telling you, the
there's no
GP that you're
way to
referring
make,
to.
other than to say that the sun is magic. There's no way to make it so that the speed of the GP on the when the sun is over the Tropic of Capricorn and over the
Bro, you're
Tropic of
referring.
Cancer
Okay,
is the
you're just
same.
okay. You're not listening. I don't have much time, but you're just referring to that old AE flat Earth model and trying to understand
Well,
things based
there's
on
no
that.
AE here. We haven't put any continents on it, so there's no AE map. We just have a
No,
flat
because you're saying
conception.
no. Because when you're saying that if it's going around like on those tropics, it has to move faster. You're just assuming that these tropics are circular trajectories. You're just assuming that tropics are circle,
Well,
but they're
when the
not.
sun is it doesn't have to be a circle. It could be any shape you want,
No,
but
it's
we know
not.
that it
It's not.
repeats in
It's not.
24 hours, right?
It doesn't matter. It just because it comes in 24 hours doesn't mean that it's in a circle. I told you it's not a perfect circle.
What
I told to Michael in the first place. Yeah,
what
it's not a perfect circle.
what shape of
It's
flat
just
Earth will allow for the stars to rotate in opposite directions? That's what we're trying to get at.
It's
What
not
shape
about
is
the
that?
flat Earth shape. It's about the sky. The thing that is moving the stars in the sky. It's not about the ground. It's about the sky. It's about the toroidal field that is the top of us. That is the
Kazra,
reason
come
that's moving those
on. You're
things.
now going
Bro,
everywhere.
what do you mean? This out the ground? What has to do with the ground? Ground has nothing to do with the sky. Sky had to do anything with the ground. So if you're seeing that these things are moving up there, it's not because of the ground. Don't try to relate it to the flat Earth.
No
Trying
one
to relate
cares
it.
what's moving, Kazra. Can you see stars rotating in opposite directions on your flat Earth from anywhere you stand on it? Star trails in opposite directions. Doesn't
Yes,
matter
he
what
has shown.
shape it
Basically,
is. It doesn't matter what
yeah.
it's. Yes or
I think
no?
that I don't know Gio is here. Gio, can you help with them with this with this rotation?
Well,
Because
this is a
I think
simple question. This
yeah.
is basic 101 mechanics here.
He was saying, Jack, that he can't
Um,
explain it, so
no, we
he's
have a
asking
good
Gio.
explanation for that for these
Yeah, we're like
these
stuck in a
tropical
really
rotations.
dumb loop with this Jack guy.
Electric,
Well,
you
you
don't
guys keep
contribute.
Yeah,
assuming
because
that he's talking about an azimuthal equidistant, like singular pole AE map, but he's referring to a two pole, a dual pole, which does incorporate a lot of these factors you guys are saying: the equator, star patterns, the northern southern rotation, the northern southern stars, 24-hour sun.
Well, saying that's one thing. That's just not accurate, though. That map. So, what is that map you're showing? Is that a flat plane? What is that? I mean, you
I'm
draw. It's
with
a
you,
bunch of
but there's
lines on paper. Is it? What is it? A flat plane?
Right.
What do you think a map is?
What's the mechanism of the star trails rotating in opposite directions on this circular depiction you have at 3:55 a.m. my time, Geo, 10 minutes ago? What's the mechanism that allows it to rotate in opposite directions?
an electric field.
The electric field.
Yeah, magnetic electric field.
And so on a flat Earth, if you were standing at the South Pole, you should, in theory, be able to see both rotations occurring. You should be able to see the star trails spinning in the northern hemisphere based on the map you've shown, right?
You'll see half and half, yeah, just like you do. You'll see part of one.
Are there two suns in this model? Out of curiosity, because I can't tell from the.
You might have
No, but
mistaken
the,
what I said, Gio. I said at the South Pole. I didn't say at the equator. The South Pole, you'd only see the southern star trails, right?
yeah.
But
But Kazra, did you? The reason I was jumping in, I mean, I could talk about this but I was just trying to clarify that a lot of the questions you guys were asking Kazra, I don't know if you know that he's referencing like a two pole type layout. So you guys just kept seeming to link to like the single pole thing and then the way he was describing it. So I don't know, Kazra, if you said you had to go, or I was just jumping in for a second, unless you said you had to step away, we could shift.
No, let's keep asking the same question for an hour straight. Let's do that.
These are new
Thanks,
questions.
Kazra, for taking questions, though, buddy. I appreciate, bro.
Yeah,
you got to
appreciate
go.
it.
Go. Don't let us keep you.
The thing about
Thank
a two
you.
pole, the thing about a two pole.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we'll see you guys later. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
All right. Take it easy.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Yep. Cheers. No, but I mean,
Where-
the thing is that.
So where do one see a star moving in a straight line on your image, where you have the two different patterns of stars circling around?
Who are you addressing, Stefan?
Geo posted an image at 9:55 with star trails, two opposite star trails. So where do you see a star moving in a straight line from east to west?
At the equator.
I just where are the suns on this? Just so I can. Are there two suns or one sun?
Just one.
And where does it orbit? If you had to describe the orbit.
It's circus. Did you see that wild one I posted at 46 minutes after? It already
46.
posted.
46.
I mean, this is basically the shape of an electric field circuit.
Those are two suns, aren't they?
26 months apart. It's just showing them both on the same image. You would get the 24-hour sun in Antarctica for 6 months, and then
Can you put the sun over the top of the 355 so we can? I mean, the thing is, as soon as you explain star trails, we're just going to hit you up with solar stuff that doesn't work. So I'm not trying to bust anyone's butt or claim that we're going to change the argument. If you want to create something that now suits star trails in counterclockwise or in separate rotations, then we're going to go change the sun again. I mean, you can't have both. You have to pick an argument that works for everything. You would agree with that, I hope.
Not to mention the sun never changes size throughout the day, so that's another issue for flat Earth.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, is it?
Great. Electric has nothing to offer. Let's just ignore him like we've been doing.
Well,
same arguments every night. Same derp.
No, you just like to lie and say things that aren't
Geo,
true.
can you put the sun over the top
Like you
of
tried
that?
to say that the sun's path, the TP
355
of the sun's path
picture?
is a straight line. That's a lie.
Oh, well, why don't
You
you
just
go ahead and
lie
take
all the time, dude.
Click on my video, and I'll play a video for you. You can explain it to me.
See, the globe has to lie. You guys
Go
just
ahead.
make stuff
Hold
up.
on.
You
Hold
say
on.
that
Hold on. Hold
the
hold
sun
your tongue.
travels in a straight line. Hold on, dude. You guys have been talking a
Hold
lot
your
of bullshit.
your
Now
tongue.
you're
Go
gonna
ahead.
We
And,
lost any
no,
sense of a debate.
Click on my
like
video.
they're crying and complaining that I have a rebuttal to their dumb claim. Wow.
You can
What a
explain
surprise.
yourself in a moment. Click on my stream. I'm going to show you a video.
You
and then
had
you
all
can
the
explain
time
it.
in the world to talk about it with Castro. Nobody gave a fuck. It was a
We
dumb
weren't
argument.
talking about the sun at that time. Okay, we're now talking
Electric
about the
just
sun.
No one
refuses
gave a
to.
fuck, dude. No one
Electric,
cares.
why do you come here if you don't want to at least have a back and forth?
I'm waiting for you to stop talking. I'm going to make a point. You
Okay,
keep
I'm
playing it,
going to make a point. You're going to be quiet for a minute.
Yeah,
So I'm
thank
showing a video of the sun with a solar filter on it that was taken by Red's Rhetoric about 9 years ago in Tampa Bay. What I did is I wrote a script in Python that put a circle, the best circle that it could find in each frame of this video, which is about 4 minutes long. And it measured the pixel count of the sun through the solar filter. You know how you can tell it's got a solar filter on it? Because you can see sunspots. All right. Throughout the day, I'll
Yeah, it's
start it
kind of
over very
pathetic
quickly.
to me
Excuse
that
me,
you
be
guys
quiet.
can't reference the surface of the Earth to measure Earth curve.
7:26 in the morning
You're
was when the
pointing
first
to all
frame
directions
was.
away from the surface of
7:27
the Earth.
p.m. Oh, but you made a claim. You made a
Why can't
positive
you use
claim.
the Earth? Why
Hold on,
can't you use
Electric.
the
Just
Earth
like you
to
did
prove your claim?
earlier,
Is
you
there
made a
still a
positive
mod here
claim.
to mute Electric?
I don't know. This is getting messy, and you guys are just jumping onto other things when there was a question that was on the table still about what the sun wasn't that?
Electric hasn't
Well,
offered any discussion. It's just yelling at people
Jack, Jack,
and basically
I'm happy.
insulting them.
focus.
I'm
I'm just
happy
trying
to
to
get
keep it.
back. Right, I'm
I'm just
happy
trying
to
to keep
get
it
back,
coherent.
Gio. I
I'm just trying
only
to.
wanted to address Electric's point that the sun does change. He said that that's a lie, specifically that the sun does change throughout the day. And so I took the opportunity to shut him down again because he contributes nothing. So I wanted to show a video that I did, which is my evidence that he cannot explain once again. It's a very
It's not
similar
your
theme
video.
throughout
It's
the
not
night.
your evidence. You just got done saying it's Red's rhetoric. Everybody already seen that
Oh, but
video.
I drew a
It's not a
circle
perfectly
around it.
straight line. It's not a perfectly straight line on the equinox. That would never happen in your globe model in the first place. So what you're saying is a lie. Now my question is, why
No, the
can't you
size of the
guys
sun does not
reference the
change throughout
surface
the
of
day,
the
is my
Earth?
point.
Hold on, Icy Spin. I was saying something. Do you have ears? Thanks. So why
Electric,
can't you
stop
guys shut up, Jack?
insulting
I was in the middle of
people.
saying
He
something
gave you
and I
the
got
evidence you've
interrupted, and now
asked
I'm talking
for.
over you because you don't realize you shouldn't have interrupted. Good for you. So anyway, why
Look, can
can't
we
you
just
guys
mute Electric?
reference
I'm
the
sorry, but he
surface of
offers
the Earth?
0 to this
Jack,
argument.
stop complaining. You're
I'm
acting
not
like a
going to stop
baby.
complaining, Electric. You're useless.
You're
You're
talking
He's
over
that
people.
way.
irrelevant.
Stop
He's that
You
way
are
complaining.
on every
irrelevant
server.
in
He
a
literally
scientific
does this
discussion.
all the time. Get rid of him.
Okay,
And
now
I'm a
that everybody's
Glober.
done complaining like children, listen close. I would like you to reference the surface of Earth curving as evidence for Earth, for the surface of Earth curving. Until then, everything you're doing is just obfuscating from the idea that the surface of Earth is curving.
Well,
All
then
right,
you
why are
don't
we
need
Can't
to be
provide
jumping
here,
off
evidence.
of
buddy.
that?
You can
Just
just
hold on.
exit
Why,
this stream and you don't need to be here at all.
why are we
Yeah,
derailing
but
onto
why are
this?
you
We were
here?
talking about the sun path with this dual pole layout. Why did
Exactly.
we just jump to this other thing? Because that
That's
wasn't even.
that's fine. I can retract it. I was simply
We've been talking about it
addressing
for like an hour
what
and a half,
Electric
dude, and
said.
these guys made
He said
no
that it's a
valid point.
lie that the sun changes size throughout the day, or he said that
He
the sun
did.
does change size throughout the day. I was simply showing him that he's lying when he says that it doesn't. I'm sorry, that he said when he says that it does.
Yeah,
And
you don't
that's all
even
I
got
was
the
doing.
story straight. You're literally saying it wrong. So that's
And
I'm
dumb.
saying it
Spin
wrong. It's
basically has
4 in the
proof here.
morning, but
He's
yes, you know my
Yeah,
point.
it's 2 in the morning, so maybe take a nap.
Spin's not
All right.
just saying nuh-uh, Electric. He's actually brought something to the table, which you never do, ever.
Yeah,
But
the sun
You
would
again,
don't have
have
a
to change
single piece
angular
of
size
video
in your
evidence
model. Okay, you
or
want to talk about
math.
the sun? The sun would have to change
Oh,
angular size
Jesus
in your
Christ.
model. Matter of fact, it does change angular size. I know you don't like hearing things that
It
are rebuttals
doesn't
to your dumb
change, and
claims.
we don't
Hey,
predict that
Jack,
it changes.
the sun does change angular
Does
size throughout the
not.
day. Yes, it does. And you keep saying the wrong thing. I know you don't know your model. It's okay.
Oh, I
You're
know
gonna
the
learn.
model very well. You're looking at a picture of us. You're looking at a picture of a 24-hour sun, and you can't accept the
Like
fact
I
that
said, the
somebody has
angular size of
programmatically
the
and
sun
mathematically shown
actually
you're wrong.
does change throughout the day. The angular diameter changes with a solar filter. This has already been proven. You guys don't investigate your own stupid claims.
So
okay, how much?
where's your evidence?
Prove
Where's
that
your
we don't
evidence,
investigate
Electric?
it.
Now, how
Bring up
Why
much
your
don't
does
you
it
actually
evidence,
try
change,
to
please.
take the
Electric?
measurement yourself? You'll find it to be the case. Or are
Electric,
you
Well,
bring
just
up your
or are you just
evidence,
squinting
please.
into the sky and not
Where's your
actually measuring
evidence,
anything?
Electric? Where's your
Yeah, the
citation?
evidence is go test the claim.
I did. And guess what? It doesn't
Yeah, lots of
change.
people test it. Well, no, you're
Electric, one
682
referencing the
to
Red's
person
rhetoric
682 is
video.
0.
one
And the
person
two
brought
Globers
stuff
just
to
hold on, stop
show,
trying to
and
talk at
one
the same
person
time.
says
All
nuh-uh.
right, two Globers talking at the same time is not a good thing. So you guys need to
You brought
learn how to
nothing.
take turns.
You brought nothing. You have
Red's
no
rhetoric
evidence.
video, what he's referencing is not about the angular size of the sun.
Then how come it doesn't change size
He
throughout the
has
day?
made it about the angular size of the sun with his Python program that calculates in pixels. He literally has measured the angular size of the sun for you.
Yeah, that is actually pretty cool, by the way, Icy Spin, that you did that.
It's
So did
extremely
you?
cool, and Electric brings nothing but nuh-uh.
All right, let's just stop the fighting and bickering. So was this brought up because you were saying if the sun is doing this this two-pole motion over planar surface that it would change angular size? If distance change?
Well,
Is that why it was brought
well,
up?
I guess my concept of a flat Earth or an Earth that is not a sphere, I guess I would say, is that we would notice the sun changing size between 2 to 3 times throughout the day. It would be at its peak size at solar noon, and at sunrise and sunset, it would be at its peak smallest. We're saying sunrise, sunset, obviously liberally in this context because the flat Earth says that the sun just goes out of your visual perspective. I understand that. But with that being said, it would noticeably change size throughout the day. And I think even you would agree with that, Geo, and most other flat earthers. I haven't heard an explanation for my video yet, and that's why
All right,
I'm
I'll
I
give
would
you
add
one.
one thing to what Spin says real quick. If the flat earthers would tell us the size and distance to their sun, not only could we calculate the exact difference in angular size throughout the day, we could generate it graphically and show, because it's not trivial. It would be like 20, 30, 40% different from morning till noon. That's the problem.
Okay, well, that I mean that's assuming that the sun is like a physical object.
It
It could
is. You're
be,
right.
yeah. So it is assuming that. I wanted to post this real quick. This is if you want to talk about the angular size thing, this is a video that shows a couple different examples of like using collimated lenses, where one of them shows a light going like shining through a lens, and then it's projecting onto a sheet of paper. And as he pulls the paper forward and back, it doesn't change angular size. And then the one where he has his hand, there's like a light source, then he's moving his hand. But then the last one in that animation, which shows like it's like a contraption, it basically has a lens attached to it, and then behind that there's that like kind of orange looking circle, which is displayed on the device. And as he moves that whole thing forward and backward with the lens, it also doesn't change angular size with distance. So I'm not saying this is like 100% proof of anything. What I'm saying is that it can be replicated on the ground, that lenses can actually make it so that when you change something in distance, it doesn't actually change angular size. So if the sun had a lens in front of it, or there's a lens up above, or something involved like that in the sky, then it is conceivable over a planar surface that the sun would not change angular size and would actually remain the same size due to if it had any effect similar to this. So this just shows on a small scale that it can be replicated, an object not changing angular size with the distance change.
So, Gio, with all due honesty, you have no problem accepting all these what ifs or possibly coulds or whatever. But when presented with a model that works for all of this and evidence that shows it is a globe Earth, why is it that you're so quick to dismiss that and choose rather a what if or someone has shown with some weird contraption possibility?
Well, that was a loaded question technically because I didn't say that I was dismissing anything, and I didn't do those things. It's a loaded
I
question. It's
apologize
like
if I
saying it's like
apologize if
saying
you don't
oh,
believe the Earth is flat. I'm sorry, or not a globe.
no, it's fine. I'm just saying it's kind of a semi straw man loaded question, but I don't think there is valid
Do
evidence
you
for the
believe
Earth
the
being
Earth is a
flat.
globe?
No, I don't think there is
Okay,
valid
then it
evidence.
really wasn't loaded, was it?
So the problem is that yeah, but you're saying I'm dismissing. I'm not necessarily dismissing. I've considered all the evidences. If I have reasons that they're refuted, that's different than just dismissing. So there's reasons why. But yeah, I mean the problem with that is that the Earth, we're trying to get to what the truth is. So even if the globe model has already been refined in certain ways that can explain things, if it's not the truth, it really isn't useful. And if the evidence isn't valid, then we have to continue. So I'm not trying to say I'm just instantly accepting that there's some lens. I'm just showing that on a small scale, the effect of not changing angular size can be replicated, which therefore
It
means
is.
that it's not exclusive to a globe, meaning like, oh, the sun can't change angular size, therefore it's impossible. So what this shows is that it is possible, therefore, that
Well, it's
explanation that it's
assuming that it's
possible.
not a physical object, though. Don't you think that's a big assumption?
Not necessarily. The sun seems
Why do you
much more
say
like
not
an
necessarily?
electrical.
Why do you say that? What could it be?
Well, it could be a lot of things, but it seems to be
Well,
like
no. What can it be specifically? Not a lot of things. What can it be?
could be a luminescent light of electrostatic nodal. It's like a nodal point of electrostatic emission.
Where does the electricity come from that's powering that energy?
The I mean, where does it come from? The source of all being. I mean, what is the sun? You're asking. I mean, the sun in terms of like the electromagnetic field. I mean, what's interesting about the dual pole thing is that that is how an electric circuit is formulated. So, like the idea, instead of the sun circling, the sun could be circuiting, and it's circuiting in the field lines of that electric field. Because when you have the two poles like that, it replicates like the northern half of a globe and the southern half of a globe when you have those two paths. So if that's the case, the sun could actually be like a charge on an electric field line, and the sun is actually that charge or that focus point of the charge that is actually emitting along the field line.
So can I
Should
ask
we
you,
be able to measure this electromagnetic field?
Yeah, can measure things. I mean, in terms of what going all the way up to the sky. Or are you just saying the
Yeah,
electric
but
field?
it's not. It hasn't been measured this far, though, has it? Another problem that pops up is the electromagnetic spectrum and spectroscopy of the sun. How does that work in your model?
not to mention the sunspots that can be observed across the land, whatever you want to call it, and they're identical. They might be in different orientations, but we should see different sides. Even in your model, I think, Geo, you should be looking at different sides of whether it's the sun or the moon. You shouldn't be seeing the same face. Am I right?
No, you would still see the same face of it. I mean,
What you're
because if
saying
it's
is,
not a physical ball that you're like, it's not a sphere in that case, so you wouldn't really be seeing like two sides of it. You would just be seeing the same luminary, depending on where you are.
and this luminary has spots that can be measured and can be tracked to be completing a rotation once every, what is it, 27 days or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, they would
These
just
are
have to be
just,
on a cycle.
yeah, these are just you understand our questions. We're not trying to like, I mean, there's a lot of
So
assumptions that
Geo,
are getting thrown out with the model I think that you're presenting. There's a lot of questions that have
so
to be answered.
Geo, do you dismiss at least that? I'm curious. I'm not. Again, this isn't an accusation. When when globe globe Earth, when people say what the sun is thought to be, and they use they've bounced radar off the sun for the distance, and they've used spectroscopy for what it is, hydrogen, fusing hydrogen, and they show pictures through filters that show sunspots and a calculated rotation of those sunspots. Do you dismiss that, or do you just say that can all be right, but with a different explanation? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I would say the latter. The last part you said. Yeah, I'm not necessarily dismissing sunspots and the way that they cycle through through what we call the surface or the visual circle of the sun. Yeah,
And
I
the
would
spec
just say
and the
that there.
spectroscopy and the distance. Do you at least acknowledge that or not?
That's kind of a whole field we could get into. There are some assumptions baked into like the distances that they claim and with spectroscopy, so we could get into that. I don't necessarily accept there are some assumptions behind like I don't necessarily refute the results that they're getting, but with that, yeah, it would be like the application of how that's being applied to like astrophysics that I do think there's some assumptions involved in that put it into that model.
Can I
Like the
ask why you
medium, for example, the medium of outer space that's claimed as to where.
And none of this shit is news. Like, this is how it would work on a globe. How not interesting. Like, can you guys actually think outside the box?
Why do you even come to these things, dude? You're not interested in
I
anything.
wonder
Why
why
are you
you're
even?
here. Why are
Because
you
I'm
here?
interested. Because I am interested. So
Well, you're
there.
not presenting anything worth thinking about.
Well, for you, perhaps,
Yeah, you have
because you
all
don't
these
think
ideas.
about
This
any.
only works on a globe. This is the only
Dude, you
way.
have nothing to offer electric. Why do you keep doing this?
No, all you're saying is
Your
it must be
story
a
is the
globe. You're
same
just
night in
constantly
and night
asserting
out.
that it has to be a globe. That's all you're saying, dude.
No, what we're
That's
saying
not
is,
interesting.
hey,
Who
what
No,
we're
dude,
cares
saying,
that you think it has to be a globe?
dude,
Who
can you
what we're
cares?
stop?
saying
Like,
is,
can you stop?
Yeah,
Electric, can you
stop
stop?
interrupting me, Jack.
Well, you're just causing like you're trying to create like a shit show, I guess, or like a dumpster fire. Can we just have a normal combo? Like we don't have to interrupt and start like yelling and battering
I
each
am
other.
trying to have a conversation with these guys. I have been.
Well, he was asking fine questions. He's talking about a lot of these things like sunspots and spectroscopy, and if they're not the globe explanation, then what is the deal? Like he's asking, like, are you saying those don't exist, or is there a different explanation? And I'm saying I think there's a different explanation to what actually is going on, and I'm not denying the phenomenon. Like even like the quote unquote moons of Jupiter, they claim that those are balls out there millions of miles away. Well, another perspective on it is that they're luminaries and they're moving in their own cycles. And so the ones that they call moons are actually luminaries that are moving a little faster, a little slower, a little faster. than Jupiter to make it go ahead of it and behind it, which is a different explanation than they're actually like balls that are going around each other. So I mean, he is asking about like that's just one example, but I'm saying the phenomenon, versus is it just a different explanation, or are you saying the phenomenon doesn't exist, like for sunspots? And so I mean,
Yeah, I'm
he's
just
at
curious, how are these guys going to contribute to new progressive ideas? Rather than just saying, it has to be a globe over and over again. It has to be a globe. Why is it not a globe? I don't care. I'm curious what you think could potentially be an alternative model. Like, can the Globers think outside their globe box for 1 second in their life?
I'll answer if you'll let me.
Hey, go ahead, Globetard.
So we're basically saying, and by the way, I haven't insulted you even once. We're saying that the globe Earth explains everything that you can observe and measure. Before you go off, and we're saying in return, you don't offer the same thing. So when you keep saying, why can't we have an alternate model? You could if you can explain the mechanics and the math. You can't. And so we keep asking why you would believe in something that you can't explain. That's an exact answer to your exact question.
Yeah, I can explain it all. What do you want to address?
Well, you.
Okay. My first
Well, I wouldn't
question would
say that.
be, well, I'll say somebody else, please go.
Well, I don't think I can. I wouldn't say I could explain everything that exists. I think that we need, a couple $100 million in a decade or two to really put it all together. That's what it would take. So I do think there's a lot of things that are not, fully able to be tested yet. The thing is that in terms of the Earth being a globe, there's just certain things it requires, like the curvature, the motion, and all of the evidence is when put together. So I mean, we could go on a whole discussion of all of those, but you're making it sound like there's just all these like shut in case evidences for the globe, but obviously many don't think that those are shut and closed cases. So
Well, Electric offered himself to answer questions. If not me, does somebody else want to ask? I've got questions. If it's not me, I'm happy to listen to anybody else.
Yeah,
I'm just
what's
saying
up,
Electric
that,
dude?
I'm just saying like, are you really okay? So if the folks that are saying that it's planar and stationary are correct, do you expect them to have an entire replacement for every single thing with
No.
virtually no budget, with no budget? I'm
Yes.
saying if we're right, if the planar stationary is right in general, would you really expect, without hundreds of millions of dollars in a decade or two of actually research, to have a complete and total replacement to the one that already has had trillions of dollars put into it,
Yes.
the globe
I'll
model?
answer your question. So you guys dismiss every photo from space. You dismiss that anything from space is real. You dismiss man's been to space. So take those $100 trillion or 100 billion or whatever you're saying and throw them out because you dismiss them outright. A. B. Someone calculated the circumference of the Earth and knew that it was a globe or a circle 200 years before Christ. So you don't need a budget. That's what we're saying. It's all around you.
I think what Jack is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, is that we would expect at least one replacement for our model. If the model itself cannot be replaced, then this is the model.
Very fair.
Yeah, but is it the truth? That's the thing. So if the globe isn't the truth, then that model, in terms of the journey of getting to truth, is more or less useless, no matter how good it seems or how
Isn't that just
explanatory.
semantics, though, that you're
Well,
playing with?
and I think
Isn't
what
that
we can
semantics?
determine.
It's not really semantics, but it is just sort of like hypothetical obviousness, in a way, just to say that if you were satisfied with that the Earth was a globe, obviously there's already enough mainstream support for that position. So I mean, you can go about your life without having to think more about it. But I'm saying, but if you are questioning, is it actually a globe? Then you're on some journey. So if you're then on that journey, you consider, okay, well, what if it is not the globe? Then you have to then you're essentially admitting that you don't really have the globe proven and that you're still looking for answers. And if that's the case, I don't know that you can expect that anyone so far has put it all together independently from the globe that we've all been taught without more money, more time, research that would be needed.
So then,
So
100% genuine question to you. What do you not accept that it can't be explained by the globe model and math? I'm just
Well,
curious.
just 1 second, real quick, Jack. I just wanted to address what he said. When you're saying truth, Geo, I think what we understand truth to be is something that makes predictions that come true in reality. We can, for example, predict eclipses decades in advance to the minute of the path of totality. That's a prediction that can be predicted by our model and comes true. Flat Earth does not offer that prediction. Therefore, truth is closer to the Earth globe model. It's as simple as that. Would you agree?
No.
So
No.
how can we make these predictions that come true in reality and our model does not work?
Or if that it's not true, you're saying?
It
That's a
well, and truth again, we're talking about, an exactness, right? I'm just talking about this is the best model that we have, and the reason is because it makes predictions in reality.
yeah. Well, that goes into. I mean, I've been talking a lot. I can pull back if other people want to jump in because but the thing is that actually opens up a big can of worms if you're because that's another topic. Like you're not talking about eclipses, and so that gets into the sky and how the sky functions. And the sky does seem to have like spherical. That's why it's referred to as a celestial sphere. All these things I've been posting are essentially like a stereographic projection of a sphere. So, like if you look at this image right here,
Well, but the path of an eclipse is not dependent on that. It's on the Earth, so it's not just the eclipse; it's the path of the shadow.
no, I
And
know,
to
but
be
I guess
clear,
what I was gonna get into. Let me just post this real quick. I hear you. What I'm saying, I'm not trying to say I can answer all of what he said in 30 seconds because what I'm saying is it's a big topic. We'd have to have like 3 hours to kind of unpack it all. Because like what I just posted, all I was trying to say is that you have a sphere there, you have an azimuthal equidistant projection of the southern half of it on the bottom there, and then that vertical wall. That's a stereographic projection of the spherical coordinates. So what I'm saying is that they claim the sky is a sphere in the globe model, like a huge ball surrounding a smaller ball of the Earth. Whereas over a planar surface, that stereographic projection right there on the vertical wall essentially would be what's on the ceiling. Like you have the North Pole, South Pole, and the equator. So all I'm saying is that you have like the celestial sphere of the sky over a planar surface. It would be that stereographic two-pole projection of the coordinates of a sphere, whereas the globe actually claims it is a sphere. So now what I'm saying is that there's an overlap there between an actual sphere that surrounds a globe Earth and that stereographic projection. So when you're talking about the eclipses in terms of their position in the sky, then in terms of where they map over the ground, now we have to get into mapping and how the map is claimed to be with the latitude and longitude, which is related to the right ascension declination of the sky. So you have the right ascension declination positions in the sky, the latitude on the ground. And then we'd also have to get into the geoid, the ellipsoid, the coordinate system, the graticule, all of these factors to get into how they can predict eclipses like that, the way that they can. So, I mean, the quick answer is that there's like certain geometries that are like overlap and intersect to where there can be certain assumptions made about the sky and the ground, and then it can still fit certain predictions. But the thing is are those predictions exclusive to a globe and actually make it predictive for a globe, or are those predictions able to be, predicted on multiple, and therefore it is not exclusive to an actual globe? So that's the quickest way I can try to describe that quickly because there's a lot of layers to get into in terms of how can they predict eclipses and claim it's a globe and it's also not a globe? And I'm saying that that is possible to do because of the way the sky works, the ground works, and you and I have not been able to go out and validate every distance and every part of elevation on this whole realm. Therefore, like you would have to go off some assumptions when they say we're predicting the eclipse with this, this, and that, and then it does at least match up with the where people are. You would have to take certain things for granted, in that prediction. And it's like if there's overlapping geometry, they can still make that prediction while asserting it's coming from a globe model, even though it may not actually be coming from a globe because there's the overlap in the geometries.
I see one critical flaw, though. You're showing basically how you can map onto a flat Earth globe coordinates. But what you're not showing is where's the math to predict the solar eclipse 20 years away on the flat Earth model?
Yeah, I think for that you'd have to have the correct map of the planar Earth. So, like, if the controllers or the powers that be, if they already have the correct planar Earth, they would then be able to adjust it as they need to sell it as a globe. And the reason they would be is because they have the actual real planar map. So for me to give something like eclipse predictions on the ground, or anyone, doesn't matter if it's me or you or anyone, we would have to have the correct map of the entire ground and all the distances in the sky, to be able to do that.
Are you of the opinion there's a flat Earth map that's hidden from us?
Yeah, I think the controllers have the correct one. Yeah, of course. I think that they have the correct one, and they're hiding that,
But
and then they
where's
adjusted.
the Pac-Man edge of this flat map? Because everywhere seems to be connected to everywhere in any direction, doesn't it? In the real world, as far as we can tell.
Well, I'm not suggesting any Pac-Mans, but I realize that what you're bringing up, that is if you're talking about east-west circumnavigation. Well, now this is another topic.
Who would maintain it though? Is there a world organization? Because each government's unique, and of course, private industry is unique. So, who would maintain the map, the known hidden map, or whatever? Is it a world organization?
This has already been the case for hundreds of years. The Royal Society was
Oh, here
not
we go
letting this
again.
map be public. Yeah,
Geo
listen
answer a
close, Jack.
question?
I'm making a point. Why not try to listen?
Because Geo's
Royal
asking and
societies
answering
did not
questions, and you're
allow.
butting in
Listen
as
close,
usual.
Jack. Stop freaking out. Thanks,
This
freak.
isn't freaking out, my
So,
friend.
the Royal Society
So you've
hid the
interrupted
maps
Geo.
of
You've
the
jumped in and
land
interrupted
masses.
two people again having a conversation.
Yeah, Jack, I'm
Crazy.
going to say what I want to say without you constantly interrupting eventually. Right. So
So
the Royal
you're gonna interrupt
Society.
other
Oh, here it goes
people, is
again.
what you're saying, and not respect their
All right. Well,
conversation.
at this point, let's just let him respond, and then I'll respond after.
Yeah, Jack, shut up. Anyway, so the Royal Society has been hiding maps of the Earth for hundreds of years. You weren't able to navigate the entire Earth until like just around a couple hundred years ago. So you're delusional. That's it.
Oh,
Thanks for the
hogwash.
interruptions.
Yeah, I would say I
Okay.
could really only speculate.
Says a man with no proof whatsoever. So,
Oh,
Geo, if you wouldn't mind
all
continuing.
right. Whatever, Globetard.
All right, dude, stop all the insults, dude. We're just having a
He can't help
conversation.
himself. He
Yeah, I
can't
know,
help
but doing
himself.
that is it's just trying to like instigate more like chaos instead of just.
Well, that's what he wants, though, isn't it? Wherever he goes.
Yeah, all the interruptions is definitely helping, guys.
That's really all he has to offer, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that for this to be pulled off, like this is obviously speculatory to some extent. I mean, as to how this would occur, but you have like the United States military, which is obviously a huge. I mean, they're the ones that publish the WGS-84 through the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, which is essentially an intelligence agency similar to the CIA and the FBI. It's in the same kind of family of intelligence agencies. They're the ones that actually publish the WGS-84, essentially for the whole world, the globe coordinate system. Obviously, other countries are going to have their militaries and stuff as well. But the question is are those militaries all interconnected, and that they're not actually separate countries with separate militaries, and that there is a higher sort of order of control? When you have the United Nations and the Antarctic Treaty and all of these things where they do come together, and then brings in the space agencies too. So for this to be the case, then yeah, all of those major, space agencies and military industrial complexes of all these major countries would all have to be, at the kind of like highest level of compartmentalization. They would have to all be in coordination and essentially be like one corporation, as it were, that kind of
Are you just
disseminates things
are you
throughout.
just counting like the Greeks and Copernicus and Newton, and I mean, are you just counting everything that came before the U.S. government?
No, I think those, I mean, whether those are even real people or not, those are characters in the historical narrative of it. Even if we say they're real people, they could have been also part of the same cabal as time has unfolded. But
There's only a handful of ancient books you can rely on, isn't there, Geo?
You're pretty rational, Geo, though. But you would understand why people find it crazy. Not crazy. I won't use that word. People find it so strange that you can have um, this model and this math that makes sense right in front of you. Why you would then have to stretch it to be a conspiracy and fictitious characters through time and I mean, you understand, I guess, I hope you do, that to us, we don't understand what would be behind it or why, what would be the importance of denying it. Or, I mean, it seems as though this would have had to been, and by the way, what country can pull off any, you know, country-based conspiracy, yet alone global? I mean, all one has to do is look at the DMV. We can't even get that straight. So I'm asking you to at least understand why it's so odd for us to be able to follow that and believe in that.
I don't know. I guess that's up to you. I mean, you don't think people work together to hide information from the populace?
Of course they do. But you're talking about a global conspiracy, and then you're talking about characters having to be fictitious and planted throughout history. And my question was again, what drives this necessity for this global conspiracy?
Well, I'm not saying all the characters are just fabricated. There's a lot of options though with each of them. They could have been real people whose information was changed later and adapted for an agenda. They could have been real people that were actually part of a family line or a similar group that's involved in all this. So I'm not saying just they didn't exist.
But what drives the agenda? What drives this conspiracy? Why the necessity to hide the quote unquote real or shape of the earth?
Well, that's a big question. I mean, I can give you. I mean, we're getting into somewhat speculation, but I mean, if you have a group of entities who want to control the populace and want to be in control, whether it's about money, there could be hidden land. If there's more land, then that would be one reason for them. I mean, are you just asking like, why would they lie? Why would they even do this? I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons. Like,
No. Obviously, governments have reasons to lie. I guess I'm getting at where do you go back in time when this could be a global conspiracy versus people didn't really travel or get around, and the idea of traveling to another country, yet alone leaders of those countries agreeing on a global conspiracy and sticking to it for centuries. Where does it start, and why does it start?
well, I mean, dude, that's a whole story. I mean, there are pieces that we can be put together, like with the Jesuits, with the Freemasons. But let's just take like a really simple kind of example. Let's say that that it was more decentralized back in the day, and let's say I'm just gonna kind of. You're asking for like an example. I'll just give one example. I'm not saying this is exactly the case.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm
But
not
if
going to
you
hold
have
you to
like
it.
yeah, but like that, just as an example with like the Freemasonic network, I'm just going to give like just a movie plot example, just a hypothetical. If there was a group of people, Freemasons, and they were, able to travel freely between the lands to build houses, and that's, they were able to freely travel between the provinces and so on, so that they could, because they were the builders, they had to get their equipment across quicker. So just as a general thing, if those guys started like a like a fraternity coming together. It's just one example. I think it goes way back further than this, but I'm just saying all it would take is for them to, and then let's say they didn't even come up with the globe model. Let's just say that that was already something that had been hypothesized and they kind of took it from someone. All they would have to do is be like, okay, there's this model that we can sell as a false model to the populace, convince them they're actually on a sphere, and then everything else that has come from that. Well, now they control our minds because they have us living somewhere that we're not. They control the outer space narrative. They control the financial with the space and the military industrial part. I mean, if you're asking me to like get in the mind of a
Well,
psychopath, like
but
why a psychopath
nobody
would want to
back
like take over the world.
nobody back when you surmised that this started would have known or been talking about space or anything related to the industrial complex. So my question again goes back to, this had to be a very basic need to do this. I mean, we're talking about, when would this have happened? 1400, 1200, right? I mean, what was again, it just, I'm not naive. Governments lie, but this is different than that. This is a global conspiracy that, for example, when Elon Musk or SpaceX or NASA or anybody shoots a rocket, are they really launching the rocket? And if so, are they destroying it, or what do they do? I mean, is all this for show to continue the quote unquote false narrative? Do those things really happen, or are they fake?
Well, on the basis that all the aeroplanes that ever take off are chartered and carefully monitored and don't seem to go anywhere off what we our realm, maybe this is how the Jesuits get to their other realms.
I mean, I honestly find it hard to believe that, like, China right? Especially like communist China, North Korea, right? All of these countries who would have the evidence, right? Who would know that they're all just like part of this conspiracy?
Iran even put an object in space. They would love to hang us out to dry. So my
Yeah.
question goes back to though: are the space shots faked, or are they at least real, but they somehow either destroy or rerouted out of sight? I'm just curious. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. I want to understand because I want to understand. I mean, it's a genuine need to or desire to understand. If you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, those would be like akin to a magic trick where they're sort of, sleight of hand. They're showing something that isn't actually happening to bolster the globe
You
model,
can go
the
watch a
outer
launch
space.
tomorrow. You can go watch the next SpaceX launch in yourself, and it can't be faked in person. I hope you would agree that
Well,
you can't fake that type of. That's not a projection.
well, there's objects going up in the sky. Yeah, the question is, are they actually going outside of a globe Earth and free falling around a
Well,
ball?
there is
Where
like
do they go after they go high enough that you can't see them?
There's I mean, just speculation. They could pick it up with another craft, or the object would come back down to the ground.
And they do track them all the way to space, by the way. You've seen the tracking cameras they have nowadays, I assume. They track it all the way, almost like literally to orbit.
and their cameras on the fucking rockets now too.
That too.
Yeah, but it's their cameras. It's their cameras.
Hmm.
Well, they transition though. They transition from the low altitude footage, and then they usually transition to some other.
Oh,
No.
no, there's
Those rockets are
continuous.
enormous in size as well. So, I
There's
mean,
continuous
capturing
footage,
one
by the
up in
way.
the sky would be really difficult.
Yeah, I've seen in the news footage from launch to like orbit.
Hey, Gio, I'm going to head out. Jack, Gio, Electric, anyone else I spoke with, appreciate the conversation. Thanks for letting me
See ya,
share screen
Spin.
too, Gio. Y'all have a
Okay,
good
Yeah,
night.
man. Yeah,
Good stuff
cheers.
tonight, Spin. See ya.
but yeah, dude, this uninterrupted footage, like of SpaceX rocket going from launch to
Yeah,